One of the people stated that it was the Qin New Guards. One of the men inquired if the Qin New Guards were that impressive, and another man declared that he must be from out of town to not know about the Qin New Guards because in their Yin dynasty, they are responsible for the security of the imperial city, with the minimum cultivation level starting from the Heavenly Master Realm, and despite their low official rank, they represent the face of the Six-Path Emperor, and no one dares to disrespect them. Meanwhile, Princess Nanfeng scoffed and remarked that they should go. But the leader of the Qin New Guards mentioned that it was the Yin dynasty, not a place she could come and go as she pleases, and those emperor's disciples have injured their citizens, and they need to come with them. One of Princess Nanfeng's guards queried the leader what he noted and if he wanted them to go with him. He questioned him if he had lost his mind, if he knew who they were, and if he considered that he was someone significant when he was a mere gatekeeper of the imperial city. The leader observed that they should take them all. Princess Nanfeng's guards questioned the leader for daring to do such a thing and commented that they were Princess Nanfeng's people. But the Qin New Guards ignored their words and began arresting them. The Qin New Guards uttered that they should go while one of Princess Nanfeng's guards called her and implored to be saved. Princess Nanfeng asserted that it was too much because mere Qin New Guards dared to be so presumptuous. She pronounced that they should wait and see because she will go to the Six-Path Emperor for an explanation. But the elder affirmed that she shouldn't. Princess Nanfeng wondered why not, and the elder voiced that even if she went, it might be in vain because if the Six-Path Emperor really wanted to intervene, he wouldn't have allowed those people to attack their envoy, nor would he have let the Qin New Guards capture the Emperor's disciples. She pressed the elder if he was saying that the Six-Path Emperor was behind those things. The elder disclosed that with Fang Chang missing and the Emperor's disciples captured, the situation is not in their favor, so Princess Nanfeng should return to the Dao dynasty as soon as possible. But Princess Nanfeng revealed that she won't go, and she pondered that the journey to the Yin dynasty was already challenging. And currently, not only is the task unfinished, but Fang Chang is also missing, so if she leaves the captured disciples behind and returns alone, it will surely offend the major families. She conveyed that she would save those disciples, and when the elder heard that, he indicated that she was a stranger in the Yin dynasty, and he demanded her how she could save them without power or influence. Suddenly, Princess Nanfeng noticed Qin Feng. She quizzed the elder's opinion about Qin Feng. The elder articulated absolutely not because working with Qin Feng is like making a deal with a tiger. But Qin Feng insisted that they have no other choice but to take the risk at the moment, so the elder should wait for her at the post station as she will be back soon. A few moments later, Princess Nanfeng and Qin Feng talked at a street corner. Qin Feng probed Princess Nanfeng if she was calling that asking for a favor, and as he expressed that he wouldn't help, the system congratulated him for triggering a side mission. Bully the goddess of the chosen one's heart for 100,000 villain points. Qin Feng was surprised that it works even if Fang Chang was not around. He cleared his throat and reported that helping Princess Nanfeng isn't impossible, but as she knows, he never engaged in a losing business, which made Princess Nanfeng challenge him what he wanted. Qin Feng replied that it was simple. He responded that Princess Nanfeng should come to his house and he will tell her. Qin Feng and Princess Nanfeng went to the Jade Bamboo Peak. Princess Nanfeng wore revealing clothes. Qin Feng stated that it was not bad, and the system congratulated him for successfully bullying the goddess of the chosen one's heart, so he gained 100,000 villain points. Princess Nanfeng inquired of Qin Feng if he would save the disciples just by wearing that outfit, and staying there for 15 days. Qin Feng declared, of course, and that he always kept his word. Princess Nanfeng questioned Qin Feng how he plans to persuade the Six-Path Emperor, and Qin Feng announced that it was a secret. Qin Feng pondered that he couldn't possibly tell Princess Nanfeng that he used a destiny card to spy on her ex-boyfriend's secret and accidentally saw that they would be unconditionally released after 15 days. He queried Princess Nanfeng what they stood there for and remarked that she should pour the tea. Princess Nanfeng considered that Qin Feng should just wait, and the system congratulated Qin Feng again for gaining 100,000 villain points. On the other hand, at Dao dynasty's Qin family residence, powerful lighting bolts lit up the sky. Qin Hao cultivated in his room while the spirit of an old man watched over him. He suddenly opened his eyes. Qin Hao yelled and released a powerful amount of aura. The spirit commented that it was not bad. He mentioned that after 7 years of effort, Qin Hao had broken through to the 7th level of the Transcendent Realm, and his body could even be compared to ancient fierce beasts, and he could definitely kill a spiritual martial realm cultivator in a full-fledged battle. Qin Hao expressed that someone revealed that Qin Feng was only at the 9th level of the Transcendent Realm, so he was finally catching up to him. He noted that Lin Zinner will regret her decision in their 3-year agreement. 1 month earlier, Qin Tian and Lin Zinner had a meeting. Qin Tian wondered Lin Zinner if she broke off the engagement. Lin Ziner revealed that it was right and that they should break it off. She articulated that 7 years ago, her father engaged her to Qin Hao solely because he possessed the supreme bone. Qin Tian was the head of the Qin family, and Qin Feng had the potential of a great emperor, but currently, Qin Hao's supreme bone has been removed. Qin Tian is no longer the head of the Qin family. Qin Feng has defected to the Yin dynasty, and his own cultivation over the past 7 years has been unremarkable. Lin Ziner pronounced that she is the young mistress of Tianjin City and also a disciple of the emperor, and she probed what right a waste like Qin Hao has to marry her. Qin Tian questioned Lin Ziner for daring to say such things. Lin Ziner interrogated Qin Tian if he would dare strike her, and her guards immediately observed that they should protect the young lady. Qin Tian questioned Lin Ziner for daring to insult his son Qin Hao like that and uttered that he will teach her a lesson on behalf of her father that day. Suddenly, Qin Hao called Qin Tian and he challenged him if he could make his own decisions about his marriage. Qin Tian inquired Qin Hao why he was there. Qin Hao stated that with 30 years in the east of the river and 30 years in the west, he may be down at the moment, but that doesn't mean that he won't rise again. Lin Ziner questioned Qin Hao if that was the case, and she announced that it was fine, so they should have a battle in the imperial capital in 3 years, and she suggested that if he loses, he will publicly annul the marriage engagement. Qin Hao queried Lin Ziner why they should go through such trouble to annul the engagement. He grabbed a pen. Qin Hao began writing earnestly on the paper. He showed what he wrote to Lin Ziner. Lin Ziner pressed Qin Hao if he dares to divorce her. Qin Hao remarked that in 3 years, they will meet in the imperial capital. 1 month later, Qin Hao pondered that they would see what would happen. Suddenly, there was a noise outside the residence. Qin Hao came out and demanded what was happening. A group of people riding on a cloud hovered over the Qin family residence. The envoy reported that, by the order of the Six-Path Emperor, he was there to congratulate the former head of the Qin family, Qin Tian. They opened the chest of treasures they carried with them. Both Qin Tian and Qin Hao were stunned when the light of the treasures shined on them. Qin Tian cleared his throat, and as he noted that he was not even close with the Six-Path Emperor, he probed what was there to congratulate him for, to which the envoy responded that it was of course to congratulate him for having a good son because Qin Feng, in the life and death elimination competition of their Yin dynasty, single-handedly dominated over 100,000 contenders, and with his spiritual martial first stage cultivation, he slew a dragon that was at the 5th stage of the path of Dao Realm. He revealed that the Six-Path Emperor personally bestowed upon Qin Feng the title of the 3rd Holy Son of the Yin dynasty. Qin Hao was surprised when he heard that a first-stage spiritual martial slayed a dragon that was at the 5th stage of the path of Dao Realm, while the spirit mused that Qin Feng was incredibly talented and truly unprecedented, and Qin Tian was surprised that his eldest son slayed a dragon. Qin Tian tried his best to contain his happiness, and he considered that he couldn't laugh. He kicked the chest of treasures. Qin Tian declared that the envoy should get out because he has no such beast of a son, so all of them should get out. He closed the door on the envoy. One of the guards interrogated the envoy what they should do, and the envoy explained that they delivered the message, so they should go back to report. But the guard quizzed about the gold and jewels. Meanwhile, Qin Hao was speechless as he watched Qin Tian lay on top of the treasures and uttered that they were already his. Princess Nanfeng sat on a bench and dozed off. On the other hand, Qin Feng meditated, and he believed that he had broken through to the 2nd stage of the spiritual martial realm so quickly. Qin Feng mused that the chosen ones not only attract women but also treasures in abundance because ever since he merged with the Buddha relics, they have been constantly releasing extremely pure energy, and although a part is absorbed to strengthen the heavenly dragon's might's light, the rest could all be used for breakthroughs, which was really not bad. He considered that he almost forgot that he still had a big dragon in his space that hadn't been dealt with. Princess Nanfeng inquired of Qin Feng what he wanted to do and declared that she would make it clear that she wouldn't give him her body. Qin Feng questioned Princess Nanfeng what she would do if he insisted. Princess Nanfeng remarked that Qin Feng can't, and the system congratulated Qin Feng for successfully intimidating the goddess of the chosen one's heart and gaining 1,000 villain points. Qin Feng leaned over Princess Nanfeng to intimidate her more. He uttered that it was a dark and windy night and they were there alone. And as Princess Nanfeng announced that he couldn't, the system congratulated Qin Feng again for gaining 1,000 villain points. Qin Feng grabbed the cup on the table behind Princess Nanfeng. He drank it in one gulp. Qin Feng expressed that it was getting late, so Princess Nanfeng should get some sleep early as there is a new routine the next day, and the system congratulated him again for gaining 1,000 villain points. A few moments later, Qin Feng wondered who he should get to deal with the big dragon. Suddenly, Moon Celestial queried Qin Feng how it was that he started to dislike her Moon Celestial Palace and if he would not have come to see her either if she hadn't come to find him. Qin Feng inquired of Moon Celestial what she was saying and mentioned that he had said since he was young that he would repay her life-saving grace with his body. Moon Celestial noted that Qin Feng was naughty, and Ziyun presumed that Qin Feng always thought about her aunt and wondered if he didn't know that she was easy to tease. Moon Celestial stated that she won't bother Qin Feng anymore and that she was there for a reason, so the next morning he should follow her to Tianhong Academy as she was taking him to meet someone. Qin Feng probed who he would meet. Ziyun revealed that the Six-Path Emperor personally selected a master for Qin Feng, the most knowledgeable person in the Dark Moon dynasty, and that person is not only proficient in music, chess, calligraphy, and painting but also in various martial arts and has considerable expertise in alchemy, weapon refining, and rune making, even in special physiques, which made Qin Feng ask if that person could be Dai Zhu. Ziyun pronounced that Qin Feng was right, and as she interrogated him how he knew, Qin Feng conveyed that it was because he is knowledgeable and well-informed. Qin Feng pressed if Dai Zhu wasn't ruined and why the Six-Path Emperor chose him to be his master, and Moon Celestial maintained that obviously Dai Zhu saw Qin Feng's talent and wanted to see if he could stimulate him to rise again. Qin Feng demanded how he would stimulate him. He wondered if they would dress him up as a woman to seduce Dai Zhu. Qin Feng immediately added that that would cost extra. 100 years ago, a lot of ladies called Dai Zhu and stated that they liked him because he was handsome, and one of them declared that she had read all his poetry collections as she was a loyal fan. The young Dai Zhu, with his profound knowledge, handsome appearance, and formidable strength, became one of the 4 great talents of Huanggu. He was the super idol of that era, the Prince Charming in the hearts of all Huanggu's girls. Later, the outstanding Dai Zhu met the woman he loved, and they pledged their lives to each other. The woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. But while she gave birth, the attendants screamed and remarked that she was a demon. The next day, Dai Zhu pronounced that the woman shouldn't have deceived him. The woman observed that Dai Zhu should look how cute their child is and that he slept so sweetly. One of the cultivators suddenly inquired of Dai Zhu why he hesitated. He uttered that humans and demons were enemies, so he and the demoness would never have a future. He added that a child of a human and a demon was a half-demon and questioned Dai Zhu if he wanted to watch his child be isolated by both humans and demons from birth, suffering scorn and humiliation, leading a life of misery, and insisted that he should stop being stubborn. The woman queried Dai Zhu if she was right that he would not kill their child. She wondered if he had not said that he would always protect her and their child no matter what happened, and mentioned that even if their child was a half-demon, as long as they stood united as husband and wife, they could surely protect him all his life, so Dai Zhu should believe in her as they could definitely make him grow up happy. Dai Zhu was confused, and tears kept flowing out of his eyes. Suddenly, Dai Zhu pulled their son, and the woman exclaimed no and begged Dai Zhu not to do it. But Dai Zhu swung his sword and slashed their son. Their son fell lifeless on the ground. The woman quickly kneeled in front of the child. She trembled, and she could not believe what she saw. The woman screamed in rage and revealed her demon form. One of the cultivators announced that now that the demon had been dealt with, they would take their life if there was nothing else. Another cultivator agreed and affirmed that they would be leaving. Another cultivator commented that it was difficult to settle family affairs, so they bid farewell. The woman proclaimed that from that day forward, she and Dai Zhu were enemies. She summoned a sword and directed it at Dai Zhu. Dai Zhu did not fight back and murmured that the woman should come as it was what he owed her. The woman trembled in rage, but she hesitated. She whispered that it was her last act of love for Dai Zhu. The woman disappeared. When Dai Zhu returned to town, one of the people noted that he never thought that Dai Zhu would be so heartless to be able to strike his own child. Another person agreed and expressed that Dai Zhu was gentle and questioned how his heart could be so cruel. Another person articulated that even a tiger does not eat its cub, so Dai Zhu is worse than a beast. They yelled that Dai Zhu was a scum and that he should go die. Dai Zhu turned to look at who threw the egg at him. That enraged more people, and as they interrogated him what he looked at, they threw more things at him, and from on, Dai Zhu, once a prodigy, shut himself away, drowning his sorrows in alcohol, wasting nearly 100 years in melancholy. Ziyun was still at the Jade Bamboo Peak with Qin Feng. She declared that Ziyun must be having full of regrets at the moment, and Qin Feng considered that Ziyun needed to kill his own son just because the child was half-demon. So he wondered if a person like him who likes cat-eared, rabbit-eared, and fox girls should be dragged out and discarded. Qin Feng wondered if he should make Princess Nenfeng cosplay as a cat-eared girl the next day. Suddenly, Ziyun inquired Qin Feng why he was silent. She announced that Qin Feng was a pervert and that she begged Moon Celestial for a long time to let her come there, yet he currently looked at another woman in front of her. Suddenly, Qin Feng leaned over Ziyun against the grass. He questioned Ziyun if he should look at her only. Ziyun was flustered and was lost for words. Qin Feng stated that he was tired. He remarked that they should rest. Ziyun took the hand that Qin Feng extended at her. She responded yes. A few moments later, Qin Feng slept on his bed, and Ziyun was with him. Ziyun mused that Qin Feng treated her differently. Otherwise, there was no reason why he would sleep with her instead of the princess. She smiled widely as she lay on the bed. On the other hand, Bai Fantong noted that the case is too complex because if Qin Feng could simply sleep next to a pretty woman, he was totally not normal. Meanwhile, Yulan was about to take a bath in her room in Blue Devil Castle. She tied her hair up before she got into the bath. Yulan looked relaxed as she submerged herself into her bath. She pondered that ever since she came back from the life and death elimination competition, she felt a dull pain in her waist, so she called her attendant, Aju, and conveyed that she should bring her a mirror, to which Aju uttered yes. Yulan saw what Qin Feng wrote on her back, that he was there. She was immediately pissed. Yulan cursed Qin Feng and exclaimed that she would catch him for that. On the other hand, at Jade Bamboo Peak, the system congratulated Qin Feng for successfully humiliating the Heaven's chosen lady, so he obtained 100,000 villain points. Qin Feng speculated that Yulan returned home so long ago and was surprised that she washed just at that moment. The next day, Qin Feng went with Moon Celestial and Ziyuan to meet his master. Qin Feng inquired if it was the legendary Tianhong Academy. The academy was well lit, neat, and filled with books. Qin Feng believed that it seemed to be similar to other academies. Suddenly, one of the students there noticed that Qin Feng was at the spiritual martial realm. He stated that since the founding of the academy, there has never been a student in the spiritual realm, and another student declared that he was Qin Feng, the third holy son. The other students remarked that the third holy son has arrived, so things will get interesting. Suddenly, Yulan called Qin Feng and was ready to attack him. Qin Feng excitedly called Yulan back, and he supposed that the heavens loved him because, as soon as he reached the spiritual martial second stage, Yulan took the initiative to come to him, and it seemed like he would have to continue to sprint his way up to the third stage that night. But he was startled when Yulan's attack intensified. Qin Feng managed to quickly step aside and dodge Yulan's attack. He considered that it was the Profoundian body. Qin Feng suddenly charged forward and welcomed Yulan with open arms. He noted that he came for his treasure. One of the students questioned what kind of monster Qin Feng was because instead of running away from such powerful cold air, he ran towards it, and another student queried if they suspected that Qin Feng had an issue in the head. A huge explosion occurred, and it froze the area around them, affecting the other students. Moon Celestial wondered what kind of monster Qin Feng was and if he has a trump card he hasn't shown yet, and while Ziyuan mentioned that Qin Feng was amazing, Bai Fantong commented that she squished him. But they saw that Qin Feng kissed Yulan, and the system congratulated Qin Feng for taking advantage of the Heaven's chosen lady, so he gained 100,000 villain points. Ziyuan was petrified and shattered when she saw what Qin Feng did. She added that it was just too much because they grew up together and he kissed two strangers but never her. She continued that it was simply too much while Bai Fantong pressed her on how she could do that to her and proclaimed that in year X month X, he endured pain in Qin Feng's place, which he should not have endured at that age, so he needed to be compensated with 20 carats. On the other hand, Yulan insisted that Qin Feng should let her go. Qin Feng exclaimed that he was all better, and he suspected that the heavenly domineering body had gotten stronger thanks to the Profoundian body. Yulan suddenly asserted that Qin Feng was a leecher and that he should meet her sword. But she was surprised when Qin Feng managed to dodge her attack while swiftly snatching her undergarment. Yulan was flustered that she was lost for words, and as she let go of her sword to cover her chest, the system congratulated Qin Feng for harassing the Heaven's chosen lady, so he gained 100,000 villain points. Dai Zhu suddenly arrived, and the ice in the area began to melt. One of the students remarked that they should move away quickly because it stinks. Moon Celestial quickly inquired Qin Feng how long he would continue to fool around. Yulan declared that she and Qin Feng were not done there, but Qin Feng simply taunted her by sticking out his tongue at her. Qin Feng called Moon Celestial and announced that he was back. He queried if it was Dai Zhu, one of the world's 4 great talents. Dai Zhu questioned Moon Celestial what she was there for, and Moon Celestial stated that the Emperor had requested her to give him a message that he had found a good disciple for him and was wondering if he was interested. Dai Zhu probed what weapon the disciple uses. Qin Feng chimed in and mentioned that he uses plugins. Dai Zhu was confused as he interpreted what Qin Feng voiced as cocked melon. Zhu impressed Qin Feng when he got so silly. She asserted that Dai Zhu shouldn't listen to Qin Feng's nonsense because he uses the sword and has already achieved the 3rd stage of sword intent, and the invincible sword heart. She observed that he has also created 2 god-ranked sword skills, the ancient double pupil and supreme bone, and a god-ranked Buddhist skill. She indicated that he also slayed a dragon in the life and death elimination competition, and the reason for their visit was because the Emperor deemed Qin Feng's talent so extraordinary that no one else could teach him. Only Dai Zhu in the whole Yinyu dynasty could. Dai Zhu was stunned when he heard what Ziyuan articulated. He pronounced that he hasn't even taught himself well and pondered how he could be qualified to teach others. Dai Zhu proclaimed that they should go back, and Moon Celestial considered that it seemed like the only choice left was to let the 6-path Emperor change Qin Feng's master. But Qin Feng requested for Dai Zhu to wait a moment. He professed that he actually wanted to learn from Daizu's life's failures. Qin Feng recounted that when he was born, he awakened the 33 Heavens fortune skill, so no matter how serious the injury, he could quickly heal it, and he reached the commencement realm, Transcension, at the age of 8. He elaborated that he also had the sword intent and invincible sword heart, but those days, with more skills like the heavenly double pupil and supreme bone, life was smooth sailing, that he didn't feel any pressure, and Daizu must know that kind of torture. Daizu was lost for words when he heard what Qin Feng expressed. Qin Feng requested for Daizu to help him out and to let him stay by his side, drinking every day, not thinking about progress and wasting his life, and Moon Celestial realized that it was her fault that she underestimated Qin Feng's abilities. Moon Celestial communicated that Ziyuan should hold on to her because they would be thrown out by Daizu, and Ziyuan replied yes. But Daizu affirmed that Qin Feng could do as he wished, to which Qin Feng agreed and began addressing him as master. Qin Feng concluded that it was a success. Moon Celestial couldn't help but wonder if it worked. A crowd has gathered at the Tianhong Academy to see Qin Feng. Moon Celestial declared that since the disciple matter was completed, it was time for her to return, and when Qin Feng is in the Tianhong Academy, he should remember to cultivate hard and never neglect his studies. Qin Feng noted that he knows. Moon Celestial commented that she and Ziyuan should go, but Ziyuan remarked that she also wanted to study in the academy. Moon Celestial mentioned that a long-lasting love between two shall withstand time apart, so Ziyuan should give Qin Feng some space, and as Bai Fantong announced that he will accompany Ziyuan instead, Ziyuan agreed. Suddenly Chen San and Chen Kexan approached Qin Feng. Chen San politely introduced himself to Qin Feng. He spoke that he is the second son of the Chen family of the Yinyu dynasty, and he is willing to work for him and even more willing to be marked with the immortal slave seal. And as he introduced his sister Chen Kexan politely greeted Qin Feng. Qin Feng inquired Chen Sen if he was going to give him his sister. Chen Sen conveyed that he would serve the Holy Sun, Qin Feng, and bear the immortal slave seal, but he struggled to explain about his sister. Qin Feng immediately uttered that he didn't want to, and he pondered that the sister would take advantage of him and the brother would use his spiritual power for free, so those siblings had a good plan. A few moments later, Qin Feng wondered where the people were. Suddenly, he saw Yu Lan and proclaimed that he found her. Qin Feng immediately greeted Yu Lan and voiced that they met again. Yu Lan requested that Qin Feng just get out of the way, and she professed that she would return later to settle their score. But Qin Feng insisted no, while thinking that he still needed 3,000 to 500,000 villain points, so he would request Yu Lan to give him some. Yu Lan queried Qin Feng what he wanted, and Qin Feng questioned her what he should want to make her angry. Yu Lan trembled in rage as she released her aura. She asserted that she was already angry. Qin Feng suddenly reached out to grab Yu Lan after he dodged her attack. He probed Yu Lan if she likes him and why she keeps falling into his arms, and the system congratulated him for bullying the Heaven's chosen lady, so he gained 200,000 villain points. Yu Lan interrogated Qin Feng who would like him, and the system congratulated Qin Feng again for gaining 100,000 villain points. Suddenly, Yu Lan tripped on her dress. She fell forward, and she was flustered when her body pressed against Qin Feng. Qin Feng pressed Yu Lan if what she expressed was real. Half a month later, Qin Feng was drunk and slept under a tree. Daizu believed that Qin Feng reached the 7th spiritual martial realm in half a month, and he wondered what happened to Qin Feng to destroy his foundation like that and that he was still drunk every day. He declared that Qin Feng should wake up and that he couldn't go on like that. Qin Feng inquired Daizu which was the way to go, and he presumed that as expected of Daizu, the energy in the brewed wine actually helped with the evolution of the heavenly domineering physique. Daizu yelled at Qin Feng and stated that he should stand up immediately. Qin Feng remarked that if Daizu felt apologetic, he should do him a favor. He mentioned that Daizu should help him deal with the dragon. Qin Feng summoned the dragon corpse he had kept since the competition. Daizu noted that he would help Qin Feng with the dragon corpse, but as he was about to talk about Qin Feng's foundation, he trailed off. Qin Feng quickly thanked Daizu for his hospitality and commented goodbye, and Daizu announced that it was his wine. Daizu voiced that Qin Feng was a kid. A few moments later, Yu Lan walked around Tianhong Academy. She was suddenly startled when she felt that her undergarment disappeared. Yu Lan immediately revealed that Qin Feng should get out. Qin Feng questioned Yu Lan why the embroidery got cruder, and the system congratulated him for bullying the Heaven's chosen lady, so he gained 100,000 villain points. Yu Lan queried Qin Feng why he considered that was the case and conveyed that all her private items are done by her, but he kept stealing them every day, so her embroidery pace couldn't keep up with him. Qin Feng probed Yu Lan if anything done by a scholar could be seen as stealing. But Yu Lan quizzed Qin Feng if he was a scholar. Yu Lan scoffed at Qin Feng. Qin Feng affirmed that if Yu Lan did that again, she shouldn't blame him for being rude, and Yu Lan demanded how he would do so. Qin Feng suddenly leaned towards Yulan and pinned her against the wall. Suddenly, he wondered why Yulan didn't resist and why she didn't give him any villain points. Qin Feng realized something, and he wondered if Yulan was after his looks. He wondered if Yulan wanted to take advantage of him without any reward and suspected that she got a great idea. Qin Feng declared that he already had 1.027 million villain points, and based on his calculations, one foundation pill could upgrade and solidify a stage so he could buy two to directly reach from the 7th stage to the 9th stage of the spiritual martial realm, and he would steal a few more undergarments to get 500,000 villain points, and he could directly reach the path of Dao realm. He bought the foundation pills. Qin Feng ate the 2 foundation pills he just bought. In an instant, a surge of bright light filled his room. The next day came, and Princess Nanfeng was still at the Jade Bamboo Peak. Princess Nanfeng knocked on Qin Feng's door, and he mentioned that she could enter. She carried a plate of dates as she entered Qin Feng's room. As Princess Nanfeng gave the plate to Qin Feng, she stated that it was the 15th day and inquired when the disciples who were captured by the Yin dynasty would be released. But instead of answering Princess Nanfeng's question, Qin Feng replied that she had to wash the dates because it was unclean. Mishearing what Qin Feng conveyed, Princess Nanfeng questioned him what he had uttered, and Qin Feng explained that she had to wash the dates. Princess Nanfeng voiced that Qin Feng shouldn't go too far because she was Daxia dynasty's princess, but Qin Feng just remarked that he knew that and that he just insisted that they had to be washed so Princess Nanfeng shouldn't get angry. Princess Nanfeng noted that she was her father's favorite, and she had been ordered to come to the Yin dynasty to observe the life and death elimination competition, and she figured that she would return home after witnessing something spectacular. But not only was Fang Chang missing, but their people were also imprisoned. She recalled that once a dignified princess, she assumed that enduring humiliation and bearing burdens would end the bitterness, but little did she know that Qin Feng would exploit her like a lowly maid, inching forward with each demand. Suddenly, the system congratulated Qin Feng for intimidating the goddess of a chosen one's heart, so he gained 100,000 villain points twice, which made Qin Feng wonder how he intimidated Princess Nanfeng and if she misunderstood. Qin Feng interrogated Princess Nanfeng why she cried and commented that the dates were what he requested her to wash, and that he really doesn't know what perverted crap runs through her head all day long. He advised that Princess Nanfeng should return to the post station and wait, and he believed that he would go for another blackmail. A few moments later, Qin Feng went to the Yin dynasty prison. He pressed the guard if he was going to free those disciples of the emperor, and the guard politely acknowledged yes. Qin Feng requested that the guard hand over the keys and specified that he was supposed to bring them to the post station, and as the guard responded yes, he surmised that he fortunately got there fast enough. Otherwise, they would have been let go. As he went inside, he announced that the disciples had been set free thanks to Princess Nanfeng, and the disciples exclaimed that it was great. The disciples cried that they were finally saved and that Princess Nanfeng saved them. But Qin Feng suddenly proclaimed that, as they knew, he doesn't help for free, so 1 million spiritual stones for each of them was enough. Qin Feng probed the disciples if they were not willing to give it and asserted that Princess Nanfeng implored him to save them and served him for 15 days, yet they were not willing to give him 1 million spiritual stones. One of the disciples challenged Qin Feng if he actually took advantage of someone being in danger to play with Princess Nanfeng. Another indicated that he would report the truth to the emperor when he returned so Qin Feng would get punished. And another petitioned Qin Feng how he could be that shameless. Qin Feng related that the disciples acted impulsively and failed to protect their master, so Princess Nanfeng had no other choice but to submit to him to protect them all, and he clicked his tongue as he added that it would not be good if that spread. Qin Feng inquired the disciples if he was right that he didn't need to say any more about what they would do. One of the disciples remarked that they will definitely not tell about the 1 million spiritual stones, even more about Princess Nanfeng and Qin Feng. Another disciple stated that Princess Nanfeng made such a big sacrifice for them, so they should protect her and keep their mouths shut. And another disciple agreed. Qin Feng commented that they were indeed smart and that they should go because Princess Nanfeng has been waiting for a long time, and the disciple thanked Qin Feng. Qin Feng noted that the lack of information of others is really beneficial in any era. He went to a store and declared that the vendor should give him a portion of Raojiamo, and the vendor announced that it came right away. Suddenly, one of the people queried if the clothes heard that there have been several murders recently and a few cities have been massacred, and he observed that it was horrible. Another person questioned if the murderer has been found. Another uttered that they heard that it was Fang Chang, the emperor's disciple, who did it, and an older man voiced that it was too much, as those disciples of the emperor of the Daxia dynasty are doing horrible things in their Yin dynasty every day, so he really wanted to end them all. One of the people mentioned that the older man should keep his voice down because if the disciples are in the city, they will hear him, and there will be another scuffle. And behind them are the Daxia aristocratic families whom common people like them cannot afford to offend. But the older man insisted that he was just not willing to endure. The other person added that the older man will have to because their Yinyu dynasty and the Daxia dynasty are not at odds with each other, so a little bit of impatience can ruin the great plans. Qin Feng pondered that Fang Chang actually massacred, which was quite shocking, but Fang Chang could become a demon with just one thought and a Buddha with another, so it must be him. A few moments later, Wan Ma proclaimed that Qin Feng was back, and Qin Feng responded yes. Wan Ma indicated that Ziyuan was there. Qin Feng quickly asserted that he went to Ziyuan, but Qian Jun stopped him. Qin Feng was puzzled by their reaction. Wan Ma revealed that Ziyuan looked to be angry, and he demanded Qin Feng if he tried to do something to another girl once again. Qin Feng retorted that it was nonsense, and as he probed if he was a person who would do such things, he considered that what he has is Jianan style and Wai Wu customs. He volunteered that he will go look. A few moments later, Qin Feng arrived at where Ziyuan was. He wondered why Ziyuan smashed things. Qin Feng called Ziyuan, but Ziyuan cursed Qin Feng and exclaimed that he had the nerve to come back. Qin Feng caught the pillow that Ziyuan threw at him, and he had a cold expression on his face. Ziyuan challenged Qin Feng what was with his expression and who allowed him to look at her like that, and she warned that Qin Feng should be careful or she will tell Moon Celestial. But Qin Feng professed that she was not Ziyuan. The shapeshifting devil maintained that she didn't understand what Qin Feng meant. Qin Feng pressed the shapeshifting devil if she really didn't understand. The shapeshifting devil was taken aback when she saw Qin Feng's attack, and she released her dark aura. She stated no as she protected herself. The shapeshifting devil declared that Qin Feng is worthy of being called the #1 prodigy, and the one who uttered that on top of all immortals, I, Qin Feng, will soon stand proudly among heavens, as he was truly remarkable. But she was there for the dragon's pearls and the Buddha relics, so if Qin Feng doesn't wish to die, he should hand them over obediently. Qin Feng remarked that he was the one to snatch others' treasures, and no one has been able to try to snatch his. The shapeshifting devil inquired Qin Feng if it was real and commented that they should see what other tricks Qin Feng has up his sleeves. Qin Feng mentioned he would since the shapeshifting devil insisted. He immediately ran and called Moon Celestial to save him. The shapeshifting devil was puzzled when she saw what Qin Feng did. Suddenly, Wan Ma questioned what was going on, and as Qian Jun noted that he didn't know, but it looked like Qin Feng was a victim of domestic abuse. Wan Ma queried what they should do, and Qian Jun observed that they should run too because they can't let Qin Feng lose face. Wan Ma ran and pressed for help while Qian Jun repeatedly indicated that there was a killer. The shapeshifting devil scoffed and reported that if Qin Feng can't beat her, he would just run away, so he was smart. She explained that Qin Feng can run, but he can't hide, so they should see how long he could escape. 15 minutes later, Qin Feng demanded if the shapeshifting devil had left, and Qian Jun recounted that she should be gone. Qian Jun saw a shapeshifting devil, and as he probed if it could be that the Ziyuan earlier was the devil, he expressed that the person's skills are unknown, but they could change into 1,000 forms, anything from a man, a woman, a child, or an old man, and a variety of small animals, and it was not a simple disguise but a change in their entire physiological form. Suddenly, Bai Fantong arrived, and he sang about how the little white rabbit was white with both ears lifted up. Qin Feng was alarmed when he noticed Bai Fantong. He immediately raised his sword at Bai Fantong. Qin Feng wondered Bai Fantong if he was the shapeshifting devil. Bai Fantong requested who that was and pronounced that he was a rabbit. Qin Feng implored Bai Fantong if he didn't know and if he could prove that he was a rabbit. He conveyed that he would advise Bai Fantong to prove his identity. Bai Fantong repeatedly recited that he was a rabbit. He suddenly remembered something and voiced that the earth shakes the high hills. The streams and mountains are beautiful through the ages. Qin Feng maintained that the door faces the sea. The 3 rivers merged and flowed for thousands of years, and challenged Bai Fantong who his excellency is. Bai Fantong asserted that living in Chenghua district, the new driver on the mountain, King Xiaobai and Qin Feng testified that they studied at Erxian Kiao Primary for 2 years. In that world there is one peerless bug, King Leoliu. Qin Feng affirmed that it was really Bai Fantong. Bai Fantong started writing and declared that in month X, year X, he was scared to death by Qin Feng, so he needed 10 carats for compensation, and Qin Feng repeatedly uttered sorry. Suddenly, a dark mist spread all over the bamboo forest. Wan Ma inquired what smelled so nice while Qian Jun queried what it was. Suddenly, Qian Jun felt a pang of pain. He called Qin Feng and remarked that there was something poisonous in the air. Qin Feng and Bai Fantong both questioned about the poison. Suddenly, the dark bats of the shapeshifting devil flew through the windows. They gathered and turned into the shapeshifting devil. The shapeshifting devil wondered what went on and he stated that the poison he used pointless shouting should have taken care of all of them because everyone at the nascent core realm should be affected. Qin Feng requested the shapeshifting devil to confirm if it was pointless shouting. He mentioned that it was truly that and that the shape-shifting devil should allow him to fiddle with it. The shape-shifting devil was enraged, and he demanded Qin Feng if he couldn't show respect to his poison. He noted that Qin Feng should admit that he must be panicking inside, and he just pretended to be calm. He added that it was the world's strongest poison, and if Qin Feng didn't want the others to die like that, he should obediently hand over the Buddha relic and Dragon's Pearl. When Qin Feng heard that it was the strongest poison in the world, he pressed the shape-shifting devil if he would believe him when he explained that he could make Wanma and Qianjun jump back up in a few minutes. Qianjun pronounced that Qin Feng shouldn't, but Qin Feng replied that Qianjun shouldn't be afraid because life is short and bitter, and the things he goes through would disappear with the blink of an eye. Bai Fantong started pouring the aphrodisiac in Qianjun's mouth. He also poured aphrodisiac on Wanma's mouth. Both Qianjun and Wanma were flustered, but they just trembled and couldn't stand up, so Qin Feng quizzed if it didn't work. Qin Feng believed that the poison was truly strong, so it would be great if he could get it for himself, and the villain doesn't look smart, so he should be easy to deal with. He expressed that he could give the dragon bead and Buddha relic to the shape-shifting devil, but he probed the shape-shifting devil how long it would take him to surpass him with his talent and if he supposed he would let him go in the future given his character. The shape-shifting devil announced that he would kill Qin Feng at that moment. Qin Feng commented that the shape-shifting devil could wish to kill him to avoid future trouble, but he interrogated the shape-shifting devil if he assumed the Moon Celestial would let him go. He proclaimed that the Six-Path Emperor would definitely go after the shape-shifting devil too, whether it was for the sake of the Yin dynasty's face or to make an example out of him. And he challenged the shape-shifting devil if he reckoned that he would have a good life in the future. Qin Feng asserted that the shape-shifting devil shouldn't be arrogant or domineering like that when he becomes older, and he should think twice before acting because people who have gone through it know it as the truth. Qin Feng cleared his throat and remarked that to put it in another way, even if the shape-shifting devil gets the Dragon Pearl and the Buddha relic, he would question him how much he could improve his combat abilities and declared that the shape-shifting devil should make a deal with him instead. The shape-shifting devil inquired Qin Feng what the deal was. Qin Feng suggested that the shape-shifting devil give the formula of his poison to him while he will tell him how to become a great emperor. Meanwhile, Qianjun stated that it was over and Wanma uttered that Fang Chang is in danger. On the other hand, the shape-shifting devil questioned Qin Feng if he did not lie to delay his death so Moon Celestial could save him. Qin Feng noted that the shape-shifting devil shouldn't worry because he is a serious Confucian gentleman, and he swore to the heavens that he would never lie, and he could also assure the shape-shifting devil that the method is as easy as riding a horse. The shape-shifting devil was curious when he heard that it was as easy as riding a horse. Qin Feng queried the shape-shifting devil if he had heard of the extremely special destiny called the Six Emperors Game. The shape-shifting devil recognized the Six Emperors Game and probed Qin Feng who the one he speaks of is. Qin Feng commented that it was good and that there was finally someone who understands him. He announced that the shape-shifting devil should write down his antidote and poison formulas while he would write down the name of the Six Emperors Game, and they would hand in their information at once, and the shape-shifting devil proclaimed that it was a deal. A few moments later, the shape-shifting devil and Qin Feng exchanged their papers. The shape-shifting devil pronounced that the position of a great emperor is his. Qin Feng mentioned that sure enough, he didn't often fit in with other villains because he was not perverted enough. On the other hand, the shape-shifting devil read the paper Qin Feng gave to him. Seeing the name, the shape-shifting devil demanded who Fang Chang was. Meanwhile, Fang Chang has massacred another city and it was up in flames. The demon on Fang Chang's body voiced that he shouldn't be arrogant because his body is damaged. He pressed Fang Chang how he could go back to the past and if he knew why he was humiliated by Qin Feng and Princess Nanfeng. And as he articulated that it was because Fang Chang is weak, Fang Chang responded no and that he can't kill anymore. The demon clicked his tongue and affirmed that Fang Chang should go on and kill because he will gain endless power, but Fang Chang rejoined that he should shut up. Suddenly, the shape-shifting devil arrived. He wondered if it was the person, the legendary one related to the Six Emperors' destiny. The shape-shifting devil was surprised when he saw that Fang Chang was a man. He cursed and added that between being a great emperor or maintaining his integrity, he hesitated. The shape-shifting devil concluded that he would see it. Yulan was at Lanmo Palace. She remarked that it was great because her mother finally got out of seclusion. Yulan declared that Qin Feng was a lowlife and she will definitely let her mother teach him a good lesson. On the other hand, in Qin Feng's room on Jade Bamboo Peak, Daizu noted that he had already helped Qin Feng settle the Great Dragon. Daizu placed a lot of valuable items on the table. Qin Feng inquired of Daizu which parts of the dragon he used to make those and mentioned that they were all extraordinary. Daizu stated that Qin Feng had a good eye because the flexible armor was made by the soft scales of the dragon's belly and refined using the dragon's tendons, and furthermore, he also used dragon blood to enchant it and strengthen its defense power, so wearing that could block the strongest strike from a nascent core cultivator, which amazed Qin Feng. Dai Zhu voiced that only prodigies 30 years old and below could journey within the secret realm of Kunlun, and it is impossible for anyone to reach the nascent core stage before 30 years old. So in other words, with that armor, there is no one in Kunlun who will be able to break through Qin Feng's defenses. Qin Feng commented that it was good stuff. He announced that the flexible armor will be his while Qian Jun and Wan Ma could of the rest, which made the two of them thank Qin Feng. Qian Jun proclaimed that Qin Feng is seriously the world's greatest boss, and Qin Feng spoke that there was no need to thank him because, after all, subordinates with no equipment will make him suffer the most. Qin Feng pondered that he could leave the longbow for Bai Rai because although they aren't close, at the end of the day, he was the first person to do it with Fang Chang and has the qualifications of a great emperor, so he must quickly take him in and use the immortal slave seal. He mused that it was just a shame that he had used up all his immortal slave seals, so he had to break through to the path of Dao realm before he could unlock 2 more. And the secret realm of Kunlun is opening soon, so it looked like he had to make haste. Dai Zhu observed that since he was done with his commissions, he would take his leave. He quickly disappeared. Qin Feng thanked Dai Zhu. A few moments later, Qin Feng wore the flexible armor he got. He shared that Qian Jun should try and use his halberd to stab him as he wanted to see if the flexible armor was really impervious to sword and saber. Qian Jun uttered that Qin Feng made things difficult for him. Suddenly, Bai Fantong arrived, and he was in a hurry. He called Qin Feng and articulated that the sister that brings big surprises brought someone. Meanwhile, outside Qin Feng's room, Yu Lan called him and informed that he should come out immediately. Lan Mo accompanied Yu Lan. Bai Fantong revealed that the person Yu Lan brought with her was her mother, Lan Mo, and they pronounced that they came to settle some score with Qin Feng, and Qin Feng acknowledged that he got it. Qin Feng addressed Yu Lan as his darling, and as he quipped that she was naughty, he questioned her why she didn't tell him beforehand that her mother came. Lan Mo was surprised when he heard Qin Feng address Yu Lan as darling, while Moon Celestial wondered when Yu Lan and Qin Feng got so close. Qin Feng greeted Moon Celestial and Lan Mo. He inquired Yu Lan if she was still mad. Yu Lan declared that of course she was angry. Qin Feng remarked that he has already told Yu Lan that he and Ziyuan are childhood sweethearts, so even if Yu Lan wishes to give him all her love to repay him for saving her in the competition, she could only be a concubine at most. Yu Lan questioned Qin Feng who would want to be his concubine. She stated that Qin Feng shouldn't pull her, to which Qin Feng agreed that he wouldn't pull her and added that she shouldn't be angry. Qin Feng conveyed that Yu Lan should relax because he is a responsible man, and since he had no choice but to strip her that time to treat the poison, he will take full responsibility for her, and regarding the undergarments Yu Lan gave him as a token of her love, he would definitely keep it a secret and not tell anyone. Lan Mo was surprised when she heard what Qin Feng uttered, while Moon Celestial noted that young people really are full of tricks. Yu Lan queried Qin Feng what nonsense he said and who gave him undergarments as a love token. Qin Feng cleared his throat, and as he addressed Yu Lan as his darling, he mentioned that he knew that her love for him is like a torrent river, ever gushing and never ending, and that she can't resist being stuck with him at every moment. He observed that Moon Celestial and Lan Mo are looking, so Yu Lan should control herself, but Yu Lan responded that it was not and she did not do such a thing. Qin Feng showed Yu Lan's undergarments and interrogated what those were. Yu Lan got extremely flustered. Lan Mo cleared her throat and pronounced that Yu Lan didn't have to give that much, while Moon Celestial voiced that the love was deep. Yu Lan asserted that it was nonsense because Qin Feng clearly stole them, but Qin Feng just demanded if she had any proof. Lan Mo commented that there is no need for Yu Lan to explain because her mother was young once, so she understands everything. She pondered that the #1 heaven's pride of Huanggu, who subdued a great dragon, fought the emperor's disciples of Daxia, and was bestowed the title of the 3rd Holy Son by the 6th Dao Emperor. She surmised that Qin Feng was also the eldest son of Huanggu's #1 family, the Qin family, and he will return to his family sooner or later. Lan Mo considered that the ability, the wealth, and the appearance, Qin Feng has it all, so perhaps him being Yu Lan's husband isn't such a bad choice. She affirmed that Yu Lan should relax because her mother is very open-minded, and the system congratulated Qin Feng for severing the heaven's chosen lady and obtaining her mother's acceptance, so he had been rewarded 100,000 villain points. When Qin Feng read about severing, he wondered if that meant that the next victim, a heaven's chosen one, is appearing soon. Yu Lan suddenly yelled and wondered what open-mindedness Lan Mo was talking about and announced that she clearly didn't know what she was talking about. Pinching Yu Lan, Lan Mo explained that Yu Lan shouldn't ignore the blessed situation she was currently in, and she reflected that if she wasn't born early, Yu Lan wouldn't be able to take her turn to be with the Huanggu's #1 genius because she would be seducing Qin Feng the moment they meet. But Lan Mo proclaimed that her daughter will certainly not be anyone's concubine. Qin Feng was lost for words as he got into a tricky situation. He immediately exclaimed that he was afraid that Lan Mo had to ask Moon Celestial. Moon Celestial was surprised with what Qin Feng revealed that she dropped the watermelon she ate. Moon Celestial inquired Lan Mo if Qin Feng didn't say earlier that he and her Ziyuan were childhood friends, but Lan Mo just questioned her if it was real. Lan Mo suddenly snapped her fingers. She released her powerful aura and started summoning a huge white tiger. The white tiger got completely summoned, and it made a loud thud as it landed on the ground. Lan Mo stood on top of the white tiger's head. She uttered that she shall beat Moon Celestial until she agrees. The white tiger roared loudly as it towered over Moon Celestial and the others. Moon Celestial queried Lan Mo if she really believed that she would be afraid of her. She summoned her huge toad to stand against Lan Mo's white tiger. Qin Feng declared that it was his turn to watch a good show. The system suddenly congratulated Qin Feng for making the heaven's chosen lady so angry that her chest started aching. So he had been rewarded 10,000 villain points, and Qin Feng wondered if he shouldn't step up and massage them for Yu Lan as a proper gentleman himself. Qin Feng probed Moon Celestial and Lan Mo if the both of them weren't getting a little too agitated. But they weren't listening as Moon Celestial stated that her Ziyuan will never be the inferior wife, while Lan Mo remarked that her Yulan must become the superior wife. Suddenly, the Emperor conveyed that it wasn't the time for the both of them to fight. Both Moon Celestial and Lan Mo were surprised and stopped in their tracks. The Emperor mentioned that in 5 days, the secret realm of Kunlun will be opened, so he hoped Moon Celestial and Lan Mo would save their strength. And as he requested that they head to the main hall for a meeting immediately, Moon Celestial and Lan Mo both articulated yes. Lan Mo pronounced that she and Moon Celestial will continue it after the meeting, and Moon Celestial voiced that she has the same considered too. As the two of them left, Qin Feng spoke that there was no way and pressed if that was it. Qin Feng quizzed Yulan what she presumed about it. Yulan revealed that she was not done with Qin Feng and left. Qin Feng began writing and announced that in X year, X month, the 6th Dao Emperor stopped Lan Mo and Moon Celestial from fighting, preventing him from witnessing a duel between two experts and taking away his chance of improving himself. So he must be compensated with 1 million spiritual stones of the highest quality, while Bai Fantong did the same and explained that in X year, X month, Qin Feng incited the fight between Lan Mo and Moon Celestial, preventing him from falling asleep, so he must be compensated 10 carats. Suddenly, Bai Fantong was blown away by a powerful wind. Qin Feng expressed that he guessed that the shapeshifting devil found Fang Cheng but suffered massive losses, and was currently asking him for help. The shapeshifting devil demanded Qin Feng how he knew. Qin Feng took a step towards the shapeshifting devil. He noted that it was just what he expected of him. Qin Feng believed that the fact that the shapeshifting devil wanted to do it with Fang Cheng had nothing to do with him, because it was just that the situation was too urgent at that time and he had no choice but to expose Fang Cheng's fate to service 6 emperors. But he didn't expect that the shapeshifting devil would be interested in that. The shapeshifting devil inquired Qin Feng if he had a way to help him do it with Fang Cheng. Qin Feng uttered that he did have a way, but he questioned the shapeshifting devil what treasure he was going to use in exchange at that time. The shapeshifting devil queried Qin Feng what he wanted. Qin Feng spoke that he wanted the shapeshifting devil, but before he could finish his sentence, the shapeshifting devil immediately remarked no, not him, and that Qin Feng should pick another one. Qin Feng was disgusted when he realized what the shapeshifting devil's response implied. He cleared his throat as he commented that the shapeshifting devil was mistaken. He declared that what he meant was that the shapeshifting devil would become his servant for 100 years, and he will guarantee that he will get Fang Cheng. But as he quizzed the shapeshifting devil for his opinion, the shapeshifting devil stated that 100 years is impossible, and he will at most promise him 3 years. Qin Feng immediately voiced that it was a deal. The shapeshifting devil probed Qin Feng if he agreed, while in his mind, he was thinking that he presumed that Qin Feng would keep negotiating with him and end up with 50 years. Qin Feng announced that he agrees and regarded that after using the immortal slave seal, it doesn't matter if it was 100 years or 1 day, because with the shapeshifting devil's intelligence, he could truly forget about learning to even ride a bike. He articulated that the shapeshifting devil should come and find him again right there at that time the next day, as he will give him a solution, but the shapeshifting devil pressed why it would be the next day. Qin Feng recounted that the solution requires the right time, location, and people. Any of them must not be missing, but in his mind, he deemed that it was because he didn't have any more slots for the immortal slave seal, so he had to break through first. The shapeshifting devil conveyed that it was the case, so he will come the next day. Qin Feng considered that the shapeshifting devil was gullible. A few moments later, Qin Feng started meditating in his room. Outside, Qian Jun requested if it was fine for Qin Feng to break through like that, if the foundation would be stable, and if it could be what Dai Zhu was worried about, that Qin Feng was abandoning himself to despair and was destroying his own future. But Wan Ma responded that that won't happen and that he believes in Qin Feng. Wan Ma recalled how everyone in the Qin family mentioned that they should kill Qin Feng. He contemplated that for the sake of the Qin family, Qin Feng was cruel to himself and left the Qin family at the age of 8. And he shouldered the hatred and vile words of others and went on a journey alone in the Yin dynasty, so he would never do something like ruin his own future, and for Qin Feng to do such a thing, he must have a reason. Qin Jun and Wan Ma were both startled when a golden, bright light flashed behind them. Wan Ma expressed that Qin Feng broke through to the path of Dao Realm. On the other hand, Qin Feng was thinking that breaking through to the path of Dao Realm actually increases his lifespan by 1,000 years, which is such an astonishing discovery, and besides, his bond with the vast sky divine sword seemed to have become stronger. Qin Feng called the sword and observed that it should come. He noted that the sword should enlarge and repeatedly pronounced that it should go larger. Qin Feng hopped on and rode the enlarged vast sky divine sword. He averred that the sword should rise. Qin Feng quickly flew up in the sky, and Wan Ma got worried for him. Qin Feng exclaimed that he could finally fly. The next day, Qin Feng and the shapeshifting devil met. The shapeshifting devil inquired Qin Feng what it was in his hand. Qin Feng placed the seal on the shapeshifting devil without answering his question, and the shapeshifting devil questioned what kind of seal it was because it was unfathomable. The shapeshifting devil screamed and declared that his head hurts. Both Wan Ma and Qin Jun queried what was going on. Qin Feng remarked that it might be the celebration song for becoming his little brother. He noted that it was a little painful for the first time, so the shapeshifting devil needed to get used to it first, and he will be right back. Qin Feng flew away in his vast sky divine sword. Meanwhile, Bai Rai was at the Great Xia Dynasty downtown street. A man commented that Bai Rai should come on and bark like a dog, and he will give him a treat. Bai Rai recalled how he was attacked by the elder and he was extremely injured. He pondered that he wanted to live, and he must live. Bai Rai became homeless and competed with a dog for food. He reflected that the Bai family took advantage of his crisis, destroyed his cultivation, and expelled him from the family, so he will definitely pay double the amount for everything they have done to him. Bai Rai started barking. The people laughed at Bai Rai, and one of them observed that Bai Rai, the former genius of the Bai family, actually barked like a dog. Bai Rai requested if he could already have the chicken leg. The man threw the chicken leg on the ground and stated that Bai Rai should eat it. But suddenly, another man stepped on Bai Rai's hand and indicated that the other man was the one who agreed to it, but he didn't. The man kicked Bai Rai in the stomach. 4 men towered over Bai Rai while he was lying on the ground. One of the men kicked the chicken leg and voiced that Bai Rai was trash, so he should eat up. The man mentioned that Bai Rai should come on and eat, and as he pressed Bai Rai if he wanted to eat, the man added that Bai Rai should hurry up and eat the chicken leg. Suddenly, Qin Feng challenged the men if it was funny. Bai Rai looked up and saw Qin Feng beside him. He immediately muttered that Qin Feng shouldn't touch him because he is dirty. Qin Feng just called Bai Rai and pronounced that he was late. Qin Feng gave the longbow to Bai Rai and declared that it was for him. Bai Rai was surprised when he saw the longbow. Qin Feng considered that the strategy was successful, so he would add a little more for Bai Rai. He stated that he knew that Bai Rai was good with bows, so he made that dragon horn specially for him. But he just didn't expect that he would go through so much during the month he worked hard to craft that dragon horn for him. Qin Feng uttered that Bai Rai shouldn't worry because no matter how hard it is, he will definitely help him restore his cultivation and let him stand up again. Bai Rai was moved, and tears welled up at the corners of his eyes. Qin Feng voiced that he will not let those who have bullied Bai Rai go. One of the men queried if he was Qin Feng, the third holy son of the Yin dynasty, while another man inquired if he was the Qin Feng who is very good at cutting off people's descendants and the one who likes to drug people. Qin Feng mentioned that it seemed like he was pretty famous. He cut off the chicken heads of the 4 men. Qin Feng noted that the scariest part is not having it but wanting to have it even though they couldn't. He announced that Bai Rai should come with him because he will give him food, shelter, a sense of security, and dignity. Bai Rai accepted Qin Feng's hand and grabbed it. A few moments later, Bai Rai and Qin Feng were riding the vast sky divine sword back to the Jade Bamboo Peak. Qin Feng remarked that it was the immortal slave seal that could help Bai Rai increase his combat power 5-fold. Bai Rai immediately felt his spiritual power when the immortal slave seal was placed on him. He was thinking that he never believed that he could gain strength again. Bai Rai thanked Qin Feng for his kindness. Qin Feng indicated that there was no need to thank him because it was a mutual benefit, and he pondered that he was just investing for his dog's life in advance. Bai Rai surmised that he and the Bai family got more than enough time. Suddenly, Bai Rai remembered what Fang Chang did to him back at the competition. He reckoned the Bai family and Fang Chang should wait and see. Meanwhile, Lin Sang conveyed that the Kunlun Secret Realm was finally about to open. He questioned himself if he was right that Qin Feng would also go. Qin Feng and his men went to Huoluo City. Qin Jun queried Qin Feng what they were doing there when the Kunlun Secret Realm was about to open, and Qin Feng responded that, of course, they were going to the Kunlun Secret Realm. Qin Feng reflected that every time the Kunlun Secret Realm is opened, there are many random entries, and people with great luck could easily encounter them, but others may need to spend a lot of money to set up teleportation arrays to force people in. And according to the heavenly mysterious card, Fang Chang will encounter a secret entrance in Huliu City, and from on, he will find the legendary spring of purity nurtured by heaven and earth and cultivate a great Dao heart. He glanced over at the shape-shifting devil with a mischievous smile on his face. Qin Feng cleared his throat and stated that he has always been a trustworthy person and there is still some time before the Kunlun Secret Realm opens. And Fang Chang also happens to be there in that city, so he could fulfill the shape-shifting devil's wish first. The shape-shifting devil inquired if Qin Feng was for real, and Qin Feng declared that he was without a doubt. Evening came, and Qin Feng and his group went to the flower district. Joyful Red House. One of the ladies called Qin Feng and mentioned that he should come in and play and let her relieve him of his fatigue that day, while another lady noted that it has been a long time since he came to see her, and she really misses him. The two ladies approached Qin Feng, and they were alluring him. Qian Jun was flustered, and he wondered if it was the wish of the shape-shifting devil. One of the ladies remarked that Qin Feng looks so handsome, and the other lady observed that he has such an amazing chest. Qin Feng entertained the ladies and voiced that his men should follow him. Qian Jun awkwardly announced that he was coming, and he pondered that Qin Feng was really so nice, and he loves Qin Feng. On the other hand, Wen Ma was frustrated, and as he uttered that it was noisy and he really didn't understand what was good about women when his dual-headed hammer is way cuter than them, a lady tried to approach him. Wan Ma yelled and exclaimed that the lady shouldn't touch him, which scared the ladies. He commented that they were a bunch of cowards, and not only is his twin hammer much cuter, it also has stronger combat power, so the ladies were boring. A few moments later, Qin Feng and his men entered the joyful Red House. One of the ladies called the madam and reported that they have guests. The madam shared that there were a few unfamiliar faces and questioned if it was their first time there. She proclaimed that Qin Feng came to the right place because they are the most famous courthouse in that city, with 4 top courtesans in residence. Qin Feng interrogated if they were Xiao Nio, Xiao Gong, Xiao Wei, and Xiao Bai. The madam pronounced that as long as Qin Feng liked them, they would be called Xiao Nio, Xiao Gong, Xiao Wei, and Xiao Bai, and Qin Feng considered that it was whatever. Qin Feng affirmed that for the next 3 days, the madam's court will be under his command and probed if there was any problem. The madam's eyes twinkled when she saw the top-grade spiritual stones, and she articulated that there was no problem, so whatever Qin Feng says, no matter what he does, they will do anything. Qin Feng conveyed that the first thing was to change the sign, and the madam immediately replied sure, and there was no problem while she called Hong Hong and added that she should bring her a brush and ink. A few moments later, the madam was horrified by the name Qin Feng chose. The sign was changed to no time to chicken out. Qin Feng declared that it was the effect that he wanted, and he believed that with such a unique name, Fang Chang would definitely take a look at the crowd. He inquired the madam if Miss Dong Feng was done grooming and dressing, and the madam mentioned that according to Qin Feng's instruction, Dong Feng was already waiting on the 2nd floor. Qin Feng stated that the madam did well and gave her another spirit stone. A few moments later, the people who had gathered at the courthouse questioned who the lady upstairs was and voiced that she was pretty. One of the men uttered that he considered that the lady was the courtesan to be auctioned that night, and another man remarked that if he could spend the night with that beauty, it would be worth dying for. Meanwhile, Qin Feng queried Bai Fantong who the look of the shape-shifting devil was, and Bai Fantong indicated that the shape-shifting devil is very much alike, a perfect resemblance, and he is worthy of being the shape-shifting devil because he was just like Princess Nanfeng. Qin Feng gave an aura concealment charm to the shape-shifting devil and affirmed that he should carry it with him so that Fang Chang doesn't discover him. The shape-shifting devil probed if it was really going to work, and Bai Fantong expressed that there was no way Qin Feng would do something that wouldn't work. Qin Feng announced that the shape-shifting devil shouldn't worry because he guarantees that it will work. A few moments later, Fang Chang was walking down the downtown street. He was calmly strolling and looking around. Suddenly, Fang Chang noticed the no time to chicken out sign Qin Feng prepared. He got curious and chose to enter the house along with the other men. The shape-shifting devil was amused, and he conveyed that Fang Chang really came. Qin Feng exclaimed that the shape-shifting devil should take action, and the shape-shifting devil noted all right. The shape-shifting devil came out from behind the curtains. He immediately started running away. Qin Feng acted like he was in distress, and he yelled and observed that Miss Dong Feng ran away. The men recognized that they should chase Dong Feng. Meanwhile, the shape-shifting devil reckoned that he had been searching for Fang Chang for half a month, and he couldn't find a trace of him. But at that moment, Fang Chang came knocking on his door, so he would succeed no matter what at that time. He grabbed Fang Chang and requested that he save her. One of the men commented that the shape-shifting devil entered the flower house and still wanted to run away, so he was tired of living while the shape-shifting devil continued to ask Fang Chang to save him. The madam cursed as she slapped the shape-shifting devil, and she demanded him if he was trying to kill her. The shape-shifting devil screamed in pain while the veil on his face was removed by the madam's slap. Fang Chang was stunned, and he wondered if it was Princess Nanfeng. Fang Chang immediately considered that the shape-shifting devil was not Princess Nanfeng because Princess Nanfeng is the most favored princess of the Great Xia dynasty, so there was no way she could end up in such a place. Suddenly, the madam called for everyone's attention and declared that it was the day when their Miss Dongfang was going out of the boudoir, and regardless of whoever it was, the one who offered the highest bid would win. The madam remarked that Dongfang was such a beautiful girl, and she still hasn't gotten out of the boudoir yet. What the madam uttered caught Fang Chang's attention. Fang Chang looked at Dongfang and observed her intently. He supposed that Dongfang's every expression was similar to Princess Nanfeng. The madam pronounced that as everyone could see, Dongfang is well developed. She stated that Dongfang should take a spin. Fang Chang reflected that back then, if he had been a bit tougher, the bastard Qin Feng wouldn't have dared to bully his Princess Nanfeng. The madam revealed that Dongfang comes from a wealthy family, and because she refused to serve the third holy son, Qin Feng, he had her entire family slaughtered, and moreover, Qin Feng threw that fairy-like beauty into that red house, intending to make her filthy and disgraced. One of the men commented that Dongfang was from a wealthy family, so it was no wonder that she was beautiful. Another voiced that he had heard that the third holy son, Qin Feng, is ruthless, but he didn't expect him to lay hands on such a beautiful woman. Another mentioned that Qin Feng even harmed his own brother, and at that time, he didn't even care about a beauty, and Fang Chang surmised that it was Qin Feng again. The madam announced after all that was asserted to her dear guest, they should get started. A man bid for 100 spiritual stones, but another man inquired if the first man wanted to get a kiss for 100 spiritual stones and proclaimed that he would bid 1,000 spiritual stones. And the bid continued to rise until it reached 30,000 spiritual stones when Fang Chang suddenly bid 100 top-grade spiritual stones. One of the men queried who Fang Chang was, and as another man noted that he didn't know, another man observed that one top-grade spiritual stone is equivalent to 1,000 ordinary spiritual stones. So Fang Chang bid 100,000 ordinary spiritual stones, which was a huge sum, and another man indicated that it looked like Fang Chang was determined to get that girl. Suddenly, Qian Jun expressed that he would bid 1,000 top-grade spiritual stones. One of the men claimed that those people were rich while Fang Chang got curious. Meanwhile, Qian Jun questioned Qin Feng what they should do if Fang Chang gets scared if they raise prices like that, but Qin Feng affirmed that Qian Jun shouldn't worry about it. Qin Feng insisted that Fang Chang will fall for it. Suddenly, Fang Chang bid for 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones. Qian Jun marveled that as expected of Qin Feng, he knows everything like a god. He vowed that he will bid 100,000 top-grade spiritual stones. Fang Chang bid 150,000 top-grade spiritual stones. Qian Jun immediately pledged that he will bid 1 million top-grade spiritual stones. Qin Feng spit his drink when he heard what Qian Jun articulated. He wondered Qian Jun how he could jump from 150,000 to 1 million, and as he muttered that it was too much, Qian Jun quizzed him if he didn't say that Fang Chang would fall for it. Qin Feng explained that Fang Chang is rich, but he is not an idiot. Qian Jun remarked that Fang Chang should come on and suggested that he bid more. He inquired Qin Feng if he thinks Fang Chang might not increase the bid price, and Qin Feng believed that currently, Fang Chang is a wanted man, and he is also in a hurry to return to the Daxia dynasty, so he won't resort to force in Luohua city, and he could only bid honestly according to the rules. Qin Feng stated that Qian Jun shouldn't worry because Fang Chang is good at bidding. He questioned Qian Jun if he was right that serving the 6 emperors game requires making noise after all, and Qian Jun mentioned that although he doesn't understand, it's fine just as long as Fang Chang shouts to bid more. On the other hand, Fang Chang was thinking that it was obvious that the girl was not Princess Nanfeng, but her every expression was similar to Princess Nanfeng. Fang Chang was startled when he noticed the shapeshifting devil make eye contact with him. He considered that the shapeshifting devil looked too similar. Fang Chang clenched his fist so hard that he was trembling. He declared that he would bid 1.5 million top-grade spiritual stones while thinking that he would definitely save Princess Nanfeng. The other men were surprised when they heard the 1.5 million bid. Another queried if they presumed there was something wrong with Fang Chang's brain, and as another man noted that it was possible, another man probed if Fang Chang actually spent 1.5 million on a woman he had never met before. Meanwhile, Qian Jun commented that it was as expected of Qin Feng. He knows everything. He requested Qin Feng if they should still increase it. Qin Feng pronounced no and that they should stop there. He supposed that they could harvest spiritual stones later, but Fang Chang's flower must wither that day. The madam announced that the bid was 1.5 million top-grade spiritual stones going once, twice, thrice, and the shape-shifting devil was sold, and she congratulated Fang Chang. The men observed that it was awesome, and it was love. Fang Chang gently held the shape-shifting devil's hand. He pressed her if she was all right. The shape-shifting devil voiced that she was fine while thinking that Fang Chang could no longer escape. A few moments later, a candle was lit in Dong Fang's room. The shape-shifting devil sat on the bed, waiting for Fang Chang. She uttered that it was late at night and suggested that Fang Chang go to bed early. Fang Chang expressed that it was just out of sympathy and not because of any ill intentions. The shape-shifting devil wondered if Fang Chang was seriously going to stay like that. The shape-shifting devil remembered that Qin Feng declared that if she wanted to get Fang Chang, his gaze is very important and that she should remember that she must be good at moving her two big, pitiful eyes and soften Fang Chang's heart. Qin Feng mentioned that if the shape-shifting devil brought Fang Chang to her room, but he is pretending to be a gentleman, she should do something lewd. But he retracted that and stated that she should recite a poem to Fang Chang. And the shape-shifting devil pondered that the situation was really the same as what Qin Feng remarked. She voiced that he knew that a courtesan like her would tarnish Fang Chang's name because her arms are pillows for thousands of men. Her lips have been tasted by tens of thousands of them, and she pretends to be a body of grace and acts as if she has a good heart in place. Fang Chang quickly announced that he was mistaken because that wasn't his intention. The shape-shifting devil started undressing herself. She uttered that Fang Chang does not have to speak another word because it was her life. Fang Chang asserted that he really isn't that type of person. Meanwhile, the candle in the room continued to melt, and the scent of the aphrodisiac wafted around the room. Fang Chang immediately recognized the scent, and he commented that it was even the sows will go crazy. Suddenly, the shape-shifting devil made Fang Chang sit on the bed. She pushed him and made him lie down. The shape-shifting devil quickly went on top of Fang Chang and pinned him down. Fang Chang mused that the shape-shifting devil had such powerful strength. He exclaimed no and that the shape-shifting devil wasn't going to do it. But the shape-shifting devil grabbed Fang Chang's hand that was pushing him away. She inquired Fang Chang if he was trying to run and observed that there was no escape. The shape-shifting devil forcefully turned Fang Chang around and restrained his hand on his back. She laughed evilly, and she pronounced that her position as the great emperor was set. Fang Chang immediately queried how it could be the shape-shifting devil. The shape-shifting devil has turned back to his original form, and he just continued to laugh evilly. Fang Chang screamed and shouted no. His scream could be heard outside the courthouse as he yelled that the shape-shifting devil shouldn't come near him. On the other hand, Qin Feng noted that it was a nice rain and reward, and the system congratulated him for setting up the trap to sell the Heaven's Chosen One, so 20,000 villain points were rewarded. The system congratulated Qin Feng for taking the initiative to set the trap and ruin the Heavenly Chosen One, so 50,000 villain points were rewarded. But Qin Feng questioned the system what it was talking about and what it meant by selling, and as he articulated that it was clearly a fated match between two loving men, he demanded if he was that kind of person. Qin Feng affirmed that they should go. Suddenly, Lin San passed in front of Qin Feng while on horseback. Lin San was surprised when he noticed Qin Feng while Qin Feng looked pleased. Lin San stopped under the pouring rain. Noticing Qin Feng's relentless gaze, Qian Jun inquired Qin Feng what was wrong. Qin Feng ignored Qian Jun and suddenly recited a poem and remarked that searching for him amidst the crowd, but a turn of the head, and he is there, standing under the lantern's gaze. Wan Ma queried what that meant. Meanwhile, Lin San was wondering why Qin Feng's gaze was more unbearable than 7 years ago. Qin Feng requested Lin San for a friendly duel. Lin San entreated Qin Feng to pardon his actions. The two of them immediately exchanged blows. They quickly jumped off the ground, ignoring the pouring rain. Qin Feng swung his sword, and Lin San managed to block it while the two of them were still in the air. Lin San counterattacked and swung his sword, and Qin Feng dodged it effortlessly. Qin Feng declared that Lin San was powerful, and it was as expected of the #1 swordsman after 100 years, and Lin San noted that Qin Feng's wordsmanship has become even stronger. Qin Feng commented that Lin San's swordplay wasn't weak at all. Lin San mentioned that if the two of them dueled any longer, he was afraid that they would miss the opening of the Kunlun Secret Realm, so he suggested that they save that battle for another day. Qin Feng reasoned that from Lin San's 3 moves earlier, he could tell that if he wanted to defeat him, he would have to expand a large amount of energy. But indeed the secret realm of Kunlun waits for no one, so it truly wasn't the place to waste any more time, so he agreed and stated that they should talk another day. He believed that the important thing was that when he was viewing the mysterious fate before, he didn't see Lin San appearing in Huoluo City, and his sudden appearance was really abnormal, so he might as well send him away because if not, both of them will be fighting to enter, and Lin San will steal his spring of purity. Lin San announced that he shall take his leave. Qin Feng mused that after fighting for so long, he didn't even get a single reward, so the dog of a system was getting more and more stingy. On the other hand, Qian Jun questioned if there was something between Qin Feng and Lin San. He explained that many women appeared around Qin Feng before, but he has never acted like that, and it was only Lin Sen that Qin Feng was looking at with such a heated gaze. And as Wan Ma observed that it really does seem like it after hearing Qian Zheng's words, Bai Fantong affirmed that Qin Feng was also like that at that time when he slept with Ziyuan. Both Qian Zheng and Wan Ma prompted Bai Fantong to confirm if Qin Feng slept with a lady, and Bai Fantong replied yes. Qin Feng was startled when the night sky started to shatter. He suspected that the realm of Kunlun had opened. Qin Feng immediately voiced that they should go, which caught the others off guard. A few moments later, Qian Zheng wondered if it was the realm of Kunlun. Qin Feng didn't answer and just pronounced that they should go. Qian Zheng claimed that not only did Qin Feng manage to sell Fang Chang to the shapeshifting devil and earn 1.5 million spiritual stones of the highest quality from him, he even managed to calculate the entrance of the Kunlun realm, so he was awesome, to which Wan Ma agreed that Qian Zheng was right. Fang Chang was still lying on Dong Feng's bed. He was thinking that it was Qin Feng once again. Meanwhile, the shapeshifting devil was wondering if what he did could truly change his destiny. He wondered if he maybe should do it once more just in case. Fang Chang inquired the shapeshifting devil what he was doing. The shapeshifting devil stated that, of course, he was getting what he wanted, and Fang Chang declared that he shouldn't come any closer. But the shapeshifting devil forced Fang Chang to drink the aphrodisiac. Fang Chang weakly mentioned that the shapeshifting devil shouldn't come. The shapeshifting devil remarked that it is useless even if Fang Chang screamed, and Fang Chang repeatedly announced no. Suddenly, the devil's dark aura started coming out of Fang Chang's body. It intensified and pushed the shapeshifting devil away. The shapeshifting devil landed upright on the floor and he was in pain. He considered that it was bad because the old devil made a move. The shapeshifting devil remembered that Qin Feng conveyed that the aphrodisiac paralyzes Fang Chang, so he has to be quick and handle things with a firm hand. And if something is wrong, he must turn around and run with no hesitation, which made the shapeshifting devil think that it proves it that he could always trust Qin Feng. He believed that he should withdraw first. On the other hand, at the Kunlun Secret Realm, Bai Fantong queried why the place was hot. Qian Zheng expressed that it was articulated that the Kunlun Secret Realm is vast with many lands full of mysteries. He voiced that, like that desert, as an example, he had heard that it was a deserted region and countless cultivators have been trapped and perished there, unable to escape, and Bai Fantong questioned if it was that scary. Meanwhile, Qin Feng pondered that the place was the same as what he saw when he was spying upon the heavenly mystery, and it was in that extremely hot region that Fang Chang found the legendary Spring of Purity. And as things move in the opposite direction, when they finally reach the extreme, the yin would give birth to yang, and the yang would give birth to yin, and they will combine. He reflected that needless to say, nature is truly remarkable because in such a hot place, surprisingly pure springs have been born. Suddenly, the system congratulated Qin Feng for making the heavenly chosen one's heartbreak and sadness, which will take one lifetime to heal, so he obtained one lucky draw. And Qin Feng conveyed that the shapeshifting devil doesn't show mercy even to the fairer sex, and it would be better if it was a bit more too. In his mind, Qin Feng told the system that he wanted to do his lucky draw, and the system notified him that the rewards were being drawn for him. The system congratulated Qin Feng for winning the heaven and earth's treasure, Nanming Primordial Fire. The system notified him that the Nanming Primordial Fire is the divine fire bred by heaven and earth, the fire from Bagua, the fire smelted by Suzaku, the fire that could restrain ghosts and evil souls. The system noted that the Nanming Primordial Fire was processing thunder and lightning, and as long as it is integrated into the body, it gains attack power no less powerful than the Profoundian physique. Qin Feng was surprised that it integrated into the body and it was more powerful than the Profoundian physique, and he wondered if it was something a villain like him could have. The system notified Qin Feng that he currently has 917,000 villain points and he could spend 600,000 villain points to buy a Path of Dao Realm Foundation pill, which made Qin Feng inquired at what it meant and if the foundation pills could increase his success rate. But the system declared no. The system stated that it only reminds Qin Feng about the foundation of the first stage of the Path of Dao, and it doesn't know why he was worried, as there is no success rate for Nanming Primordial Fire because it could be 100% successful by refining, and if there are cheats, there will be cheats, so Qin Feng shouldn't act like he has never had it in that world because the system was losing face. Qin Feng queried the system why it didn't tell him earlier, and the system remarked that Qin Feng didn't ask. Qin Feng mentioned that the system is part of him, so he can't get angry. He expressed that he wanted to redeem a foundation pill, and the system congratulated him for spending 600,000 villain points and redeeming a Path of Dao Realm Foundation pill. Qin Feng announced that they should go and find some shade to stay because Bai Fantong was dying from the heat. A few moments later, the four of them found a shade under the huge rocks. Everyone sat down, but Qian Zheng quickly stood up. and as he started jumping, he repeatedly exclaimed that it was hot. Meanwhile, Qin Feng took the path of Dao Realm Foundation pill. He began meditating to refine the Nanming primordial fire. When Qianjun saw that, he questioned if it was divine fire. Suddenly, Bai Fantong woke up and inquired if it was divine fire. Qianjun wondered if Bai Fantong was absorbing it directly while Wan Ma was lost for words. Qianjun pondered that Qin Feng was not a normal human being. But he wondered how come Qin Feng's rabbit was abnormal and what rabbit could be so abnormal. Meanwhile, at the Daxia dynasty Qin family, the ancestor pronounced that the era of great conflict is near as the Kunlun Secret Realm is opening again, and the battle will be extremely dangerous. He indicated that they have to use all of their family's treasures to ensure the safety of the juniors. Qin Tian reported that instructions have already been sent out, but the issue was that Qin Hao left a letter and ran away, and he probed if they should wait for him. The ancestor responded no because Qin Hao is born a genius and has his own challenges to go through, so their interference will hinder his path. And if they encounter them in the Kunlun Secret Realm, Qin Tian should just ask other juniors to help him. One of the elders observed that Qin Hao is a child with a strange destiny, and he has always been followed by bad luck since childhood. So the disciples of the family avoided him like he was a plague, so if he gets into danger in the secret realm, he is afraid. The ancestor interrogated them about their opinion on Qin Feng. The elders asserted that Qin Feng has already been expelled from the family and has been suffering, wandering outside, so there was no way they could persuade him to risk his life for Qin Hao in crisis. The ancestor affirmed that Qin Feng would do it, and while he was thinking that Qin Feng not only kept Wan Ma by his side, he taught him himself, and that kind of magnanimity is somewhat like that of a Qin family's head. Qin Tian considered that his boy is amazing. On the other hand, Ziyuan was at the Moon Celestial Palace. Moon Celestial articulated that Ziyuan should remember what she told her. She voiced that Ziyuan should not be impulsive when she encounters some trouble because the only way to survive is to escape with her life, and as long as she lives long, she could become strong sooner or later, to which Ziyuan acknowledged that she knew, and while she petitioned Moon Celestial if she could go, she wondered where Qin Feng was and if he got on time for the Kunlun Secret Realm's opening. Moon Celestial conveyed that Ziyuan should remember that the task given by the Six-Path Emperor was for everyone to bring back no less than 10 crystals, and those who fail will enter the 10,000 Demons Tower to be punished. But the crystal is hard to find, so Ziyuan must not act rashly, and together with the Six-Path Emperor, she will help her find a way, and Ziyuan repeatedly reaffirmed that she got it. Ziyuan signified that she was going and quickly left. Meanwhile, at Lan Mo Palace, Lan Mo commented that no matter what happens, Yu Lan shouldn't think about it even if the Kunlun Secret Realm holds many treasures because they won't match what the Lan Mo Palace possesses, and that her first priority in the Kunlun Secret Realm at that time was to find a way to sleep with Qin Feng. Yu Lan was surprised when she heard what Lan Mo uttered, and she pressed her if she was serious. At Daxia Dynasty, the Emperor declared that Princess Nanfeng couldn't let her father down again at that time. Princess Nanfeng announced that the Emperor shouldn't worry because she will definitely kill Qin Feng to get rid of their shame. She remarked that Qin Feng should just wait for her. The teleportation array was activated. On the other hand, Qin Feng was still in the desert of the Kunlun Secret Realm. He mentioned that the Nanming primordial fire has such a strong vigor. Suddenly, a teleportation array appeared in front of Qin Feng. Fang Chang suddenly appeared. Qin Feng inquired himself why Fang Chang was there, and he pondered that just in case, he gave twice the measures to make sure Fang Chang couldn't come, both the drug and the poison, so he wondered how Fang Chang could still be in such good shape. Fang Chang trembled as he stood up. Qin Feng reflected that it looked like the battle was fierce. Fang Chang stated that it was Qin Feng again. He uttered that he will kill Qin Feng. But suddenly, Fang Chang felt a panging pain in his butt. He froze and he trembled in pain as he stood there. Wan Ma questioned Fang Chang if he considered he could hurt Qin Feng as a withered chrysanthemum and a lost willow. Fang Chang was stunned as Wan Ma's words hit him so badly. He was enraged and released the Buddha demon in him. Fang Chang commented that they should become his slaves. Wan Ma queried what Fang Chang was up to while Qian Jun probed if Fang Chang was going mad. Qian Jun demanded Wan Ma if he reacted to Fang Chang's skill, and Wan Ma pressed Qian Jun which sane person would react to that. Qian Jun suggested to Wan Ma that they should break Fang Chang, and Wan Ma expressed yes. Qian Jun asserted that they should attack, and Wan Ma insisted that Fang Chang should take his hammer. Fang Chang wondered what was happening and why he couldn't enslave them when he clearly had a deeper understanding of the Buddha's technique. Qin Feng wondered if Fang Chang actually broke through the path of Dao Realm. He contemplated that if he remembered correctly, when he first met Fang Chang, he was on the 5th level of the spiritual realm, so he had broken into the path of Dao in just a month and wondered if Fang Chang's foundation wasn't unstable. Qin Feng wondered why those protagonists could ignore their foundation's stability, as they wished, whereas he should spend 7 years and hundreds of thousands of villain points to stabilize him. And as he mused that it was clearly targeting him, the villain, he noted that the stupid author should come out as he couldn't accept it. Fang Chang stated that if Qian Jun and Wan Ma don't wish to become slaves, they should die. He summoned the demonic devouring art. Wan Ma inquired what it was. Fang Chang remarked that the demonic devouring art could devour everything. Suddenly, Fang Chang queried where Qin Feng went. He shuddered when he felt Qin Feng's evil presence behind him. Fang Chang quickly looked over his shoulder. Qin Feng casually greeted Fang Chang while his vast Sky 9 swords was floating beside him. He directed his vast Sky 9 swords to hit Fang Chang's butt. Fang Chang quickly summoned a shield to block Qin Feng's sword. The vast Sky 9 swords was successfully blocked by the shield. Fang Chang let out a sigh of relief as he uttered that it was blocked. On the other hand, Qian Jun and Wan Ma attacked the demonic devouring art. After attacking, the two of them quickly ran away, which baffled Fang Chang. Fang Chang declared to chase them or to protect his chrysanthemum was the question. Suddenly, Fang Chang turned pale and he bit his lip as he groaned in pain. Bai Fantong pronounced that to be a successful man, Fang Chang has to learn to conceal himself, to be unmovable like a rock, to have a secure object, to be ready to go, and to attack as fast as the wind. Fang Chang's chicken withered and died in that instant. Bai Fantong quickly stepped away and he let out a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, Fang Chang couldn't help but tear up and scream in pain, and the shield he created shattered. The vast Sky 9 swords managed to break through the shield, and it was coming for Fang Chang's butt. Fang Chang voiced no and that it shouldn't. But the vast Sky 9 swords did not stop, and it pierced through his chrysanthemum. Fang Chang screamed in pain, and he coughed up blood. The system congratulated Qin Feng for breaking the Heavenly Chosen One's eggs, making him a man of honor, for stabbing the withered chrysanthemum of the Heavenly Chosen One, for seriously injuring the Heavenly Chosen One, and for causing serious psychological trauma to the Heavenly Chosen One, so he gained 2 million villain points in total. On the other hand, Qian Jun expressed that Qin Feng was scary, while Wan Ma noted that he was cruel. Meanwhile, Fang Chang commented that Qin Feng was shameless. Qin Feng believed that he got a total of only 2 million villain points, and he wondered if that was all and if there was no lucky draw. He queried Fang Chang if he was dead. Qian Jun stated that Fang Chang was not moving. Qin Feng inquired if it was real, and as he announced that it was a pity, he suggested that Qian Jun and Wan Ma take that chance and take advantage of the opportunity to change their fate, becoming a great emperor, but Wan Ma suggested that maybe they should leave that to someone else. Qin Feng cleared his throat and remarked that they don't need to feel burdened by that because he did it for Fang Chang's own good. He declared that if one wants to succeed, one can't do it without the help of noble people, the guidance of renewed teachers, and the provocation of villains. Also, they are willing to sacrifice themselves to help Fang Chang thrive and embark on the journey to success, so they are great men. Wan Ma questioned if what Qin Feng mentioned made sense, and Bai Fantong noted yes, that he agreed with Wan Ma. Bai Fantong commented that he has to remember that and keep it in mind. Qin Feng observed that they don't need to actually feel burdened at all, as he could give them a few bottles of his drug so they could close their eyes, and they would be fine. Qian Jun and Wan Ma took the bottles of drugs and hesitantly looked at Fang Chang's butt. Fang Chang was alarmed when he saw what they were doing. He voiced that he could be killed but not humiliated, so he called the old demon and uttered that he should lend him his power quickly. A dark aura immediately surged out of Fang Chang's body. Bai Fantong cursed and pronounced that Fang Chang was hard to kill, and Qin Feng disclosed that Fang Chang was shameless because he was cheating and was unlike him, who works hard for everything. Fang Chang smiled evilly as the power of the old demon possessed him. Qian Jun conveyed that it was a strong aura, and Qin Feng specified that there is a demon among the Buddhas, a Buddha between the demons, and they coexist. And he considered that it seems that in the last competition, even though he interrupted Fang Chang's comprehension, he still coexisted with the Buddha demon. Fang Chang used his skill, Thousand Hand Tathagata. On the other hand, Qin Feng used his skill, Great River Sword. Qin Feng threw multiple punches, and water was coming out of his fist while he did that. Fang Chang and Qin Feng's attack clashed with each other and created a huge explosion. Fang Chang affirmed that he will kill Qin Feng at that time. Qin Feng claimed that they should not talk about that because Princess Ninfeng's first kiss doesn't belong to Fang Chang anymore, and he also got a taste before Fang Chang escaped, and it was sweet, moist, and soft. Fang Chang was enraged by what Qin Feng expressed that his eyes turned bloodshot. His dark aura also intensified. Fang Chang called the old demon and indicated that he wanted more power. Fang Chang affirmed that it was what he wanted, power, endless power. The demon laughed and stated that Fang Chang should use it to his heart's content, while he believed that the more Fang Chang uses his power, the weaker his will becomes, and when their two powers integrate perfectly, he will take over his body. Qin Feng remarked that Fang Chang was strong. Fang Chang laughed proudly. Suddenly, Qin Feng released his Nanming primordial fire. He inquired of Fang Cheng whether he could determine what it was. The demon promptly declared that they should retreat. He explained that it was the Nanming primordial fire, specializing in defeating evil, and he is the soul of a demonic cultivator, so once he is touched by it, even if he has the skill to reach the skies, he will be destroyed easily. Fang Cheng inquired of the devil whether he could help him defeat Qin Feng by giving his body for him to control, but the demon challenged Fang Cheng, questioning whether he considered himself a god and stating that it was the Kunlun Secret Realm where the laws of heaven and earth are suppressed, and the limit is him being able to lend him that power. So Fang Cheng shouldn't start nagging and just retreat, because if he doesn't leave immediately, it will be too late. Fang Cheng cursed as he walked away. Suddenly, he realized that in that secret realm, the demon is suppressed by the laws of heaven and earth and cannot actively control his body, and it was afraid of Qin Feng's weapon. So in other words, at that moment, it was all in his hands. But Qin Feng flicked a small amount of flame towards Fang Cheng. As Fang Cheng screamed, the demon screamed as well, declaring that he was going to die. Qin Feng queried whether he could fight him seriously. Fang Cheng stated that Qin Feng should just wait because he will definitely be back. The system congratulated Qin Feng for making the Heavenly Chosen One run away, so he obtained 300,000 villain points. And as he saw that he currently has 2,617,000 villain points, Qin Feng remarked that Fang Cheng is nothing but a guy that gives him benefits. Wan Ma suddenly suggested that they should follow Fang Cheng, but Qin Feng stated that there was no need. Qin Feng believed that with the scary aura of the Heavenly Chosen One, no one could catch up to Fang Cheng if he wanted to run away, and even if he caught up to him, that would be to his benefit. And he is not playing such a losing game, as it was better to take advantage of Fang Cheng's injury and quickly find the Spring of Purity so as not to be stuck in a bad situation when they meet again. Suddenly, the Nanming primordial fire began intensifying, and Qin Feng groaned in pain. A powerful aura suddenly burst out of Qin Feng's body. Kai Jun commented that it was amazing, and Wan Ma inquired whether Qin Feng had a breakthrough. Qin Feng stated that they should go and find the Spring of Purity, and as Kai Jun noted that Qin Feng was strong, Bai Fantong repeatedly suggested that they should go. On the other hand, the demon mentioned that he would advise Fang Cheng not to provoke Qin Feng because he has unprecedented talent, and provoking him will do Fang Cheng no good. Fang Cheng finally managed to put out the fire in his butt. He acknowledged that he knew the technique the demon passed on to him was incomplete, so he wants the demon to pass the complete version. But the demon challenged him, questioning who he thought he was that he actually dared to ask for the complete version of the demonic devouring technique, and whether it could be that he was hit badly on the head by Qin Feng. Fang Cheng inquired whether the demon would do it or not, and the demon questioned him about his actions. Fang Cheng stated that he was no longer righteous anyway, and he lost Princess Nanfeng too, so he might as well go back and die in Qin Feng's arms. The demon cursed, and he questioned Fang Cheng why he was obsessed with Qin Feng. Fang Cheng stated that the demon should think about it because if not, he was going to die. The demon responded fine, but he could only tell him a small part, and Fang Cheng remarked that it was a deal. One day later, Fang Cheng continued to meditate using the demon's dark aura. As he opened his eyes, Fang Cheng furrowed his brows, and he was disappointed. Fang Cheng inquired the demon why there was still no effect, and the demon explained that Fang Cheng shouldn't be depressed at such a young age because when he reaches the Great Emperor realm and refines his physique, his wisdom core will grow again, and there are also many heaven and earth treasures that grow severed limbs, so it is not a big deal, and it will grow back. Fang Cheng questioned the demon where he could find such a treasure, and the demon stated that since Fang Cheng didn't have it anymore, it was time to cut off all worldly desires and focus on his cultivation because it would be a waste to find such treasures to help him regrow it when the Kunlun Secret Realm finally opened. Fang Cheng queried the demon if that was the case. He suggested that they should part, as he will go to find Qin Feng and die, to which the demon replied that Fang Cheng should wait as he has more to tell him. The demon mentioned that in the remote borderland, there is a legend. On the other hand, Bai Fantong complained that it was hot in there, that it was burning through his fur, and he was burning to death, and Qin Feng noted that they should be there soon. Qin Feng continued to walk forward until they reached an area where grass grew. Kai Jun inquired how come there was grass there, while Wan Ma queried what kind of grass that was. Wan Ma quickly grabbed the grass and pulled it out of the ground. He explained that it was poison, so they should protect Qin Feng quickly. Kai Jun added that it was a strong poison, but Qin Feng replied that there was no need to worry. He stated that his physique is immune to all poisons and his blood detoxifies poison. Qin Feng let his blood drop onto Wan Ma's forehead. Wan Ma was healed immediately, and he quickly sat back up. He thanked Qin Feng, but he inquired why there is such poisonous grass there, while Qin Feng believed that if it could grow in such a restricted region, it meant that it was a treasure, but the grass is poisonous and its toxicity is high. Qin Feng asserted that there could be only one answer and that there is a big treasure. Bai Fantong remarked that it was great. Qin Feng gave Bai Fantong a reward, and Bai Fantong expressed that he liked Qin Feng the most. Qin Jun mentioned that with the rabbit, he lost the chance to flatter Qin Feng earlier. Qin Feng explained that with the antidote, they don't need to be afraid of the grass anymore, so they should go because the spring of purity should be right ahead. A huge explosion occurred in the middle of a rocky area. Qin Feng was pleased as he looked at the explosion. He remarked that it was great because the spring of purity was there. Qin Feng stated that everyone should follow him. Everyone followed Qin Feng down the hole just like he instructed. Qin Jun mentioned that it was such a deep cave because 3 minutes had passed, and they still had not reached the bottom. A few moments later, Qin Feng and his companions finally landed at the bottom of the cave. Qin Feng threw his vast Sky 9 sword and declared that it should go. Qin Jun inquired if that was the spring of purity and if they had found it, while Bai Fantong observed that Qin Feng used the divine sword as a torch to light up the way, so he was truly his master. Qin Feng stated that they should go cultivate, and both Qin Jun and Wan Ma if they could really go. Bai Fantong questioned the two of them if they didn't want to. Qin Jun and Wan Ma immediately thanked Qin Feng. Meanwhile, Qin Feng was reflecting that it was said that the spring of purity was the purest spiritual spring made by heaven and earth, and after using it, one could enter the state of harmony between heaven and man and travel through heaven and earth, finding true self, and people with good luck could also cleanse their Dao heart in it. But according to the secrets he had gathered, the spring there could only be regarded as a weakened version, not the real one, so the real one is deeper in the cave. Qin Feng contemplated that it was precisely through that spring water that Fang Chang was able to clear his Dao heart and understand the demonic Dao known only in theory. On the other hand, Qin Jun and Wan Ma were enjoying themselves, and Qin Jun expressed that Qin Feng was good, so he loves him. Meanwhile, Qin Feng was considering that even the weakened version is a rare treasure, and if it was placed outside the cave, it would attract many people who would fight for it because for them, that would be enough. A few moments later, he came across a spring that was sparkling. Bai Fantong inquired if it was the real spring while Qin Feng mused that it had such pure energy. Qin Feng immediately crouched and took a sip of the water. He pondered if it was Dao nature, the harmony of heaven and man. Qin Feng wondered if it could cleanse his Dao heart. He remarked that regardless if it was possible or not, it is not a chance to be missed because even if he wastes it, he is not leaving it to Fang Chang, and Bai Fantong queried him if it was tasty. Instead of answering Bai Fantong's question, Qin Feng stated that Bai Fantong shouldn't idle either. A few moments later, Bai Fantong commented that he was bloated. Qin Feng stated that the system should redeem him one path of Dao Foundation pill, and as the system congratulated him for spending 600,000 villain points to redeem one path of Dao Foundation pill, Qin Feng declared that it should redeem again for the 12-hour 10,000-fold comprehension halo, and the system congratulated him for spending 100,000 villain points to redeem it. A golden aura immediately surged towards Qin Feng's mind. Qin Feng reached the 33 Heavens Fortune Path of Dao 3rd stage. On the other hand, Bai Fantong, who was sleepy, noticed what happened to Qin Feng. Bai Fantong remarked that Qin Feng was cool and went to sleep. Meanwhile, Qin Feng noted that the world of the mortals refines one's heart. One becomes enlightened and reaches the Dao. He transcends the world of mortals and becomes an immortal. The 3 flowers bloom to form the fruit of Dao in the past, present, and future bodies. The 5 Kai elements transform into the infinite, revealing the world and playing the role of heaven and earth. Bai Fantong continued to sleep while Qin Feng started to gather his aura into an orb. Qin Feng opened his eyes, and he was using his double pupils, which were different colors on each side. He commented that the left eye brings life, the right brings destruction, and the left could heal all wounds, and the right could destroy all. Qin Feng mentioned that it was the rank 4 sword intent. He pondered that everything in heaven and earth is united in one body. Every inhale and exhale is like his, also the heavens and earths, and he wondered if that was the Dao heart. Meanwhile, Qin Jun and Wan Ma saw the light Qin Feng was releasing from where they were. Qin Jun called Qin Feng and asserted that they were there to protect him, while Wan Ma inquired if Qin Feng was okay because they just saw a light bursting out of the depths of the cave, and the big energy fluctuation. When they found Qin Feng, Qin Jun remarked that Qin Feng broke through again. Wan Ma questioned if it was Qin Feng and why he had that feeling that Qin Feng was clearly standing and not moving. But he couldn't feel his breath at all, and he seemed to be there but not there. It felt like he could disappear in thin air. Bai Fantong suddenly woke up and queried them what they were doing. As he expressed that he had such a good rest, the system congratulated Qin Feng for seizing the opportunity of the heavenly chosen one, so he earned a lucky draw. The system notified Qin Feng that he found a low-level heavenly chosen one, and Qin Feng considered that all the heavenly chosen ones, men and women, he had met so far all started at the epic level, so he wondered what was the one with a low level. Suddenly, Qin Feng announced that they should watch out. Wan Ma and Qian Jun were taken by surprise, and Qin Feng was startled as well. Before any of them could react, the four of them were quickly restrained by the vine-like aura. Tang Chuan laughed and revealed that the heavens were on his side as he actually found the fountain of innocence. Meanwhile, Qin Feng wondered if Tang Chuan was the low-level heavenly chosen one. Qin Feng considered that if he was guessing it correctly, Tang Chuan's cultivation must be at the first stage of the path of Dao. His Kai should be stronger than 1,000 troops and 10,000 horses, and if such two people with so much power cooperated, their enemy would have to beg on their knees not to be killed. He inquired of the system telepathically if it was sure that Tang Chuan was a heavenly chosen one, and the system replied affirmatively. It detects that the other party is a low-level heavenly chosen one, and there is no doubt about it. Qin Feng queried the system about what the low level was, and the system responded that it was the one beneath intermediate. He inquired about the intermediate, and the system explained that it was one level beneath superior. Qin Feng queried the system about superior, and the system stated that it was one level beneath advance. He inquired about advance, and the system explained that it was one level beneath legendary. Qin Feng inquired if there was any reward for beating Tang Chuan up. The system replied affirmatively, stating it was villain points, and Qin Feng questioned if there was a lucky draw. The system inquired what he was thinking, and it stated that Tang Chuan is basically a heavenly chosen one in the sewers, to which Qin Feng responded that fine. Qin Feng considered that in the era of Huanggu's big strife, the heavenly chosen ones he encountered were all at epic level, so he wondered how such a weak and inferior heavenly chosen one could appear and if that was a joke. On the other hand, Tang Chuan was contemplating that he would strangle them to death and monopolize the spring of purity, and he used his skill, bind in silver and blue. But Qian Jun inquired if Tang Chuan was trying to make them laugh to death, and Wan Ma stated that he felt like Tang Chuan was insulting him by using such a weak weapon on him. Wan Ma took a deep breath. He released a powerful aura and effortlessly destroyed Tang Chuan's restraints. Wan Ma quickly crouched on the ground to gain driving force. He charged at Tang Chuan at an incredible speed, and Tang Chuan tried to use his skill, bind in silver and blue, but he was cut off. Tang Chuan was startled when Wan Ma was already in front of him before he could finish casting his skill. Wan Ma slapped Tang Chuan across the face really hard. Tang Chuan tried to use his skill, bind in silver and blue, again, but he couldn't finish casting it again. Wan Ma slapped him again so hard that he coughed up blood. But Tang Chuan did not give up, and he tried to use his skill, bind in silver and blue, again. But Wan Ma interrupted him again by giving him an explosive punch on his stomach. The system congratulated Qin Feng for injuring a low-level heavenly chosen one, so he obtained 50 villain points. Qin Feng couldn't help but inquire if it was only that much. He considered that when he kicked his younger brother in the womb, he got 10 points for each kick, but it was only 50 points for injuring Tang Chuan, and as he cursed in his mind, he reflected that it was no wonder Tang Chuan is called the sewer heavenly chosen one because one cannot squeeze much out of him. Tang Chuan immediately announced farewell to everyone. Wan Ma inquired if Tang Chuan wanted to run, and Qin Feng stated that Wan Ma should just forget it. Wan Ma tried to protest, but Qin Feng teased him and questioned if he was afraid of the silver and blue binding. Wan Ma stated that if he doesn't kill Tang Chuan to silence him and others learn that he was his opponent, they will laugh at him. Qian Jun stated that Wan Ma shouldn't be hasty because there will be time for that. Qin Feng cursed in his mind as he considered that he couldn't perceive that idiom right anymore because of Fang Cheng. He cleared his throat and stated that Qian Jun is correct. He mentioned that the opening time of the Kunlun Secret Realm is limited, and they have waited a few days there, so it was time to go out, and as Qian Jun stated that they will listen to Qin Feng, he inquired where they should go next for a treasure. Qin Feng inquired Qian Jun about finding a treasure, and Qian Jun responded that it could be told from the fact that Qin Feng took them to Huoluo City to the Kunlun Secret Realm, and when he came there, he knew there was a spring of purity, so it is reasonable to know the location of the other treasures. But Qin Feng stated that his ass is reasonable while he wondered if Qian Jun didn't know that his system was weak and the heavenly mystery secret card given to him was only enough to peek into the spring of purity, and as for the other heaven and earth treasures, he will just have to look for them blindly. Qian Jun declared that the only option was to snatch it. Qin Feng immediately remarked that Qian Jun should set up and use his brain to attack and only use violence when needed, and he inquired what he has taught him so far. He explained that the Kunlun Secret Realm was large and there are countless talented people coming in, so even if Qian Jun could snatch it, he questioned how many he could get and what kind of treasure he could get. He mentioned that it was just a waste of time, and Bai Fantong stated that it was right because they are nobles and not robbers. Qian Jun agreed, and as he inquired Qin Feng what they should do, Qin Feng responded that it was simple. Qin Feng explained that Qian Jun and Wan Ma should immediately go out and spread the news about him and include Tiangxin City's Lin Sang, the emperor's disciple Fang Chang, Blue Demon Palace's Yu Lan, and Tang Chuan because they have obtained the most precious treasures in the Kunlun realm, such as the Spring of Purity and the Nanming Primordial Fire, so they will mobilize the entire Kunlun Secret Realm to help them find those because with those treasure hunting radars around, there was no reason to bother traveling all over the place because as long as they find them, they will find treasures. Qian Jun and Wan Ma both agreed. Qin Feng considered that he would continue to hide behind the scenes and be a happy master. He called the system and stated that he wanted a lucky draw. The system congratulated Qin Feng for winning the divine level Heavenly Star Sword Array. Qin Feng inquired why the sword again and if the system was for real. He closed his eyes and began meditating. Qin Feng's consciousness was transported into the knowledge sea where the vast sky nine swords was glowing strongly in front of him. He remarked that it was fierce. The vast sky nine swords flew up to the sky. Suddenly, the bright light the vast sky nine swords was producing multiplied and filled the entire sky. Those bright lights started falling down. In each of those bright lights was a sword crashing back down with its sharp end first. Qin Feng was stunned when one of the swords stopped with its blade just right in front of his eye. He came back to reality and stated that it was a strong sword array. A lot of cultivators were meditating as a group. Qian Jun and Wan Ma found the group of cultivators. The two of them laughed mischievously as they looked at each other. Qian Jun inquired whether Wan Ma had heard that Lin San from Tiangxin City had found the immortal crystal mine. Wan Ma responded that there was no way and that Yu Lan from the Blue Demon Palace also found the phoenix egg. But Qian Jun remarked that Wan Ma's news was really out of date because earlier, he had heard that Fang Chang, the great Xia Emperor's disciple, found the Spring of Purity. Wan Ma explained that the Spring of Purity was a good find because one could cleanse their Dao heart there. And he also mentioned another person called Tang Chuan, who is not very strong, but his skills are mighty, so it would be great if someone could capture him. As Qian Jun and Wan Ma walked away, one of the cultivators suggested that they should go. One of the cultivators stated that they shouldn't rest and that they should hurry and follow him in finding Fang Cheng. Another cultivator wondered about the Blue Demon Palace and believed that the phoenix egg could be his only. And as another cultivator proposed that they should go because they can't just sit back and let them have the treasures since they found them. Another cultivator advised that they should wait for him. Meanwhile, Qian Jun commented that as expected of Qin Feng, he is always right, while Wan Ma pondered if there was anything their master was not good at. On the other hand, Qin Feng was still at the Spring of Purity cave. Qin Feng declared that the sword array was there, but the swords are still missing, so from that day onwards, he would start collecting swords. But he noted that it is obviously unrealistic to spend money to buy them, so there is only one other option. Qin Feng proposed that they should get them for free, and Bai Fantong agreed that they should go. A few moments later, Bai Fantong inquired where he could get those swords for free in such a desolate place. Qin Feng mused that Bai Fantong was a brat and that he just had to open his mouth. He went to the bloody sea he had just seen, but Bai Fantong responded that he didn't see a treasure there in that sea of flowers. Qin Feng suggested that Bai Fantong would see one if he went in and took a peek. After a while, Qin Feng observed that it looked like there really was nothing coming out. He recommended that they should go because there was no treasure. Suddenly, Lian Lian jumped in front of Qin Feng's face and inquired about the treasure. Qin Feng and Lian Lian lost their balance, and the lady fell on top of him. He flinched and looked up at Lian Lian. Two more ladies popped up, and they introduced themselves as Zhenjin and Ai. The ladies questioned Qin Feng about the treasure. Qin Feng was taken aback by their sudden appearance. Qin Feng wondered if it was the beauty scheme. He contemplated that he wouldn't be polite then. But as Qin Feng was about to touch Lian Lian's bosom, he stopped himself. He inquired whether Lian Lian had a marriage certificate. The three ladies questioned what a marriage certificate was, and Qin Feng responded that it seemed not. Qin Feng requested that Lian Lian behave herself, and he considered that Lian Lian didn't even have a marriage certificate. Yet she wanted to seduce him with her beauty, and he pondered if she didn't know that he had the potential to be the prime minister. Ai questioned Qin Feng about what he was doing, and Qin Feng stated that he was leaving, so she should do as she wished. She probed Qin Feng about where he was going, but Qin Feng replied that it was none of her business. Ai remarked that Qin Feng was a stingy brat because he was giving face but not showing respect. Qin Feng was surprised when he saw the powerful aura that Ai released. The three ladies began floating in the air as they released their dark aura. The three of them declared that Qin Feng should go to hell. Their dark auras all charged towards Qin Feng, but Qin Feng remained unfazed. Those dark auras exploded when they hit Qin Feng. But Qin Feng stated that the battle would end in 3 seconds, and if they split it among the three of them, it was 1 second per head, and he clicked his tongue and mentioned that it was not very good. AI questioned how that was possible, and as Genjin explained that their soul attacks could instantly kill a cultivator of the 3rd stage of the path of Dao realm, and even a 9th stage of the nascent soul realm. Lian asked why Qin Feng was completely unharmed. AI suggested that the others should come out. The area was filled with loud booming noise. Corpses immediately emerged from the ground. Qin Feng cursed and stated that it was no wonder nobody was around because they were all lying underground. He inquired if they were ghosts, and he considered that he had heard a lot of legends about ghosts, but it was his first time seeing them. He thought that it was said that they are special creatures formed when a person dies in a special place at a special time, requiring the right conditions and harmony with nature and humanity, and they don't have physical bodies, but they possess incredibly powerful soul attack techniques. Hence they are also called ghost cultivators. Qin Feng reflected that, however, it just so happens that his primordial flame is the nemesis of ghost cultivators. He released a small amount of Nanming primordial fire at the tip of his index finger. All of the ghost cultivators froze when they saw the Nanming primordial fire. Everyone quickly ran away from Qin Feng. I immediately recognized the Nanming primordial fire, and I wondered if she was kidding. Genjin, AI, and Lian stated that Qin Feng shouldn't come any closer, but Qin Feng addressed them and mentioned that they shouldn't run away because he is not a bad person. Qin Feng called the sisters and declared that his waist is super strong, so they should come and absorb his yang energy. He inquired if they didn't believe him and remarked that they should look. Genjin immediately announced that she really wanted to rush up and take a big sip while Lian was amazed and stated that Qin Feng had such vigorous and robust yang energy, and it has been over 10,000 years since she smelled a man's scent since the Kunlun Secret Realm closed last time. Qin Feng noted that with such a good waist in front of them, they might not be tempted on the 1st day and they might still resist on the 10th day, but he wondered if they could resist on the 15th day. Genjin commented that it was such a temptation, and she will just look at it for one more second, and she will run. Qin Feng insisted that they should give it a try because he was super durable and super abundant, so their investment won't be wanted, guaranteed. Genjin muttered that it was not good as she almost fell for Qin Feng's tricks. She insisted that she won't be deceived by such charms. Qin Feng wondered why they ran away. He declared that it doesn't make sense because according to the theory of appearance equals justice, he should be the most just man in the entire Hyungu, and those girls should be kneeling, adoring, and surrounding him with their eyes full of love, and inquired how they could withstand temptation and flee quicker than rabbits. Bai Fantong agreed, and as he observed that it really didn't make sense, he handed Qin Feng his clothes. Qin Feng started dressing up. He revealed that he finally got it that the sisters were lilies. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to resist his charm, and Bai Fantong pointed out that it made sense. So if they don't chase them immediately, they will get away. Qin Feng acknowledged that Bai Fantong was right, and he called the system and proclaimed that he wanted to make an exchange for the 5th volume of Unconstrained Phantom. The system congratulated Qin Feng for spending 1 million villain points to exchange for the 5th volume of Unconstrained Phantom. Qin Feng used his skill, Shrink Land, for me. He started walking towards the sisters. Genjin exclaimed that Qin Feng was coming after them, and as AI marveled that it was such a fast speed, Lian urged that they should hurry and go look for their young miss. Meanwhile, at the center of the Sea of Flowers, there was a coffin made of shiny gems. The 3 sisters ran towards the coffin while they called their young miss for help. The coffin cracked open. A few moments later, Qin Feng was puzzled when he noticed the shining crystals underneath the flowers. Qin Feng took a step, and as the flowers disappeared, it revealed the crystals on the ground. Bai Fantong queried if it was an immortal crystal. He shouted that he was rich, and he has become rich. On the other hand, Qin Feng wondered how there could be so many and if it could be that they stumbled upon an immortal crystal mine. Qin Feng pondered if it was an opportunity a villain like him could have and if it was really possible. Bai Fantong quickly stuffed the immortal crystals into a bag. He celebrated and cheered that he was already a rich rabbit. But Qin Feng took the bag, and Bai Fantong insisted that it was his. Qin Feng reminded that Bai Fantong was still young, so he would hold onto it for him in the meantime and give it back when he was older. He probed if he had any problem with that, and Bai Fantong responded that there was no problem. Qin Feng advised that they should go because the 3 sisters must be getting impatient, and Bai Fantong considered that Qin Feng could say whatever he wanted because he wouldn't dare to resist anyway. A few moments later, Qin Feng found the 3 sisters standing near the coffin. Qin Feng greeted the sisters and expressed that it was nice to see them again. A powerful wave of aura spread throughout the area and hit Qin Feng. AI sneered that Qin Feng was a stinky brat and his time had come. But Qin Feng just queried why it was still a soul attack and if they didn't have any other tricks. AI declared that their young miss soul attacks are 100 times stronger than theirs, yet Qin Feng was completely unharmed, and Qin Feng insisted that it was too powerful that there was no way. Qin Feng inquired if it was his turn next, and as Genjin probed what he wanted to do, Qin Feng indicated that of course, he would do what a man should do. He used his skill and proclaimed that it should charge upwards and invade. Qin Feng's attack hit the coffin. Qin Feng could see the past, and in a crowd, someone announced that the auspicious moment had arrived as the new bride ascended the bridal sedan chair. One of the attendants of the Xinyan, the bride, inquired who doesn't know that Long Aoshan and Xinyan are a couple and why their majesty insists on taking Xinyan as his concubine. Another attendant declared that Xinyan is the #1 beauty on the beauty ranking, so it was only natural for their majesty to be moved. But another attendant explained that the others don't understand because their majesty was doing that to demonstrate imperial authority and suppress Long Aoshan's momentum. And another attendant observed that when one's achievements overshadow the master, tragedy follows. Meanwhile, Xinyan was crying under her veil as she reflected on Long Aoshan. On the other hand, Long Aoshan proclaimed that the tyrant king seized his beloved, so that day, he, Long Aoshan, shall rise in fury for his beloved and kill. The king declared that Long Aoshan indeed harbored rebellious intentions, and Long Aoshan responded that the king took away his beloved, so there was no reason why he wouldn't rebel. The king asserted that Long Aoshan should stop spouting those high-sounding excuses because he, at heart, will never be a loyal subject, and for his own selfish interests, he was willing to provoke war, causing countless people to suffer, and that a little probing from him has revealed Long Aoshan's true intentions. But Long Aoshan just insisted that they should settle it once and for all. After the fierce battle, the war was over and Long Aoshan knelt on the ground with Xinyan in his arms. Long Aoshan screamed Xinyan's name as he cried and mourned her passing. After the war, Long Aoshan brought Xinyan to the center of the Sea of Flowers, and he lamented that it was not him who was wrong. It was the unjust world. He vowed that if people kill his love, he will eradicate all humanity. He pledged that if heaven kills his love, he will shatter the heavens, and he will become the new heavens and make all beings kneel beneath his feet. Long Aoshan urged that Xinyan should wait for him. He left Xinyan's closed coffin at the Sea of Flowers. Back in the present, Qin Feng looked tense when he heard Long Aoshan's name. Qin Feng seemed to analyze something while he stared at the coffin. He inquired if Long Aoshan, the invincible chosen son of the dragon family, wasn't home at the moment. Xinyan remarked that at the Triple Realm, not only does Qin Feng have the Nanming primordial fire protecting him, but he could also ignore attacks. She mentioned that Qin Feng even managed to take a glimpse into some of her memories. Xinyan noted that Qin Feng was very similar to Long Aoshan back then. Both of them have the talent to suppress the eternal. She added that she won't make things difficult for Qin Feng so he can go. But Qin Feng just laughed, which made Ai inquire what was funny about that smile of his, and as Zhenjin stated that Xinyan has graciously allowed Qin Feng to leave. Yet he dares to show such a contemptuous smile. Lion Lian wondered if Qin Feng was perhaps not taking Xinyan seriously. Bai Fantong declared that it was clear what Qin Feng meant. He noted that they have never been ones to return empty-handed, so either they pay up for safety or they will dig Xinyan out and scatter her ashes. Ai spoke that Xinyan should look at Qin Feng and Bai Fantong, and Xinyan remarked that she admits that Qin Feng's Nanming primordial fire could threaten them, but she also has the ability to kill him before he could use it. Qin Feng wondered if that was really the case and what would happen if you were to burn that place down. Xinyan responded that it was just a sea of flowers, so if it burns, it burns. Qin Feng acknowledged that he understood, and he would burn it down immediately. Xinyan urged that Qin Feng should wait a moment. She indicated that Qin Feng won, and as she requested for him to retract the Nanming primordial fire first. The system congratulated Qin Feng for taking advantage of the absence of the chosen son to intrude and bully his beloved, so he earned 200,000 villain points. Qin Feng commented that compromise is good because when a lady compromises for the first time, there will be a second time, and he wondered if he would be able to make a fortune with that 200,000. He affirmed that it was no problem, and as he called Bai Fantong consumed the Nanming primordial fire to put it out. Bai Fantong announced that it would have been great if Xinyan had mentioned so earlier, and as he probed if she had the strength to compete with them. Xinyan considered that a rabbit was actually able to swallow the Nanming primordial fire, and she wondered what Qin Feng's background was. Xinyan queried what he wanted. Qin Feng repeated Xinyan's question while wondering what could satisfy him in one fell swoop. Xinyan gave Qin Feng an offer and conveyed that as long as he was willing to leave the Sea of Flowers, she could give him 100 million immortal crystals. Qin Feng was surprised when he heard the amount, and he mused that even cultivators entering the Kunlun Secret Realm may only accumulate hundreds if they were lucky, yet Xinyan was offering 100 million at once. Xinyan affirmed that as long as Qin Feng leaves, all of the immortal crystals will be his, and Qin Feng reflected that Xinyan was like a super rich woman. When Qin Feng inquired if all of that was his, Zhenjin probed if he had never seen anything like that before, while Ai wondered if 100 million was a lot. Qin Feng wondered if the sisters were saying that they still have many more mountains of immortal crystals like that. He declared that he didn't want to work hard anymore and inquired if she couldn't give him a chance. Zhenjin inquired how Qin Feng and Bai Fantong could be so shameless, and AI declared that she had never seen someone so shameless before. Xinyan remarked that Qin Feng should forget it, and she will escort him out. Qin Feng noted that anything of value will do. A few moments later, Qin Feng was transported out of the Sea of Flowers along with the immortal crystals that Xnian promised him. Bai Fantong mentioned that Xinyan was really heartless, and Qin Feng wondered who taught him that word. Bai Fantong queried if that wasn't how it was used, and Qin Feng responded that if they are happy, it was okay. Bai Fantong commented that Xinyan was a rich woman, and as he pressed what they should do if she didn't give them a chance, Qin Feng observed that they should go smash the glass in Xinyan's house that night. But he added that he meant that they would smash her crystal coffin. Bai Fantong replied that Qin Feng always has solutions. At a distance, Lin Ziner yelled and stated that Lin San can't run away, so he should surrender quickly, which caught Qin Feng's attention. Qin Feng decided to take a look, and he believed that it was really Lin San. He pondered that speaking of the devil, Lin San was there and that he had missed him so much. But Qin Feng saw Lin Ziner and he inquired what was going on. He announced that between the girl and Lin San, of course he was picking Lin San, and he used his skill, 9 swords at once. One of Lin Ziner's guards uttered that it was not good because there was an ambush, so they should protect Lin Ziner and retreat. Qin Feng queried if he was okay, and Lin San acknowledged many thanks to Qin Feng for lending a hand. Qin Feng declared that he was quite curious why Lin Ziner would be chasing after Lin Feng when he was the top servant of Tiangxin City, and as Lin San recounted that it was a long story, Qin Feng commented that he should make it short. Lin San probed if he remembered when he brought out a jade box from the ruins and if he would believe him if he told him that there was nothing inside the box. Qin Feng exclaimed, "Of course." He noted that he has always trusted Lin San's integrity, so if he says that there was nothing inside, there must be nothing inside. Lin San immediately asserted that in the end, the person who trusts him the most was Qin Feng, and Qin Feng reflected that the item was in his possession after all, so if he didn't trust Lin San, he wondered who else he could trust. The system congratulated Qin Feng for deceiving the Chosen One, so he earned 50,000 villain points, and as Qin Feng voiced that if the system shouldn't speak if it couldn't speak right, he inquired if it could call it deception when it was about scholarly matters and that he was clearly telling the truth. Qin Feng pressed what happened next, and Lin San remarked that by the time he got hold of the jade box, the news had already spread, so no matter how he explained it, Lin Hao and Lin Ziner believed that he was lying to them. Lin San revealed that from on, there was a rift between them, so to avoid embarrassment, he decided to go out and gain experience, and he considered that returning at that time would ease the tension. But someone spread rumors that he had found an immortal crystal mine, which was a serious matter, and after hearing about it, Lin Ziner demanded that he hand it over. But he truly had no idea about any immortal crystal mine, so because of that, they even drew their swords at each other. Qin Feng indicated that he also believed Lin San in that matter while in his mind. He apologized to Lin San and surmised that it was him who did it, so of course he believes he was innocent. Lin San was moved, and he expressed that having such a confidant as Qin Feng in his life is great enough. The system congratulated Qin Feng for inspiring the Chosen One with words, making him understand the dangers of society and becoming his destined benefactor, so he earned 50,000 villain points. Qin Feng mused that if the system could speak right, it should keep speaking. Qin Feng remembered something, and he inquired if he found any good treasures at that time in the Kunlun Secret Realm. Lin San sighed and responded that there weren't any treasures and he was just chased constantly upon entering the Kunlun Secret Realm, so he didn't find a single treasure, which made Qin Feng wonder if that was the case. Qin Feng stated that there were no worries, and since Lin San was hunted by the Lin family, he suggested that he accompany him instead, while in his mind, he pondered that the chosen son always comes with a built-in treasure hunting GPS, so he should just follow him, and he will always have a chance to seize opportunities. A few moments later, Lin San and Qin Feng went inside a cave. Qin Feng was excited as he walked behind Lin San. Meanwhile, Lin San mused that Qin Feng had such familiar eyes. Lin San and Qin Feng were both silent as they walked inside the cave. They continued to walk in silence, and the atmosphere seemed awkward. Lin San wondered if Qin Feng still felt the same way about him as he did back after all those years. A few moments later, Qin Feng queried what he did behind the bushes alone, and Lin San remarked that he just took care of something. Qin Feng declared that Lin San should carry on, and Lin San requested if Qin Feng could turn around for a moment. Qin Feng replied that it was no problem and that he didn't mind. Lin San reflected that Qin Feng was a good person, and when no one else believed in him, Qin Feng stood firmly by his side, so he wondered if he was right that he should probably be honest and tell Qin Feng something. He inquired if he wasn't going to seek his own opportunities. Qin Feng was puzzled by Lin San's question, and he wondered if Lin San's opportunities weren't the same as his and why Lin San was so formal. A loud roar echoed through the forest. It startled both Qin Feng and Lin Sen. A lady, Qin Muxu, was chased by multiple earth demon bears. She requested for someone to help her. Lin Sen noted that it was the earth demon bear, and as he considered that it looked like he would have to find another opportunity to talk about the matter, Qin Feng seemed to recognize Qin Muxu. Qin Muxu queried if it was Qin Feng, and Qin Feng affirmed that it was Qin Muxu. Lin Sen mentioned that the earth demon bear should take his slash. Qin Feng inquired how Lin Sen could still not change his bad habit of showing off in front of beautiful women after 7 years. Lin Sen used his skill, Heaven Slaying Sword technique, to attack one of the earth demon bears. On the other hand, Qin Feng defeated the other earth demon bears with his sword technique. Qin Muxu remarked that it was amazing. Meanwhile, Lin Sen recognized Qin Feng's slash earlier, and he surmised that he couldn't be wrong. He presumed that he definitely wasn't mistaken that Qin Feng's cultivation has already broken through to the 3rd stage of the path of Dao Realm, and his sword intent has even reached the 4th level, so his heaven-slaying sword technique was much stronger than it was 7 years ago. Lin Sen considered that it was not right because just a few days ago, when he met Qin Feng in Huoluo City, he was still at the 1st stage of the path of Dao Realm with 3rd level sword intent, so he wondered how Qin Feng was overpowering him after just a few days. He believed that after 7 years of diligent cultivating with the sword, the gap between him and Qin Feng kept widening, so he wondered if he was really worthy of the invincible sword heart, the successor of the vast sky sword god, and the title of the #1 sword genius in 100 years. The system congratulated Qin Feng for stopping the Chosen One from showing off and for shaking the Chosen One's unbeatable belief, so he earned 100,500 villain points. Qin Feng announced that he knew little Lin Sen wouldn't let him down. He inquired how his sword was earlier and stated that he realized it after sparring with him in Huoluo City. The system congratulated Qin Feng for shaking the Chosen One's unbeatable belief, so he earned 100,000 villain points. Qin Feng declared that since he realized 3rd level sword intent a month ago, he has been unable to break through to the 4th level, and thanks to Lin Sen, he was able to easily make that breakthrough, which discouraged Lin Sen even more. Lin Sen reasoned that he spent 7 years diligently cultivating his sword intent from the 1st level to the 3rd level, and yet Qin Feng managed to raise his sword intent from the 3rd level to the 4th level in just a month. Qin Feng revealed that if it weren't for a few days of delay midway, it wouldn't have taken a month. He could have done it in 10 days, and the system congratulated Qin Feng for shaking the Chosen One's belief, so he earned 100,000 villain points. Qin Feng was amazed, and while he was pondering that another 100,000 points was added, so he would work hard to earn some more, Qin Muxu called him and mentioned that she had something very important to say. But Lin Sen spoke that since Qin Feng has something urgent, he will already take his leave. Qin Feng requested for Lin Sen not to leave yet, and as he uttered that he also realized a set of sword formations after the sword fight, he turned to Qin Muxu and added that they should talk about her matter later. Qin Muxu wondered how they could wait for that. She conveyed that back in the Qin residence, when she kissed Qin Feng once, he ran around the entire residence trying to kiss him back, but now he was ignoring her for another man. Qin Muxu voiced that Qin Feng should wait for her because the disciples of the Qin family had been trapped by Princess Nanfeng in the canyon, and the situation was dire. Qin Feng queried why she didn't say so earlier. Qin Muxu probed if it was her fault. Lin Sen commented that he shouldn't involve himself in Qin Feng's family matters, so he will take his leave, but Qin Feng acknowledged that Lin Sen is his brother from another mother, so his affairs are also his. Qin Feng quickly grabbed Lin Sen's hand and intertwined their fingers. Lin Sen was flustered with what Qin Feng did while Qin Muxu was startled. Qin Feng was reflecting that before he drained all the villain points from Lin Sen, he shouldn't even think about leaving him behind, while Qin Muxu concluded that she finally understood and that it was no wonder Qin Feng had been chasing after Lin Sen. Qin Muxu perceived that Qin Feng was truly remarkable because not only is he charming himself, but his partner also exudes such elegance. She realized that they were well matched, so there was no reason why they shouldn't just get married right there. Meanwhile, inside the canyon, Princess Nanfeng scoffed and remarked that she may not be able to touch Qin Feng, but she could annihilate the new forces of the Qin family. One of Princess Nanfeng's men inquired if they should charge forward and kill those people from the Qin family and if their efforts wouldn't be in vain if they let Qin Muxu bring reinforcements. Princess Nanfeng queried if he believed he was incapable or if he assumed that she was incapable. The man quickly apologized to Princess Nanfeng. Princess Nanfeng stated that she intentionally let Qin Muxu go, and if she brings reinforcements from the Yinyu Empire or other countries, she will just use the pretext of colluding with foreign enemies to wipe out all the Qin family disciples. But the man wondered what they would do if the reinforcements came from the Great Xia Empire. Princess Nanfeng noted that it was perfect because they would deal with them together to prevent them from joining forces in the future to threaten the imperial authority, and the man answered yes. A huge explosion occurred inside the canyon. One of the Qin family disciples declared that they should go into formation. He announced that the power of the 9 heavens is the unity of mind and technique. Another disciple commented that the mutual operation of the 8 gates was the strength of the 7s. And another disciple uttered that the longevity of heaven and earth was shaking the 8 directions. As they gathered, a huge devil eel attacked their formation and caused a huge explosion. One of the disciples pondered if it could be that the heavens wanted to destroy their Qin family, and another disciple replied that he shouldn't think like that because Qin Muxu just broke through the encirclement, so as long as they could find reinforcements in time, they still have hope. The devil eel continued to attack their formation and created a huge explosion. Each and every one of the Qin family disciples who created the formation started coughing up blood. One of the disciples lamented that they were really doomed at that time, and the other disciple responded that it was no use, so he would fight them head on. One of the disciples warned that it was dangerous, so they should quickly retreat. Meanwhile, Qin Feng and the others were flying on his vast sky 9 swords. Qin Muxu observed that Qin Feng was already the #1 genius of Huanggu, the only godson of the Moon Celestial Palace, and the 3rd holy son of the Yinyu dynasty. She asked if he did not enter the Kunlun Secret Realm alone. Qin Feng mused how he could possibly enter alone, and he mentioned that besides bringing his rabbit, he also brought thousands upon thousands of soldiers and horses with him, and with the flare, he could summon them. Qin Muxu expressed that it was great and the Qin family members could finally be saved. She fired the flare towards the sky. The flare exploded and showed a symbol in the sky. When Qian Jun and Wan Ma saw the symbol, Qian Jun proclaimed that it was the signal from Qin Feng, and Wan Ma affirmed that they should hurry back. On the other hand, Princess Nanfeng demanded if the Qin family's reinforcements had arrived. Qin Feng landed behind Princess Nanfeng and pressed if she seemed to miss him. Princess Nanfeng spoke that it was Qin Feng again. Qin Feng's group and Princess Nanfeng's group stood face to face with each other. Princess Nanfeng inquired if he would dare to attempt to rescue the Qin family from among her tens of thousands of the Emperor's disciples with just the 3 of them. But Qin Muxu queried, who claimed that there were only 3 of them. She remarked that Qin Feng's entry into the Kunlun Secret Realm at that time was accompanied by thousands upon thousands of soldiers and horses, and she had already sent the sky-piercing arrow, so the main forces will be there soon, and since the tables have turned, it was Princess Nanfeng who is at a disadvantage. Princess Nanfeng's men were intimidated by what Qin Muxu stated. On the other hand, Princess Nanfeng challenged what Qin Muxu expressed. Dust and debris were blown all over the place when Qian Jun and Wan Ma arrived. Princess Nanfeng was surprised when she saw them. Wan Ma interrogated why she acted so arrogantly. Meanwhile, Qin Muxu wondered who they were. Qian Jun and Wan Ma asserted that they were the thousands upon thousands of soldiers and horses. Qin Muxu probed if they were his so-called thousands upon thousands of soldiers and horses, and Qin Feng affirmed yes. Qin Feng noted that Princess Nanfeng was already surrounded, so if she didn't want any harm to come to her emperor's disciples, she better surrender obediently, but Princess Nanfeng just countered if he was kidding her. Princess Nanfeng declared that when there is a way to heaven, Qin Feng refuses to take it, and he insists on barging into hell without a way out. Qin Feng observed that Princess Nanfeng was still as confident as ever, but compared to her confident appearance, he still preferred her eloquent tongue. Princess Nanfeng proclaimed that they should all kill the people from the Qin family. Her men maintained that they would kill and won't let a single one escape. Qin Feng instructed that Qin Muxu, along with Qian Jun and Wan Ma, should go deal with those emperor disciples while he handled the fierce beasts, and the 3 of them consented. Qin Feng quickly moved towards the canyon. He hit the devil eel as soon as he entered the canyon. One of the Qin family disciples inquired if it was their great young master. Another disciple avowed that surely the great young master has come to rescue them. And another disciple commented that the devil eels are a group of fierce beasts, so Qin Feng should be careful. Qin Feng thanked the disciple. One of the Qin family disciples quizzed if the emperor disciples from the Daxia dynasty were the ones after their lives and conveyed that he would fight them until the end. Another disciple averred that they should fight and they would either die or live that day. And another disciple insisted that if it weren't for the emperor's suspicion back then, there was no reason why their Qin family would end up like that, so he has been itching for a fight, and they have come at just the right time. The disciples of the Qin family regained their morale and started fighting with Princess Nanfeng's men. On the other hand, Bai Fantong mentioned that once the chill arrives, the sword will follow like a dragon. Bai Fantong tackled one of Princess Nanfeng's men in the groin, and the system congratulated because his spiritual pet has successfully severed others' wisdom roots, so he earned 1,000 villain points. As Bai Fantong continued to attack more of Princess Nanfeng's men, the system to congratulate, and he earned a total of 3,000 villain points. One of Princess Nanfeng's men inquired whose rabbit Bai Fantong was and why it was so shameless, and as another man agreed that Bai Fantong was really shameless. Bai Fantong scoffed that he wasn't from the martial world, so there was no reason to talk about martial rules. He stated that Qin Feng only taught him to hit the eggs first with a 50% chance of winning. One of Princess Nanfeng's men was pissed at Qin Feng, but Qin Feng just queried what it was to him, and remarked that he didn't even know Bai Fantong. But Qin Feng moved behind the man while laughing sinisterly, and the man was terrified. Princess Nanfeng's man screamed and cursed while the system congratulated for severing someone's wisdom roots, so he gained 1,000 villain points. One of Princess Nanfeng's men cursed and interrogated if he weren't just saying that he didn't recognize Bai Fantong. Another noted that they should protect their wisdom roots and be careful with Qin Feng, and another declared that they should retreat. But Qin Feng addressed them as his brothers and mentioned that they shouldn't run away because they were just so brave earlier. Meanwhile, Lin San used his skill, Prodigious Spirit Slash, to eliminate multiple devil eels at once. Qin Feng considered that Lin San was truly a chosen one because that prodigious spirit was comparable to the Dao heart he had cultivated in the spring. On the other hand, Princess Nanfeng believed that she never expected Qin Feng to find such a skilled fighter. Qin Muxu asserted that Lin San was so strong, and with only the cultivation of the second stage of the path of Dao Realm, he could slay a demon eel of the fifth stage of the Heavenly Master Realm, and throughout Huanggu, there are definitely no more than 3 who could achieve that. Meanwhile, Lin San deemed that Qin Feng slayed 3 devil eels with 1 slash while he slayed 4 with 1 slash, so in the end, he was still stronger than him. Qin Feng commented that he just loved Lin San's unruly appearance and reckoned that, as expected of the one he picked, Lin San had started to challenge him. He informed that little San San shouldn't even blink at that time. Qin Feng pulled his vast sky 9 swords and released a powerful aura. Multiple swords fell from the sky and sliced up multiple devil eels. Qin Feng looked so proud while the devil eel's chopped body fell from the sky. On the other hand, Princess Nanfeng was so surprised by the meat that rained down on her. One of the devil eel's bodies fell on Princess Nanfeng, and she screamed in pain. Princess Nanfeng probed men what they were all standing around for, and as she advised that they should hurry up and get that thing off her, the men responded yes. One of her men examined if she was okay, and she just replied that he should shut up. Meanwhile, Lin San wondered when Qin Feng broke through to the path of Dao Realm, when he comprehended the 4th level sword intent. If he didn't break through to the spiritual martial realm only just a month ago, and if he actually comprehended the Dao heart and possesses the Dao of nature too. The system congratulated for shaking the unwavering belief of a chosen one, so he gained 100,000 villain points. Qin Feng supposed that he knew that Lin San wouldn't let him down. He thanked Lin San so much and added that he never knew how to comprehend the Dao heart, but unexpectedly, after seeing his prodigious spirit, he understood it. The system congratulated for taking advantage of the absence of a chosen one to bully his beloved and instill fear in her, so he gained 100,000 villain points. Qin Feng reflected that it was another unexpected surprise. Qin Feng believed that since Fang Chang wasn't home, it was fine, and after he was done with Lin San, he would come find Silver Tongue, Princess Nanfeng. He stated that with Lin San's extraordinary talent, he surely didn't have to spend years cultivating like those mediocre people to comprehend the prodigious spirit. And as he inquired if he was like him with understanding things with just a breath, the system congratulated for shaking the unwavering belief of the chosen one, so he gained 100,000 villain points. Qin Feng contemplated that in just a few seconds, 300,000 points were received, and that was quite embarrassing, but he wondered if he could squeeze out a bit more. Devil eels, roaring ferociously, appeared behind Princess Nanfeng and her men. Qin Feng and Lin San were both alarmed when they saw that. Princess Nanfeng cursed as she tried to avoid the devil eels charging at her. One of Princess Nanfeng's men remarked that they should protect the princess, but Princess Nanfeng asserted that her men shouldn't worry about her and they should kill Qin Feng. Her men were troubled and undecided when they heard her command. Princess Nanfeng maintained that if they couldn't kill Qin Feng, she wanted them all to die with him. Her men declared and quickly charged at Qin Feng. Qin Feng considered that it was 1 egg for 1,000 points, and after deducting the recent ones, there should be about 700 left, totaling 700,000. Qin Muxu mentioned that Qin Feng should be careful. Her bosoms were squeezed as they got pressed onto Qin Feng's chest. Qin Feng queried if she was trying to save him while he reckoned that it seemed that she knew nothing about the power of bumping into someone with a ball. Qin Muxu advised that Qin Feng needs to leave there quickly with his people because if he doesn't go immediately, it will be too late. She commented that their other disciples from the Qin family may perish there, but Qin Feng cannot perish there because he is the hope of the Qin family. And as long as he is alive, the Qin family will always survive, and after he turns over a new leaf, he must return to the Qin family. Qin Jun opined that Qin Feng should take care. Qin Muxu urged that Qin Feng should hurry and go, but Qin Feng didn't budge as Qin Muxu pulled on his arm. Qin Muxu observed that they should go, but Qin Feng pondered why he should leave and if she hadn't heard that Lao Tzu once expressed to Confucius that among the weak waters of the 3,000, he only took a sip to drink. Qin Muxu probed what that meant. Bai Fantong chimed in that he was so exhausted, but Qin Muxu should let him translate it for her. He explained that it meant that the opponent's 3,000 disciples are as weak as water, and it was as simple as drinking water for Qin Feng to deal with them. Bai Fantong affirmed that Qin Muxu should watch because Qin Feng was about to start. Princess Nanfeng's men interrogated what was going on and why their swords were moving on their own. Princess Nanfeng wondered what kind of trick Qin Feng was playing again. Bai Fantong pressed if she could see and noted that it was just as he conveyed. It was as simple as drinking water. Qin Feng proclaimed that the hunt had begun. The swords of Princess Nanfeng's men attacked their owners, and the system congratulated as he gained 1,000 villain points for severing others' wisdom roots multiple times. Chicken heads all around sliced, and the system continued to congratulate for severing each of them. One of Princess Nanfeng's men inquired why he needed to insult them like that, by first severing their wisdom roots and taking their lives, and stated that Qin Feng was truly a shameless villain. Another man remarked that even if he became a ghost, he wouldn't let Qin Feng off. And another man cursed and exclaimed that when he met the King of Hell, he would make sure to file a complaint against Qin Feng, sending him to the 18th level of Hell, never to be reincarnated. Qin Feng maintained that he was innocent. He declared that it was 1,000 points for smashing eggs and 1,000 points for killing, so the reason that he smashed before he killed is just to earn a bit more to support his family. And he queried if they couldn't understand the hardships of surviving as a villain among all kinds of chosen ones. On the other hand, Princess Nanfeng asserted that her men should quickly go and support the others and that they should hurry, but one of her men interrogated if that wouldn't be suicidal if they went over there like that. Princess Nanfeng professed that even the dignified emperor disciples are so afraid of death. She posed men if they saw what she did and noted that if they can't kill Qin Feng, she will kill them all. Qin Feng believed that with more killings under the stimulation of blood, his heavenly domineering body gradually awakened, and unlike the double pupils and supreme bone constitution that require closed-door meditation for enlightenment, the heavenly domineering body is born for battle, and its awakening could only be achieved through continuous combat. He reasoned that the more he fought, the more courageous he became, and he never tired. But those were just the basic abilities of the heavenly domineering body, and its true power would be unlocked after activation, opening up completely new forms, and with each form unlocked, the combat power would undergo a qualitative leap, and the opening of the first form was not far away, so the men should come on because the more, the better. Meanwhile, Lin Sam reflected that he didn't want to get involved in the grudges between Qin Feng and the Daxia imperial family. But Qin Feng saved him from Lin Zinner's hands, so he will do his best to help him kill those demon eels and keep him safe. Lin Sen swung his sword and slashed another demon eel. He chopped multiple demon eels. Lin Sen managed to eliminate all the demon eels blocking the way and cleared a path outside the canyon. Qin Muxu observed that she saw it, and Bai Fantong commented that indeed, Lin San is worthy of being the man chosen by Qin Feng, as he has quite a bit of skill. Qin Muxu expressed that the disciples should hurry up, and Lin San has cleared the way out, so everyone should seize the opportunity to leave. Lin San watched as the Qin family disciples flew out of the canyon. Qin Muxu advised that Qin Feng should hurry up and go, but Qin Feng countered that Qin Muxu should go first as he will cover the rear. Meanwhile, Princess Nanfeng insisted that they can't let the Qin family escape, so they should chase after them. Qin Feng contended that no one could harm those who he wanted to protect, and as he used his heavenly domineering body, first form, one of Princess Nanfeng's men probed how that was possible. One of Princess Nanfeng's men challenged if Qin Feng already possessed the ancient double pupils and had unparalleled talent in swordsmanship, and how he could also possess the heavenly domineering body, which was born for battle, and Princess Nanfeng avowed that it was absolutely impossible. On the other hand, Lin San wondered what he needed to do to catch up with Qin Feng. The system congratulated for shaking the unwavering faith of the Chosen One and gaining 100,000 villain points, and as Qin Feng wondered if Lin San warmed his heart again, he considered that he really was his treasure. Qin Feng opined that he will give Lin San another surprise. Princess Nanfeng's men claimed that they should deploy, and if they worked together, they could definitely stop Qin Feng. Princess Nanfeng's men created a formation, and it managed to block Qin Feng's overwhelming attack. The men stated that they must hold on, but one of the men remarked that he can't hold on any longer. The formation broke, and Princess Nanfeng's men screamed as they got carried away by the current of Qin Feng's attack. The system congratulated for killing one person and gaining 100 villain points, and it was about to repeat the notification for each person that Qin Feng killed, but it got speechless because a lot of men were dead on the ground. Princess Nanfeng inquired how that could happen. Qin Feng observed that the first form was so powerful, so he wondered how strong the 10th form would be, and he avowed that just killing one person gets him 100 points, but breaking wisdom gets him 1000, so that wave is a bit of a loss. He queried if he should seize the opportunity and break the men's wisdoms at that moment and if it could count as a reward. But the system notified that they are villains and not maniacs, so it would request him to mind his words and actions. While Qin Feng mentioned that he should just forget it if it doesn't work because at least he still has his beloved Lin San, Bai Fantong professed that he was coming for the money. Bai Fantong gathered the bags and declared that it was his, while Qin Feng considered if Lin San actually left him alone. Qin Feng concluded that it was all because of Princess Nanfeng that he lost Lin San, so he was really angry at the moment. He figured that Princess Nanfeng was still running away. Qin Feng quickly chased after Princess Nanfeng, and Bai Fantong was startled when he saw him running after Princess Nanfeng. He expressed that Qin Feng should wait for him and that Qin Feng is precious, but treasure is valuable. Bai Fantong commented that for a woman, both can't be tossed around, so he will be coming soon. Meanwhile, Wen Ma wondered if they really didn't need to go help Qin Feng, and as Qian Jun noted that there was no need, he probed if he remembered the scene a month ago when Princess Nanfeng appeared at the Qiuzhu Peak. He asserted that Princess Nanfeng must like Qin Feng and that war was probably to forcibly take Qin Feng back as her consort. Wan Ma conveyed that it was no wonder Princess Nanfeng always looks at Qin Feng with 7 parts hatred and 3 parts shyness because it turned out to be the deep love and intense hatred. What one can't have is always in turmoil, and Qian Jun averred that unfortunately, the identities of the two are destined to be impossible. Wan Ma maintained that a princess of the Daxia dynasty, a holy son of the Yinyu dynasty, in the life and death elimination tournament, Qin Feng successfully caught Princess Nanfeng's attention, but she couldn't seek love, so she started playing with fire. She pursued, Qin Feng fled. He couldn't escape. He pursued, she fled. Her anger couldn't dissipate, and it was such profound love. Qian Jun claimed that as a savvy subordinate, they naturally need to give Qin Feng enough personal space because knowing too much isn't good for them, and Wan Ma argued that it is true that seeing Qin Feng once could lead to a lifetime of mistakes. Not seeing Qin Feng could also lead to a lifetime of regret. On the other hand, Fang Chang was cultivating in a forest. He proclaimed that at that time, he would make Qin Feng wish he was dead. The demon informed that Fang Chang should just forget it and they should just go back because he can't beat Qin Feng. But Fang Chang interrogated if he was teaching him how to do things. Fang Chang noticed the disciples of the Qin family pass above him. One of them queried if Qin Feng could really handle it alone and if they shouldn't go back and help him. To which Qin Muxu indicated that they shouldn't worry because Qin Feng will be fine and they were all injured, so staying there would just be a burden, and the disciples agreed. Fang Chang reckoned that he finally found Qin Feng. He believed that at that time, he wouldn't let Qin Feng go. Fang Chang heard Qin Feng inquire Princess Nanfeng if she wouldn't want their little secret to be known by Fang Chang. It caught Fang Chang's attention, and he was surprised when he heard Princess Nanfeng's name. Princess Nanfeng remarked that Qin Feng was shameless. Fang Chang wondered what secrets there could be between Qin Feng and Princess Nanfeng. He was taken aback when he saw Princess Nanfeng kneeling directly in front of Qin Feng. Fang Chang believed that he had only been gone for a month and Princess Nanfeng had already given herself to Qin Feng. He wondered what their 7 years of feelings were. Fang Chang was so enraged that he coughed up blood. The system congratulated for bullying the Chosen One's sweetheart and being unexpectedly seen by the Chosen One, spotting blood out of anger, gaining 200,000 villain points, but it also gave a friendly reminder that the Chosen One's wisdom root has been restored. Qin Feng was puzzled when he saw the notification about the Chosen One. He stated that after seeing everything, Fang Chang could still endure, and he considered that he almost didn't recognize that it was Fang Chang who came. Meanwhile, Bai Fantong commented that when he goes back, he is going to use that little money to buy a house full of carrots, fill the entire room, and live every day eating and sleeping well. Bai Fantong noticed Fang Chang and queried if that was a but. With a mischievous smile, Bai Fantong slowly approached Fang Chang from behind. Bai Fantong observed that to become a successful camper, one must learn how to hide themselves, stay like a rock, lock onto the target, and wait for the right moment to strike. He declared that it was now or never and used his chrysanthemum sword technique. Fang Chang jerked up and groaned in pain due to Bai Fantong's attack, and Princess Nanfeng was startled when she saw him come out of the bushes. The system congratulated as Bai Fantong stabbed the Chosen One, withering his flower with a sword and gaining 500,000 points. Princess Nanfeng interrogated how he was there and mentioned that things weren't what he reckoned, so he needed to let her explain. Qin Feng clicked his tongue and noted that by Princess Nanfeng making that expression, it was easy to misunderstand. Fang Chang asserted that Princess Nanfeng should get lost, as she was a wretched woman, while he was wondering why he got stabbed in front of Princess Nanfeng. Princess Nanfeng was still worried for Fang Chang despite his hurtful words. Qin Feng added that he was quite satisfied with Princess Nanfeng's service earlier, so in return, he could help Princess Nanfeng teach Fang Chang a lesson. He directed his attack towards Fang Chang. The system congratulated for sabotaging the Chosen One and severing their wisdom root, so he gained 500,000 villain points. Fang Chang screamed and exclaimed no. On the other hand, Princess Nanfeng replied that Qin Feng shouldn't. Qin Feng inquired if it was a no, and he agreed that he would do as she wished. He looked at Fang Chang while he activated his double pupils. Qin Feng stated that the right eye is destroyed, but the left eye shows vitality. In an instant, Fang Chang's chicken head was reattached. Fang Chang wondered if it was regenerating again. But Bai Fantong appeared and remarked that Fang Chang should get ready. Bai Fantong declared that it was another hit and a strike. The system congratulated because his spiritual pet precisely struck the Chosen One, gaining 500,000 villain points. Princess Nanfeng observed that Qin Feng was so shameless, and Qin Feng asserted that, to be fair, it had nothing to do with him at that time. Fang Chang used the devouring demon technique and noted that it should devour everything. A huge demon immediately appeared in the sky and began devouring everything just like Fang Chang instructed. Princess Nanfeng quickly called the 12 zodiac signs and mentioned that they should protect her body. She commented that Fang Chang was crazy and he should stop it immediately because by using the devouring demon technique so recklessly, he will suffer a backlash. But Fang Chang ignored her and soared up to the sky. While Fang Chang claimed that he would drain Qin Feng dry, Qian Jun and Wan Ma quickly arrived, and as they called Qin Feng, Bai Fantong exclaimed that he was a poor rabbit that was scared to death. Qin Feng queried if what Fang Chang said was for the devouring demon technique to devour everything. He probed how Fang Chang would respond if he were to unleash even the So's go crazy. Qin Feng maintained that the demon should go ahead and show him what it was worth, and Bai Fantong averred that Qin Feng clearly could directly use the Nanming primordial fire to restrain Fang Chang. But he deliberately chose even the So's go crazy as killing intent runs deep, and Qin Feng truly lives up to his reputation. Fang Chang interrogated how someone could be so shameless and replied that the devouring demon technique should disperse. Princess Nanfeng screamed in pain as she got blown away by the devouring demon technique that Fang Chang unthinkingly dispersed. Bai Fantong clicked his tongue and pointed out that it looked like there would be many more star-crossed lovers after that night, while Qin Feng challenged why he was agitated and conveyed that he shouldn't forget that he was not whole, so even if he breathed it in, it wouldn't make much difference. Fang Chang opined that Qin Feng was asking for death. He indicated that the old devil should hurry up and lend him all of his power. Qin Feng insisted that his companions should step back, and they immediately responded yes. Fang Chang and Qin Feng's attack created an explosion when they clashed, and it created a loud booming sound. One of the cultivators in the forest inquired what was causing such a commotion and who was fighting so fiercely. Another cultivator speculated that with such intensity, it is likely not just a personal feud and they probably stumbled upon some incredible treasure. And another cultivator agreed that it made sense, so they should go check it out. Noticing the approaching cultivators, Tang Chuan cursed and suspected that someone was plotting against him, a righteous gentleman. Tang Chuan declared that the cultivators should take his blue-silver embrace. One of the cultivators wondered what those tentacles they got them were. Suddenly, Tang Chuan exclaimed that there were so many men, and he was so excited. One of the cultivators remarked that it was disgusting. Another cultivator cursed and threatened that he would beat Tang Chuan to death as he was unusual. And another cultivator warned that if he punched Tang Chuan, he might actually die. Suddenly, the cultivators inhaled the particles of the even the So's go crazy that was wafting in the air. One of the cultivators wondered what was going on and why Tang Chuan suddenly became so handsome. Another cultivator complained that it was so hot and it felt like ants were crawling all over his body. And another cultivator assured that there was no need to be so modest because Tang Chuan is just as charming. Tang Chuan stated that when three are walking together, his teacher must be among them. He addressed the cultivators as his dear friends and suggested that they join forces. One of the cultivators responded that it sounded good. Meanwhile, Fang Chang crashed on the ground and coughed up blood. The demon urged Fang Chang to come on because there was no point in continuing like that and reminded Fang Chang not to forget that Qin Feng still has the Nanming primordial fire so he can't kill him. Fang Chang protested that he refuses to accept that, and the demon wondered if he had ever considered that if he died in battle that day, that would just fulfill the wishes of Qin Feng and Princess Nanfeng, and recommended that he strive to return as an emperor instead of that. Fang Cheng was stunned as he realized that the demon was right. He admitted that it made sense, and as he rolled away, the demon tried to call his attention and warned that there is a cliff ahead. When Qin Feng saw that, he wondered if there was no need to roll so smoothly. Wan Ma queried if they were still pursuing Fang Cheng, and as Qin Feng instructed Wan Ma to forget it and let Fang Cheng recover his wisdom roots before they harvest, he inquired about the people from the Qin family, and Wan Ma replied that they already left, and Qin Muxu told him to thank Qin Feng on her behalf. Qin Feng proposed how he could treat him on Qin Muxu's behalf and if he could treat him to a cup of milk tea in autumn, and Wan Ma wondered what tea Qin Feng was talking about. Qian Jun suddenly chimed in and mentioned that he was too busy with the battle earlier and didn't get a chance to report to Qin Feng that according to the information that they have gathered those past few days, Yulan from the Blue Demon Palace seemed to have found the Dao Fruit. Wan Ma affirmed that thanks to the wise and valiant leadership of their boss, they spread the news and mobilized everyone to search for Yulan. Otherwise, they wouldn't have known that the Blue Demon Palace was silently making a fortune. When Qin Feng heard about the Dao Fruit, he remarked that Yulan truly deserves to be the chosen one, and he reflected that they say that whoever obtains the Dao Fruit will conquer the world, so he adores his dear Yulan. On the other hand, Yulan was wondering which shameless bastard spread the news. The system congratulated Qin Feng for making the chosen lady angry, so he gained 10,000 villain points, and when Qin Feng saw that he received a reward, he concluded that it looked like the news was authentic. Qin Feng announced that they should go, and as he checked if Wan Ma was ready, Qian Jun confirmed that they were ready to go anytime. Qin Feng proclaimed that he was coming for Yulan. At the part of the forest where the Dao tree was, a cultivator remarked that the Blue Demon Palace indeed found the treasure and the Dao Fruit belongs to their Wang family. Another cultivator disputed what the Wang family counts for and asserted that the Dao Fruit must belong to their Su family. But another cultivator countered that the Wang family and Su family were nothing compared to the Chu family. Yulan considered that originally, when the Blue Demon Palace found the Dao Fruit, as long as they waited for it to mature, they could quietly pick it and make a fortune. But she pondered who was the shameless guy spreading rumors everywhere about her getting the phoenix egg, causing various forces to join hands in searching for them, and she concluded that it seemed that they have to go through a fierce competition at the moment. Qin Feng suddenly called Yulan and expressed that it has been a long time and he has missed her so much. Yulan raised his sword at Qin Feng, and her companions prepared for battle as well. She inquired if he was there to compete for the Dao Fruit. Qin Feng clarified that he had no interest in the Dao Fruit, and he came there because he heard that Yulan was in danger, so he came to protect her. Yulan challenged if he imagined she would believe him and buy Fantong, to which Qin Feng responded and insisted that they had an intimate encounter in that cave, and she even kissed him voluntarily so she could say that the Dao Fruit is important. But in his heart, Yulan is more important, while Bai Fantong pondered what he had to do with anything. When Yulan's companions heard what Qin Feng mentioned, one of them reflected that she didn't expect that Qin Feng would be so romantic and private, while another mused that she didn't envy the mandarin ducks that live and accompany each other for a lifetime or the immortals in heaven, but she envied being with Qin Feng every day. Yulan demanded what nonsense he was talking about and who kissed him voluntarily, but Qin Feng merely retorted if it was not and emphasized that the kiss was moist. Yulan's companions were amazed when they heard what Qin Feng uttered. Yulan snapped that Qin Feng should get lost, but Qin Feng suddenly grabbed her arm. Qin Feng admitted that he knew Yulan was angry at the moment, but he wondered if she could promise him something. He proposed that they should be each other's dearest. He urged that Yulan should give him a chance to win her back, and he knew that she demanded that he should get lost. But she actually can't just let go of her pride, and love isn't about what he hasn't given but is about Yulan not knowing what she wants. Yulan speculated how she could develop feelings for the bastard Qin Feng while her companions egged her on and suggested that they should get together. The system congratulated Qin Feng for making the chosen lady's heart beat faster, so he gained 100,000 villain points, and Qin Feng questioned if the system was serious. Qin Feng deliberated if he should accept Yulan's love, if he should let her call him daddy or maybe daddy during the day and keep calling him daddy at night because after all Yulan's mom is pretty nice. Suddenly, Ziyuan appeared, and she was pissed. She glared at Qin Feng, and her veins were popping out of her face. Ziyuan was in a fiery rage, and both Qin Feng and Yulan felt uneasy. Qin Feng addressed Ziyuan as his darling and expressed that she had no idea how worried he had been about her. But Yulan was the one who got pissed at that time, and she scoffed as she walked away. Suddenly, Ziyuan turned Qin Feng's head with her index finger so he would face her. She declared that he was a naughty little brother and that he should pay attention when talking to him and no distractions are allowed. Qin Feng agreed and assured that he would listen to his darling Ziyuan. But he came to a realization. Qin Feng speculated if it was the divine skill of the Moon Celestial Palace. Ziyuan inquired what he was looking at and remarked that he was a naughty thing while considering that after knowing each other for so many years, it was the first time Qin Feng looked at her like that because before, Qin Feng had always looked at Moon Celestial like that. Ziyuan stated that she is familiar with every inch of Qin Feng's skin, but Yulan countered that Qin Feng is familiar with every inch of her skin. Ziyuan was petrified, and she demanded clarification about what Yulan uttered. She wondered if what Yulan declared was true, but Qin Feng ignored Ziyuan as he contemplated Lin Sen. As he intertwined his fingers with Lin San's, Qin Feng mused that Lin San could no longer escape, while Lin San reflected why Qin Feng always looked at him like that whenever they met. Meanwhile, Yulan considered that Qin Feng's interests seemed quite diverse, while Ziyuan speculated if her opponent wasn't Yulan after all. Lin San remarked that he and Qin Feng met again, and Qin Feng commented that Lin San arrived just in time. Qin Feng explained that his little concubine discovered the Dao fruit there, but no one knew that it would attract a group of ruffians coveting it, so as brothers. And knowing how much Lin San valued brotherhood, he queried if he would help him seek justice and if he was not there to compete for the Dao fruit. Yulan challenged, who claimed that she was his little concubine, while Ziyuan inquired if what Qin Feng was implying is that she is the irreplaceable main consort. The system congratulated Qin Feng for making the chosen lady mad, so he obtained 10,000 villain points, and Qin Feng acknowledged that his darling Yulan was truly his precious because with just one move, it was worth 10,000. Qin Feng questioned internally how there were suddenly so many people. He announced that there are 7 Dao fruits, so if Lin San helps him hold off those people, after the matter is settled, 1 fruit will go to the Blue Demon Palace, 1 to the Moon Celestial Palace, 1 to his rabbit, and 1 to each of his 2 little brothers, and with the remaining 2 fruits, the brothers will take each one, and he asked Lin San's opinion on that arrangement. Both Qian Jun and Wan Ma queried if they also have some. Lin San pointed out that there are a total of 7 Dao fruits, and he would risk his life to help Qin Feng fend off enemies. But in the end, Qin Feng's people would get 6 fruits while he only got 1. To which Qin Feng responded and explained that the accounts shouldn't be calculated like that because a person could only eat 1 Dao fruit in their lifetime, and eating more won't have any additional effects, so it is better to use them to cultivate friendship, as friendship is priceless. Qin Feng urged him to consider how Tiangxin City treated him. He emphasized that they not only distrusted Lin San but also sent people to chase and kill him, leaving him with nowhere to go and wandering around. But as Lin San's half-brother, he will always unconditionally trust him. So if he claims that the treasure chest is empty, if he insists that he has never hidden any treasure, he would believe that he has never hidden any treasure, and he will always stand behind him silently supporting him. Lin San retorted if he appeared like an idiot to him. Qin Feng sighed and expressed that he didn't want to come to it, but Lin San forced him, and Lin San demanded clarification of his meaning. Qin Feng abruptly challenged what the hell they were looking at, if they dared to look down on his big brother Lin San, and as he provoked them, urging them to come out and fight if they had the guts, Lin San commented that he didn't expect that even after 7 years, Qin Feng's moral integrity remains the same. One of the cultivators mocked that Lin San was just a measly number 1 sword genius of the 100 years, yet he dared to be so arrogant, so Lin San should watch him teach him a lesson. Qin Feng taunted the cultivators to come on and swore that he is not a man if he ever begged for mercy. Lin San affirmed that the cultivators were not afraid at all, and Qin Feng praised that when it comes to being powerful, it has to be his little San. Suddenly, Yi Jian called Qin Feng and remarked that his thick skin was as impressive as ever. Yi Jian smiled confidently as he stood in front of Qin Feng. One of the cultivators identified Yi Jian as the second young master of the famous sword villa. Another cultivator praised Yi Jian as impressive, carrying the aura of the 5th stage of the heavenly master realm. Another cultivator speculated that Yi Jian came prepared at that time. Yi Jian clarified that his sword villa doesn't want too many of those Dao fruits, and just 4 will suffice. Qin Feng remarked that Yi Jian was demanding more than half of the Dao fruits right off the bat and doubted if he still had the nerve to claim he had thick skin. He pondered if Yi Jian had grown a beard, if he wasn't cleanly shaved last time, and if he should find an opportunity to drag Yi Jian out and cut it again because after all, he is a businessman and reputation is important. Suddenly, a powerful golden aura came down from the sky and hit the Dao tree. The cultivators declared that the Dao fruits were ripe. Yi Jian commanded Qin Feng to get out of his way. Qin Feng agreed, sure thing, and quickly left with Ziyuan. Yi Jian warned that Qin Feng should consider himself lucky. A group of cultivators suddenly blocked Yi Jian's way and asserted that the Dao fruits belonged to them. Yi Jian threatened that if they dare to snatch them from their sword villa, they better have the guts for it. He and his sword villa quickly overpowered the cultivators blocking their way. But Yulan claimed that the Dao fruits belonged to their Blue Demon Palace. She released a powerful hissing aura that quickly pushed away the cultivators around her. On the other hand, a cultivator wondered what kind of thing the demon was, and another exclaimed that the ghost head could actually devour others' cultivation techniques. Fang Cheng insisted that he needed more power and that the Dao fruits could only belong to him. Qin Feng cursed and complained that all the big shots were there, and he assumed that Lin San, Qin Feng, and Yulan were all epic chosen ones, plus Yi Jian, who seemed to be a fated villain, was a lineup. He admitted that resisting head-on is not his style, so being a happy-go-lucky camper is the way to go, but the system notified that epic-level missions were selectively released. The first one was Happy-Go-Lucky Camper, which requires being a happy-go-lucky camper to compete for the Dao Fruits with a reward of 5 million villain points. Second was United Cooperation, which requires helping the fated villain Yi Jian fight against the chosen one Lin San with a reward of 1 golden treasure chest. And third was Suppressing the Group of Big Shots, which requires single-handedly suppressing the chosen ones and fated villain present with a reward of 1 divine-level treasure chest. Qin Feng contemplated if he should be a happy-go-lucky camper or seriously be a villain head-on, but he concluded that it would only take a month to gain 5 million villain points if he is diligent enough to collect Yulan's duties. And as for the golden treasure chest and divine level treasure chest, with divine level, he definitely won't choose gold. He exclaimed that it was outrageous and complained that the system really didn't understand him at all, ruthlessly depriving him of the joy of being a happy-go-lucky camper. Meanwhile, Lin San cheered that it was great, while the chosen ones and the fated villain were all reaching out for the Dao Fruit. The other cultivators shouted that they should quickly stop the chosen ones and the fated villain. Suddenly, when one of Qin Feng's swords passed by them, one of the cultivators wondered what it was. Lin San announced that it was not good. Everyone quickly ran away and dodged Qin Feng's vast Sky 9 swords. The vast Sky 9 swords crashed and destroyed the ground. Lin San immediately recognized it and identified it as the vast Sky 9 swords. Qin Feng demanded if they had enough fun. One of Ziyuan's companions remarked that Qin Feng was so cool, and it was no wonder he was Ziyuan's man. Another lady commented that Qin Feng has really changed a lot and he was getting more handsome, and she never would have imagined that the little brat the Moon Celestial picked up years ago would grow up to be that handsome. And another lady declared that when Ziyuan gets married, she must volunteer to be her maid. On the other hand, Yi Jian demanded that Qin Feng should move aside, but Qin Feng retorted that he was a loser. But Qin Feng clarified that just to make it clear, he was not targeting Yi Jian alone, and he meant everyone there. One of the cultivators cursed and complained that Qin Feng was so arrogant. Another cultivator challenged who he assumed he was and rebuked him for daring to talk to them like that. Another person queried if Qin Feng dared to be so arrogant when he was just one person and if Qin Feng floated away or if he lost the ability to lift his sword. Wan Ma wondered if they weren't all supposed to be happily hiding in the buses as low-key villains and why Qin Feng jumped out without even saying hello and provoked everyone there so arrogantly. While Ziyuan praised that her little brother was amazing. Back at the fight, Yi Jian demanded who he was calling a loser. Qin Feng replied that it was whoever he was talking to. Yi Jian warned that Qin Feng was courting death, but Qin Feng countered that Yi Jian was just someone who lost to him and questioned who gave him the guts to talk like that. Yi Jian swung his sword, but the vast Sky 9 swords quickly blocked his attack. Qin Feng challenged Yi Jian to bring it on. He summoned the vast Sky 9 swords back into his hand and shifted into a fighting stance. Qin Feng looked at Yi Jian intently. He used his skill, Heaven-Slaying Sword Technique. A huge explosion occurred when Qin Feng and Yi Jian's attack collided with each other. Yi Jian wondered how it was possible and reflected that when he encountered Qin Feng in the life and death elimination a month ago, Qin Feng also used the Heaven-Slaying Sword Technique as his opening move. But he successfully blocked Qin Feng's attack and even forced him to use his Supreme Bone Divine Power. And he pondered why he was unable to block the Heaven-Slaying Sword Technique at the moment when a month had passed and his invincible confidence had solidified. Qin Feng mocked what was so impossible about it and if he couldn't stop being so shocked all the time when he had been around the block, and he accused Yi Jian of making it seem like he suddenly became so powerful after eating something special. Yi Jian's companions got concerned for him and urged that he should quickly take the pill while the system congratulated Qin Feng for defeating a fated villain, so his completion progress is 25%. Qin Feng realized that it seemed like he was about to break through again. One of Yi Jian's companions wondered if Qin Feng actually broke through on the spot in that situation while Yi Jian inquired if he had broken through to the 4th stage of the entry realm in just 1 month. Qin Feng ridiculed if the breakthrough wasn't supposed to be like that and if they needed a long time while he called the system and decided that it should exchange a foundation establishment pill for him. The system congratulated Qin Feng for successfully exchanging for a foundation establishment pill at the cost of 600,000 villain points. Meanwhile, Yi Jian and his companions were completely speechless when they heard what Qin Feng uttered. Qin Feng declared that Yi Jian was just a piece of trash and mocked who would take pills in proper cultivation. Everyone was confused when they saw Qin Feng take a pill after what he just declared. Qin Feng realized that 25% progress was not bad and victory was within reach when Lin San suddenly called him and mentioned that he was curious if his previous offer still stands. Qin Feng replied that Lin San was given a chance, but he refused it, so he was taking everything. Fang Cheng remarked that Qin Feng should screw off with his taking everything. When the other cultivators heard what Qin Feng mentioned, one of them wondered how shameless Qin Feng could get compared to Yi Jian. Another cultivator suggested that they should go together because even if Qin Feng is the #1 genius of Huanggu, he can't handle all of them. Another cultivator agreed and declared that Qin Feng is alone, so even if he is at the 4th stage of Path of Dao Realm, they could drown him in a single piss. And another cultivator added that the one who gets the Dao Fruit gets the world, so they should go all out. Qin Feng mocked that they were losers and they could keep doing whatever they wanted because he would only use one sword. One of the cultivators cursed, and as he challenged if he called that just using one sword, another cultivator urged that they should quickly set up defenses. The cultivators quickly gathered to set up their defenses and instructed that their formation should go. The cultivators stuck together, and their formation created a huge barrier to block Qin Feng's attack. On the other hand, Lin Sen used his skill, Prodigious Sword Kai. Meanwhile, Fang Chang used his skill, Devouring Demon Technique. Qin Feng's attack clashed with the barrier, and the barrier managed to block it. but one of the cultivators complained that it was too much. He added that there were many people, yet they were still getting overwhelmed. Kai Jun and Wanma praised that it was great because their leader finally acted like one, while Ziyun remarked that her naughty little brother is so powerful. On the other hand, the old man accompanying Qin Hao wondered how that was possible and how there could be such a monster in that world. He recalled that if he remembered correctly, Qin Feng should be less than 18 years old that year, yet he already possesses the invincible sword heart, 4th level sword intent, natural Dao techniques, and even refined the Nanming primordial fire, which is on par with the god of destruction, and Qin Feng could also wield the power of Buddha's relics and dragon pearl with ease. Qin Hao declared that he is 3 years younger than Qin Feng, but he will definitely surpass him in 3 years, and the old man realized that at that moment, Qin Feng had completely transcended the human limits because any one of his abilities could make someone a peerless legend. But he has gathered all those abilities within himself, perfectly mastering them, so perhaps no one could match him within the Huanggu. But the old man agreed with Qin Hao and affirmed that he could do it as long as he did something, and Qin Hao queried what it was. The old man struggled and insisted that Qin Hao could definitely do it anyway, and he considered that Qin Hao was still young after all, so it was better to let him live in his dreams. Qin Hao acknowledged that the old man was right and that he could do it. When Qin Hao suddenly charged towards the Dao tree, the old man exclaimed that he was not done talking, and he encouraged Qin Hao too much. Meanwhile, the system notified that a mythical level chosen one had been detected and was rapidly approaching. Qin Feng speculated if it was Qin Hao and remarked that it has been a few years and the little guy has grown so big. He recalled that if he remembered correctly, Qin Hao should be at the epic level, and he pondered when he became a mythical level. Qin Feng concluded that whatever it is, as long as the little guy is healthy. Suddenly, Qin Hao grabbed one of the Dao fruits from the tree. Qin Feng cursed, and as he scolded if it was the behavior of the little rascal, he lamented that Qin Hao used to be such an innocent child, but currently he was taking advantage of his big brother's fight to steal the Dao fruit. He wondered which little scoundrel corrupted his second brother. The old man inquired if it actually worked, and Qin Hao confirmed that he got it. He suspected it was intentional because with Qin Feng's abilities, it didn't matter even if he was currently using the Great River Sword technique. Stopping Qin Hao wasn't difficult, so he speculated why he didn't intervene in the end. On the other hand, Qin Feng remarked that he wouldn't lay a finger on Qin Hao, and he assumed he would let him take it, but it would cost him more. He questioned whether they were not going to talk and concluded that he wouldn't either, so they should see who could endure it. One of the cultivators observed that someone just succeeded in grabbing the Dao fruit, so it appeared Qin Feng wasn't invincible after all, and another proposed that he should distract his attention while he takes a detour and gets the fruit, and after it's done, they would split it evenly. The cultivator reminded that he better keep his word, and he affirmed that a gentleman's word is as good as his bond, so they made the deal. The cultivator called Qin Feng, and as he questioned who he thought he was, he challenged him to come and handle him on his own if he had the guts. Qin Feng probed if he wanted to fight against him, and if he possessed the strength for it. Everyone exclaimed that it was not good and that it was the double pupils, so they should retreat, while another cultivator challenged why he didn't use the double pupils to shoot the kid who grabbed the fruit earlier, and expressed disbelief. Another cultivator cursed and interrogated whether he was even human because he used sword techniques to suppress them while still able to use the double pupils to shoot at them. Meanwhile, Yulan insulted him and assumed he claimed he came to help her deal with outsiders, but he fought against them from the Blue Demon Palace at that moment. The system congratulated 3 times for making the chosen lady mad and for gaining 10,000 villain points, and he commented that it was getting interesting. He wondered who else was there. The other cultivators struggled to protect themselves from his attacks. Lin Xin declared that he wouldn't give up and he couldn't fall in a place like that. But Qin Feng's sword was so powerful, and the system congratulated for shaking the unshakable faith of the Chosen One, gaining 100,000 villain points. On the other hand, the demon urged Fang Chang to forget it because Qin Feng had become a monster beyond comprehension, and even in his prime, he wouldn't dare to face such a creature, but he refused. He vowed to seek revenge and defeat Qin Feng. He would make Princess Nanfeng regret it, and he would let the world know who the real protagonist of Huanggu was. He didn't care, and he demanded that he lend him all of his strength. But the demon denied him. He pressed if he was sure he didn't want to let him borrow it, which made the demon curse as he relented and acknowledged that he was ruthless. He granted Fang Chang his strength and challenged if that wasn't enough. The demon devoured Fang Chang's swords. One of the cultivators admitted that they didn't think there was a stance that could contend with the Great River Sword technique. Lin Sen suddenly declared that he couldn't wait any longer. He used his skill, the prodigious sword. He charged at Qin Feng. Qin Feng remarked that little San San finally showed up. Lin Sen requested for him to enlighten him. Qin Feng commented that he really didn't know what to do with him. He used his skill, prodigious spirit sword of heaven and earth. One of the cultivators remarked that the showdown between the number 1 heaven's pride of Huanggu and the once in 100 years number 1 sword genius, he speculated who would come out on top. Meanwhile, Fang Cheng declared that he exerted all his strength, yet Qin Feng still had the energy to pick fights with others, and the demon reminded him that he told him to stay away from him. But he continued to provoke him, and he demanded whose fault that was. Lin San considered that Qin Feng was so strong. Qin Feng remarked that Lin San was destined to be suppressed by him for the rest of his life. He released his attack on him. Lin San declared that his fate was in his hands and not in the heavens. He tried to block Qin Feng's attack, but he realized that Qin Feng was really so strong. On the other hand, Fang Cheng observed that it was a great opportunity. It was fantastic, as the Dao Fruit was his. Qin Feng commented that he was a brat trying to take advantage of the situation in front of him when he was still too inexperienced. Meanwhile, Lin San was overwhelmed by Qin Feng's attack. His defenses shattered, and the system congratulated for severely injuring the Chosen One, gaining 200,000 villain points and completing 75% of the mission for defeating him. Qin Feng also coughed up blood, but he immediately used his skill, non-existent space snatch. Fang Cheng was surprised when the Dao Fruit suddenly disappeared before he could grab it. Qin Feng contacted him and demanded that he should give him the Dao Fruit back, and he inquired what was going on. Qin Feng insisted that he should hand over the Dao Fruit. He denied taking it, but Qin Feng accused him of lying because they were all fighting earlier, and he was the closest to the Dao Fruit, so if it was not him who took it, he pressed who did. Fang Cheng defended that he really didn't, and one of the cultivators cursed him and accused him of taking advantage of the situation, and still wanting it only for himself. Another criticized that he looked like a gentleman and wondered why he kept doing such sneaky things, while another threatened that he should hand over the Dao Fruit or he would smash his head in. Qin Feng took advantage of the chaos and questioned what was wrong with him eating a few of those lousy Dao Fruits when, after all, he was Fang Cheng, the heaven's pride of the Daxia dynasty, and if they were capable, they should go ahead and beat him to death. One of the cultivators challenged that if it was a lousy Dao Fruit, Fang Cheng should take it out, and he was so arrogant that he would kick him to death, while another mocked that a man who couldn't protect his own woman dared to call himself a heaven's pride, which was a joke. The system congratulated for framing and endangering the Chosen One, gaining 2 million villain points. Qin Feng criticized that Fang Cheng was shameless as he was actually hogging it all for himself, to which Bai Fantong concurred and mentioned that he had never seen such shamelessness in his life. He proposed that they should strip his clothes off and strip him naked. Fang Cheng protested. Everyone was speechless after they stripped him naked. One of them inquired if he didn't have it, and another questioned if it was for real and urged that they should let him see, so he should just move his hand a bit because he couldn't see clearly. He was enraged. He shouted that they all should go to hell. One of the cultivators observed that it was bad. Qin Feng remarked that it was good to be angry, but it was unfortunate that Fang Cheng was alone there. Fang Cheng froze when he saw the Nanaming primordial fire. He quickly ran away. Qin Feng demanded where he believed he was going. The demon warned that he had told him not to provoke Qin Feng, but he simply wouldn't listen, and at that moment, he found him lying down beside him. Fang Cheng insisted that he should stop his whining and inquired what they should do, and the demon wondered what he had done in his past life to deserve selecting him. His millennium of cultivation. He extinguished the Nanaming primordial fire. Fang Cheng exclaimed that it was great, and the demon muttered that he had expended too much at that time and didn't know when he would wake up, so he should heed his advice and not provoke Qin Feng anymore, as that demon was destined to dominate for eternity, so he couldn't defeat him. But Fang Cheng replied that they would deal with the future later. The system congratulated for severely injuring the Chosen One, gaining 300,000 villain points, and he also completed 100% of the task, so he received a divine-level treasure chest. He declared that it was finally completed, and the system congratulated for successfully snatching 6 Dao Fruits and gaining 1 lottery chance. He protested that he only got 1 lottery chance for 3 Chosen Ones and 6 Dao Fruits, and he grumbled that the dog of a system was becoming increasingly dog-like. But he figured that he should just forget it, as he didn't have time to argue with it at the moment, as he had more important things to do, and as he reflected on Lin San wondered why that feeling seemed familiar. While he approached Lin San, one of the cultivators stated that they originally came to compete for the Dao Fruits, but they had mysteriously disappeared, and the prime suspect, Fang Cheng, had run away, and as he inquired what they should do, another cultivator urged that they should chase after him, as he refused to believe that mere Fang Cheng could escape. Yulan wondered if that was how the battle for the Dao Fruit ended and considered that they didn't manage to snatch any of the 7 Dao Fruits that originally should have belonged to their Blue Demon Palace, which was really frustrating. On the other hand, Ziyuan pondered what her naughty little brother was up to again. Qin Feng questioned how his sword array had performed earlier and explained that theoretically, it could be stacked infinitely, but he didn't even unleash 1/10,000th of its power. The system congratulated for shaking the unshakable belief of the Chosen One, earning 100,000 villain points. Ziyuan observed that the two of them were fighting for the Dao Fruits with swords drawn, ready to kill each other earlier. One wanting to suppress the other, one wanting to defy heaven's will, but they could happily chat, and she wondered why that was the case. She recalled that Moon Celestial mentioned that men might not necessarily find happiness with women, and when in the company of men, they could be truly happy, and she mused if there was any happiness she could not provide. Suddenly, Lin Zinner pointed out that it was really easy to find Lin San. Ziyuan speculated if she was another concubine. She doesn't care because she is the rightful wife, while Qin Feng contemplated if she was trying to steal Lin San again, and reasoned that she had to ask him if he agreed or not. Lin San was uncomfortable when Qin Feng grabbed his hand. Lin Zinner remarked that she could give Lin San another chance, and as long as he revealed the location of the immortal crystal mine, she promised to forgive the past, and he would still be a member of her Tiangxin city, but he insisted that he truly didn't know. She declared that if that was the case, she would make it known that he was expelled from Tiangxin city, and from that point onward, he would no longer be a member of the city. Ziyuan speculated whether she was not Qin Feng's concubine. Qin Feng assumed that Lin Zinner managed to keep away the Chosen Ones time after time because, first, she went to the Qin family to break off the engagement with his brother, and currently, she publicly expelled Lin San from Tiangxin City, while Ziyuan concluded that as long as she wasn't there to steal Qin Feng, she could do whatever she liked. Lin San responded that since Lin Zinner didn't trust him, he had nothing more to explain and took his leave. Lin Zinner was taken aback that he actually intended to leave Tiangxin City. She demanded who he believed he was and declared that Tiangxin City wasn't a place he could come and go as he pleased. She summoned the guards and instructed them to stop Lin San for her, and they complied. The guards swiftly surrounded him. He warned that she shouldn't compel him, but she challenged whether he was still capable of threatening her when he was already heavily injured. He dared her to try. Suddenly, Qin Feng commented that it was such a grand spectacle in Tiangxin City, apprehending people right in front of him. Lin Zinner inquired what he implied, and he clarified that the meaning was simple. Lin San was his half-brother from another mother, so anyone who dared to harm him would be his enemy. One of the guards checked if he had heard it correctly because Qin Feng was someone who could harm his own biological brother, and now he was treating someone from another family as a brother. Another guard found it truly strange, and another wondered if there could be some special connection between him and Lin San. Lin Zinner recollected the past when she inquired about the special connection. She admitted that she knew it, that her intentions had been so apparent at that time. But Qin Feng had turned a blind eye, and she assumed he was just a playful youth, but she never imagined it would be like that. He was a cunning person who quietly took away her servant. They should leave. She regretted that she still missed him after returning home, which was maddening. Lin San expressed his gratitude to Qin Feng, and the system congratulated for deceiving the Chosen One's emotions, gaining 50,000 villain points. Qin Feng pointed out that he should observe who was speaking because it was as if they were two peas in a pod. Lin San mentioned that he had something else to handle, so he would leave immediately, and Qin Feng wondered if he was departing just like that. He felt ecstatic, so he resolved to be ready for him next time, as there was no way Lin San could escape, and he expected they would meet again soon. Joyful events elevated the mood, so he summoned the system and expressed that he wanted to draw. The system congratulated for drawing the super divine level sword technique, one sword opening the heavenly gate. He remarked that he was speechless and wondered why it was another sword technique. He summoned the system and expressed that he wanted to make an exchange for a great completion card. The system congratulated for spending 2 million villain points to successfully exchange for the Super Divine level Great Completion card and for using it for the one sword opening the Heavenly Gate to reach the realm of Great Completion. Qin Feng was surprised that the Super Divine level Great Completion card actually requires 2 million villain points, and he realized that if Lin San hadn't left, he could have instantly replenished some points. Since Lin San's a protagonist and he's a villain, he believed fate would bring them together again, so he contacted the system and declared that he wanted to open the Divine level treasure chest. After opening the treasure chest, the system congratulated for obtaining the primordial treasure, the painting of mountains, rivers, and states. Qin Feng looked at the painting in front of him. Bai Fantong was surprised that he created a ripple when he reached out and touched it. He was absorbed into the painting. He inquired what place it was and where his master was. Qin Feng responded that he could see it. He stuck his hand inside the painting. Bai Fantong was surprised that he came out. He mentioned that he would be back again. He repeatedly went in and out of the painting. Ziyuan wondered what it was, and Yulan explained that the figure in the painting is her, and she is also the figure in the painting, which is interesting. Meanwhile, Qin Feng pondered deeply. He considered whether the Dao fruit tree could be transplanted into the painting. He figured that it was whatever, so he should try it first and decide. He used his aura to uproot the Dao tree. Yulan believed that they came to the Kunlun Secret Realm to replenish their stock at most, but he was just uprooting everything without giving the next group a chance. One of her companions remarked that everyone is busy chasing after Feng Cheng, but Qin Feng is there leisurely plucking the Dao fruit vines, which is clearly unreasonable, and as she questioned if she thought the Dao fruit might be in his hands, she acknowledged that she made a valid point. Her companion noted that considering her relationship with him, if she just threw a little tantrum, maybe she would get it. But she rejected the idea because she is the young palace master of the Blue Demon Palace, so even if she jumped from the highest peak of the Kunlun Secret Realm, even if she starved to death, she wouldn't resort to throwing tantrums just to get Dao fruit from him. Her companion observed that he's got the looks, the talent, and the background, so he is definitely the perfect match in all of Hanggu, so maybe she should reconsider. She insisted that there was no need to consider, so they should go, and the companion agreed but silently admitted that he was really outstanding. On the other hand, Qin Feng transplanted the Dao tree into the painting. He confirmed that it was done, and whether it survives or not depends on its fate. Time is running short, so they should come with him and find Xinyan, and as Bai Fantong urged that they should go, Qian Jun inquired who it was, and Wan Ma affirmed that whoever she is, following Qin Feng's lead is always right. Ziyuan remarked that she was not going to the Bloody Sea. She believed that although they had gained something in the Kunlun Secret Realm, those insignificant gains were not even enough to cover the cost of admission, so she had to seize the time to search for other treasures of heaven and earth and immortal crystals. Qin Feng inquired whether she was going to look for immortal crystals and recommended that she take it. She wondered if it was all for her and felt that immortal crystals were so hard to come by, yet her stinky little brother gave her so many, so she was so touched. Her companion reminded her that she should pull herself together because although the godson was powerful, she was also a goddess, the future head of the Moon Celestial Palace, so she couldn't always rely on him. She insisted that she didn't want them and she wanted to obtain immortal crystals with her own strength. He agreed and mentioned that he would be waiting for her good news and found that she did well as the little girl was starting to take responsibility. She declared that she was going and realized that he had already collected 6 Dao fruits, and compared to her, she was already far behind, so she needed to work harder. A few moments later, at the Bloody Sea, Bai Fantong inquired whether her husband, Long Aoshan, was at home, and as Wan Ma checked if she was home, Bai Fantong interpreted the silence as consent and proposed that they come in. It was the Bloody Sea, so they should go, but Qian Jun hesitated whether it was really okay for them to go in like that because he heard that the Bloody Sea was extremely terrifying, and many cultivators who went there never returned, while Wen Ma assumed that it must be fine. He recalled whether he had forgotten that Qin Feng and Bai Fantong had already been there. Bai Fantong questioned how they knew that it was the painting, the one that Qin Feng personally gave him, and Qian Jun pointed out that he was bringing that up and showing it off. Meanwhile, Xinyan observed Qin Feng and his group with the other ghosts. Zhenjin wondered whether it wasn't the man named Qin Feng and how he came back. Lionlin complained that he was shameless as he even deceived ghosts, while Ai resolved that she would just drive him out, so they should go. Suddenly, Wan Ma sneezed. Qian Jun warned that it was not good because it was the female ghosts. But Qin Feng welcomed them with open arms and remarked that it had been a long time since they saw each other. Ai demanded that he stop, and Lionlin reminded him that her mistress had already given him 100 million immortal crystals and inquired why he was still there. Qian Jun stated that as far as he knew, the various forces that had entered the Kunlun Secret Realm had only collected tens of thousands of Xianjing at most, and he had never heard of anyone having over 100 million immortal crystals, so Xinyan must be powerful and influential. He speculated why she would suddenly give Qin Feng 100 million immortal crystals for no reason and whether he did something lucrative. Wan Ma countered that it shouldn't be because Qin Feng was supposed to only sell his skills and not himself, but Qian Jun remarked that selling a kidney but not selling a heart shouldn't count as selling. Qin Feng expressed that the ghosts shouldn't be distant because they all had gotten to know each other a bit, and since the Kunlun Secret Realm was about to close, he wanted to say goodbye before leaving, and he also wanted to bring back some local specialties as souvenirs. Ai acknowledged that she understood, and Lionlin inquired what local specialties he would like. He responded that anything would do because he was not picky, and he considered that they were quite nice. Suddenly, Xinyan arrived. She mentioned that they didn't have any local specialties there in the Bloody Sea, so she suggested picking some flowers to take back. He questioned picking flowers, and if that wasn't bad. AI remarked that Qin Feng was shameless, and Zhenjin commented that he didn't spare any ghosts. He inquired how they could evaluate a Confucian disciple like that, but noted they should forget it because he was too lazy to argue with them, so they should talk about the souvenirs. Xinyan explained that he couldn't take them away because Kunlun Secret Realm had long formed its own world with its own operating rules, and just like outsiders couldn't stay there for long, they also couldn't leave. He wondered what she would do if he could take them out, and she replied that she wouldn't stop him. He confirmed that it was good that it was what he claimed, and he summoned Bai Fantong, who declared that they should watch him perform. He danced to dramatically open the painting. Xinyan immediately recognized the primordial space treasure. It is a magic weapon born from heaven and earth, and especially that kind of self-contained realm is extremely rare in the world. Even Long Aoshan, with great fortune back then, failed to obtain it, so if he uses that treasure to take them out, it is definitely possible to bypass the rules inside Kunlun's Secret Realm. He assured them that, rest assured, he would promise in the name of the Prime Minister, no matter how difficult it was, he would definitely take her out. The other ghosts wondered if they could really go out, while Xinyan requested about the Prime Minister. He revealed to them secretly that there were big bros outside, and not only were they good looking, they were also full of vitality. He proposed if they wanted to go out and take care of the big bros, and they agreed. He prompted them about what they should do if they wanted to go out, and the ghost immediately turned to Xinyan. She acknowledged that he was indeed exceptional, and she would keep her word, so as long as they were willing to leave with him. She would not stop him because they had been accompanying her in that desolate bloody sea for tens of thousands of years, so it was good for them to go out and see the world. AI expressed that it was great because after tens of thousands of years, they could finally go out and find fresh men. Zhenjin declared that she wanted 10 a day and she wanted to eat her fill every day, while Lionlian claimed that she wanted 20 as she wanted to eat until she was stuffed every day. Qin Feng could only admit that they were impressive. AI reminded them that once they left, the vast bloody sea would be left with only Xinyan, so she requested that she come with them, but she responded that they should go ahead as she would wait for Long Aoshan to come back there. Zhenjin wondered why she was so confused, how reliable men's words were, and why he hadn't shown up for tens of thousands of years if he truly cared about her. Lionlian concurred and pointed out that she had waited for him for so many years and he hadn't appeared once, so maybe he wouldn't come anymore. But she insisted that there was no need to persuade her, as she wouldn't leave. Zhenjin resolved that if she didn't want to leave, she wouldn't leave either, and Lionlian echoed the same, which made Qin Feng curse in his mind and suspect if he was being played. AI concluded that since the others were not leaving, she wouldn't leave either. Qin Feng challenged whether she rejected him for the sake of Long Aoshan and whether no one could reject him. He scoffed and argued that no one could go against the Prime Minister's will, and compromise either happens 0 times or countless times, so if he could compromise last time, he must be able to do it this time too. He questioned whether she wouldn't want him to be upset just because she didn't get the souvenirs. She demanded that he give her a price and inquired how many immortal crystals they could offer for him to leave the bloody sea. Bai Fantong warned that she shouldn't say that they were not giving her a chance, so she should fill up the painting for him. She cautioned that Qin Feng shouldn't push it too far. Bai Fantong challenged how she could turn the tables around just like that. Qin Feng assured them that if there were not enough immortal crystals, it was no problem because he would just pack some souvenirs, and the ghosts exclaimed if it was packing and remarked that they were clearly robbing them. But he corrected them that packing was a favor while robbing was a mishap, and he posed whether he was someone who didn't understand human affairs. Lionlian questioned why it was that what he conveyed sounded somewhat reasonable, and AI admitted that she didn't understand, but she was taken aback. Xinyan acknowledged that she had never seen such shameless audacity, so they should go down together. Qin Feng inquired if they would be together in death and if she was not waiting for Long Aoshan to return. She was taken aback. He urged that she should hold it. AI mentioned that he should not trouble Xinyan and that they would just leave with him. He replied that it was too late because currently, including Xinyan, he wanted all of them. Zhenjin criticized that he was a shameless scoundrel, and AI insisted that he should let them tear him apart for Xinyan, while Lionlian encouraged that he should take it. He questioned if she wanted everyone to die for her, while Qian Jun pointed out that there were so many, and Wan Ma declared that they should protect him. Xinyan realized that Qin Feng was just a cultivator at the 4th realm of the path of Dao realm, yet he showed no fear in front of her, and even the strongest cultivators in Huanggu would be afraid of her to some extent. So she wondered if he was truly fearless due to his ignorance or if he possessed some terrifying trump card. Suddenly, she suggested that they should wait. Qin Feng mused that compromise truly seemed to have 0 or countless times because she was wavering again. He promised that he would take care of Long Aoshin's wife so he should not worry. Xinyan agreed that she was going with him while weighing that on one side were the lives of everyone in Bloody Sea and on the other side was the unknown boundary of his abilities, and she apologized to Long Aoshin as she dared not gamble. The system congratulated Qin Feng for taking advantage of the absence of the Chosen One at home, barging in, bullying, and taking care of their beloved, and he gained a total of 700,000 villain points, and he confirmed that he got them. Xinyan expressed that she had one request, and that was after he took them out of the Kunlun Secret Realm, he must let the others go and grant them freedom, to which he agreed and assured that compared to those zombies and ghosts, he was only interested in her. She wished that he would keep his promise. He called Bai Fantong and instructed that he should get ready, to which Bai Fantong acknowledged. A few moments later, Bai Fantong affirmed that he got it. Qin Feng remarked that ancient times had concealing beauty in a golden house, and that day was different when Qian Jun suddenly summoned him. He inquired what was wrong. Qian Jun revealed that they hit the jackpot. Qin Feng clicked his tongue and probed what treasure he believed it was, and Qian Jun exclaimed that it was no ordinary immortal crystal, as it was the immortal crystal mine recorded in the ancient text. But Qin Feng countered that it looked like he had sheltered him too much from the world. Qian Jun queried what he meant, and he explained that the Kunlun Secret Realm was about to close, so if they did not act immediately, they would miss their chance. A few moments later, a cultivator wondered if someone found an immortal crystal mine in Bloody Sea, and another doubted it, and questioned how anyone could come out of Bloody Sea. The cultivator asserted that he was not kidding, and for some reason, Bloody Sea seemed completely safe already, and they could enter freely. Another confirmed that it was true and that many people were rushing to mine immortal crystals at the moment, and he would not waste any more time talking as he needed to hurry. Another one reported that someone had already dug up tens of thousands of immortal crystals, and if they did not go immediately, they would be too late. Another decided that they should do whatever they wanted because he was going. At the Bloody Sea, a cultivator remarked that the closer they got inside, the more immortal crystal mines there must be. Another marveled that the news was actually true, that the Bloody Sea, known for its perilousness, actually hid immortal crystal mines. Another proclaimed that he was going to dig them all out and let those arrogant fools in the sect take a look at his strength. On the other hand, Qian Jun questioned if they were just going to watch them dig out the immortal crystals like that. Qin Feng refused and realized that the trap was set so they would await his entry. Qian Jun inquired when he would stop those people and remarked that those were immortal crystal mines, and he pointed out that they wanted to be free laborers, so he should let them. Wan Ma wondered if his idea was to let them help them dig out the immortal crystals, and they would snatch them later. But Qian Jun explained that although he was unmatched in combat, and could suppress tens of thousands of geniuses single-handedly, if so many people were determined to escape, it seemed that they couldn't snatch back much. Qin Feng declared that with the treasure in hand, the world was his. As Qian Jun commented that he was being cunning again, Wan Ma praised that it was a great strategy. He finally realized that the immortal crystal mine was just bait because since the Kunlun Secret Realm was about to close, the major forces already filled their treasure, and once they came over, they would fall into the trap set by Qin Feng. Not only could the newly dug immortal crystals not be retained, but also other treasures found in the Kunlun Secret Realm would also be plundered. He wondered if that small bottle of pointless shouting could really handle so many people, and he assured that since obtaining the formula, he prepared thousands of points, so even if they had tens of thousands of people, it would be enough. If necessary, he also possessed thousands of points of even the So's will go crazy, and Wan Ma admired that he was indeed wise and far-sighted because while others' poison came in bottles, he did it by the pound, and not just a pound or two, but starting from 1,000 pounds. Qian Jun queried when they would make their move when a girl suddenly questioned who the guys were and what they wanted. The guy responded that their boss method was indeed the best because everyone was rushing to Bloody Sea Canyon to dig for immortal crystals, and they could lay in ambush on the essential routes and catch them one by one. The boss noted that since the Kunlun Secret Realm was about to close, everyone was getting rich, and it was their turn to profit. He demanded what he was looking at and urged that he should hurry and hand over the treasures she had on her. The guy insisted that she should quickly hand them over, otherwise she shouldn't blame them for taking action themselves, and she bravely permitted that they should take them. As Qin Feng questioned if they were actually robbing his business right in front of him, he lamented that he put in so much effort to set up the stage and those pests were coming to his territory to reap the benefits. If he didn't show off his strength, he challenged if they thought he was just a sweet candy that they could chew off. He introduced his name and assured the girl that she shouldn't be afraid of those thugs because he would protect her, while the boss inquired who he was. If he was in the 4th level of the Path of Dao Realm, and the guy acknowledged that he just mentioned he was Qin Feng. The boss was astonished. Qin Feng criticized that he couldn't stand people like them the most because they had hands and feet. But instead of finding treasures themselves, they just waited there and robbed others. He challenged if they didn't know how shameless they were. Suddenly, Qin Jun and Wenma fell from the tree branch. Qin Jun mused that there was no need to scold himself like that, to which Wenma concurred. Meanwhile, Qin Feng concluded that they were useless because they were even tripping while walking. The boss urged that they should hurry up because he was the most despicable person in the Huanggu and they shouldn't get too entangled with him, to which the guy affirmed that he understood. But Qin Feng pledged that he would uphold justice for all those who worked hard to dig for treasures that day. He had enough of their nonsense. Suddenly, Mo Dao appeared and blocked the bandits. He swung his sword at the guy. Qin Feng questioned where the scoundrel came from and complained that just as he was about to receive thousands of villain points, he intercepted him halfway. The boss recognized Mo Dao from the Yanyan clan. He lost his life and fell on the ground. Mo Dao beckoned that Tianqian should come to her big brother. Qin Feng inquired if Mo Dao was her brother, to which she confirmed, and she thanked him for saving her. She explained that according to their great desert customs, he saved her earlier, so she should marry him. Mo Dao interjected and remarked that he didn't and he killed those people before him, so she didn't need to marry him. But Tianqian insisted that he should move. Mo Dao retorted that he didn't and his blade is faster than his sword. Tianqian persuaded that he shouldn't listen to her brother's nonsense, and she was about to tell him about their desert customs. But she was cut off. Mo Dao dragged her. He stated that they don't have so many customs in the desert, and she scolded that her stinking older brother should let her go quickly because it concerns the happiness of his sister's future. Qin Jun criticized that Mo Dao is too arrogant because he didn't even look at Qin Feng properly the whole time, to which Wan Ma agreed and mentioned that he saved his sister. But he didn't even say a word of thanks. Qin Feng responded that he wouldn't stoop to his level and considered that after all, even though he snatched his kills, he also worked as free labor in the Bloody Sea. He observed that it was a fast blade and the wounds on those people are exactly 2 inches deep, no more, no less, and all in the same location. With just one slash, it was done in one go, and whether it was strength or accuracy, it was perfect, and it was just a basic, ordinary slash, without any additional buffs like sword intent, yet it could still kill several practitioners of the celestial realm with a single slash. Truly, he has mastered the essence of speed, precision, and ruthlessness to the extreme, and not only does it require extraordinary talent in blade training, but also enduring the monotony of swinging the blade day after day, year after year. Qin Jun queried if Mo Dao's skill was really that formidable, and he affirmed that it was extremely formidable. He should let him put it that way, that in a situation where both sides have similar cultivation levels and only ordinary moves are used in a duel, if he slashes once and he counters with a sword strike, he will definitely lose. But Bai Fantong pointed out that the problem is if he will engage in a duel using ordinary sword moves against him. He refuted that he won't. Qin Feng questioned if he would engage in a duel using ordinary sword moves. As he disagreed, he wondered who would engage in a duel with ordinary sword moves among proper fighters. The two of them simultaneously concluded that it was despicable. On the other hand, Princess Nanfeng remarked that fortune truly favors the Daxia, while she assumed that after suffering annihilation at the hands of the monster Qin Feng, Daxia had already withdrawn from the battle prematurely, and no one would have thought that by some stroke of luck, someone would actually announce the discovery of the immortal crystal mine. As long as they could dig out enough immortal crystals before the Kunlun Secret Realm closes, there is still hope for their Daxia dynasty, and she won't have to face any punishment. She instructed that they should begin, and her companion complied. She was determined to dig without eating, drinking, or sleeping until the Kunlun Secret Realm closes, and it might be tough and exhausting, but it doesn't matter because she is not just digging immortal crystals for someone else. She is fighting for her own future, and she is going to seize her destiny. On the other side, Lin Zinner inquired if it was the immortal crystal mine. She lamented that if Lin San had been willing to tell her where it was, their Heavenly Heart City wouldn't have arrived so late and been forced to compete with others, so he better be ready for her. Meanwhile, Qin Feng and his men watched all the cultivators working hard to dig the immortal crystals. He observed that it was not bad, and for employees who work diligently, overtime without complaint, and don't even ask for pay, he believed no unscrupulous boss could resist. Suddenly, he noticed Yu Lan. He wondered if it wasn't his darling Lan and how she ended up falling into the hole he dug again. He justified that at that time, it wasn't his fault, and since she had come to him voluntarily, he would just have to eat it all up. Yulan sensed why she felt a bit anxious all of a sudden. Qin Feng remarked that the two of them should keep watch there while he went to take care of something in the painting, and Qian Jun assured that he could trust them while he was gone. Inside the painting, Qin Feng mentioned that Xinyan actually wanted to turn his painting into another bloody sea, and that wouldn't do. He controlled the painting. He created a barrier to stop her dark aura from spreading. She was surprised. A portion of the painting turned purple, and a golden light suppressed it. She exclaimed that he deceived her again. She inquired who deceived her. He explained that he may control the painting, but that didn't mean he was a deceiver because what he promised her was if she went with him, and after they were out, he would set those zombies and female ghosts free. She questioned if he would really let them go, and he affirmed. As a proper Confucian gentleman, he would stick to his word so the zombie friends and female ghost ladies who wanted to leave after they were out could raise their hands up at that time. They exclaimed that it was great that they were finally going to be free, and Lion Lian urged that they should raise their hands quickly, to which Zhenjin agreed, while Ai expressed that she was so excited. Everyone raised their hand. Qin Feng released his Nanming primordial fire. Everyone quickly put their hands down. Xinyan questioned what he was doing, and he clarified that she shouldn't misunderstand because, as a living person, it was only reasonable to light a fire to warm up in such a gloomy place, while Bai Fantong agreed that, of course, it was reasonable. Qin Feng remarked that nobody raised their hand, so he was truly touched, as he never expected that, despite only meeting a few times, everyone would be so reluctant to leave him, and it showed their trust in his character. Since everyone trusted him so much, he proposed that he take care of the soul marks for everyone. Xinyan explained that the soul marks were their lifelines. As long as they were intact, they could be revived, so he must handle them with care. As she inquired if he understood their importance, he confirmed that he understood and reassured her that he would take good care of the soul marks for her. Zhenjin entrusted her life to him and requested that he take good care of her, and he mused that they were really laying it on thick because if he hadn't witnessed the terror of their soul attacks, he might have almost believed their ghost stories. They were surprised when he really took their soul marks away. Zhenjin sobbed and pleaded if he could not be so harsh on her because she was scared. He collected more soul marks. They stacked up in the palm of his hand. 2 more stacks formed as more soul marks were collected. The system congratulated him for sneaking the chosen one's beloved back home to bully her, gaining 500,000 villain points. As he called the Prime Minister and reflected that he had an epiphany, Bai Fantong admitted that he might not know what enlightenment was, but if his master achieved it, so should he. Qin Feng stated that it seemed like he was about to have a breakthrough again. Zhenjin marveled that it was such vibrant young energy, while Lion Lian noted that from that perspective, it seemed like following him wasn't a bad deal after all, and Ai confessed that it was something else and she couldn't stand that test. The 3 of them drooled for him. Bai Fantong suddenly warned that with him around, they better behave themselves. Qin Feng reached the 5th stage of the path of Dao Realm, so he telepathically called the system and declared that he wanted to exchange for a foundation pill, and the system congratulated him for successfully exchanging for the path of Dao Realm foundation pill using 600,000 villain points. He took the pill. He believed that it was very good as his foundation was stabilized. On the other hand, Zhenjin mentioned that she was so full and it was the first time she had felt so much yang energy since becoming a ghost, while Lion Lian remarked that it felt like being full for the first time after eating. Ai expressed that if she could only possess him, she could continuously absorb his yang energy 24/7. He mused that they were truly a bunch of terrifying women. Suddenly, he got news from the 2, and he conveyed that it seemed like it was time to close in. It was time to fulfill Lin San's promise, and he will transfer the ownership of the crystal mine to him unconditionally, of course, excluding the rights to mine, use, and know, and he won't escape, so in that lifetime, he should just resign himself to being under his control. After they leave, they all will use the useless scream to lurk around the Blood Sea, wait for his signal, and he inquired if they understood. Zhenjin affirmed that his words are her command, so she will obey his orders. As Ai requested if she could get closer to him, Lion Lian stated that she also wanted to get closer to him. He instructed that they behave themselves and warned that he is a monk who is not someone to be trifled with. The ladies called out to him as he came out of the painting. A few moments later, the ladies urged him to command as he wished, and he joked that as a seasoned villain, he almost got dried out. Qian Jun commented that just a few days ago, those female ghosts were fiercely against Qin Feng. But currently, in just a few hours, they were willing to do anything for him, and Wan Ma observed that they have all submitted, but he inquired about Xinyan. She was sending out a message using her aura. Qin Feng surmised that it seems like she is leaving a message for Long Aoshan. The system congratulated him for secretly taking care of the beloved of the Chosen One and gaining 100,000 villain points. He exclaimed that intercepting messages could earn 100,000 points, so if he built her a bronze bird platform, he speculated if he would be able to get rich directly. Xinyan was pissed at him. She returned to her coffin. Qin Feng commented that compromise is good, and if she compromised once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, or 8 times, she would definitely compromise the 9th time when Qian Jun called him and mentioned that those people had already started to turn on each other and queried if they shouldn't take action. Qin Feng explained that details determine success or failure. As he questioned if he didn't understand, he reminded that they are the most vigilant at the moment, and with a population of over 10,000. They are all chosen by various major forces, and they have also survived the brutal and bloody trials of the Kunlun Secret Realm. With so many pairs of eyes, they won't let any movement slip by unnoticed. He queried if they think shouting covers a wider range faster or if they would run faster, and Qian Jun wondered what they should do. Qin Feng elaborated that, of course, they wait until they officially start fighting, as they could imagine that when their attention is drawn to the enemies around them, they won't have time to focus on further distances, and the deafening cries of battle will conveniently cover up other noises, and by the time they hear someone shout poison, it will be too late to run. They should remember that even if the success rate reaches 99.99%, they can't act recklessly. And to become a successful villain, one must consider all details and achieve 100% certainty before asking, and he probed if they understood. Bai Fantong responded alright and praised that he said it well, so he is truly the infamous villain that makes the whole martial world tremble, unparalleled in professionalism, and Qin Feng acknowledged that he has a reward. Qian Jun lamented that he missed another chance to flatter Qin Feng, while Wan Ma pondered when he would be able to learn Bai Fantong's ways. When Qin Feng indicated that the atmosphere was set so the free laborers could already start fighting, he flicked a pebble with his finger. Tianqian was hit. She complained that it hurt, and Mo Dao cursed that they were bastards who dared to attack his sister, so he would tear them all to pieces. The cultivators were all fighting each other. On the other hand, Qian Jun remarked that he felt like he had seen that sword somewhere before, and Qin Feng, who was disguised as Lin San, responded that it belonged to Lin San. Qian Jun inquired why he was specifically blaming Lin San when there are so many people in the Kunlun Secret Realm. As he stated that he should guess, he speculated if it could be as he suspected. Wan Ma muttered that it was too cruel, and Qin Feng explained that for the sake of money, people die and birds perish for food, but they haven't done anything wrong because the real culprit behind all that is money. Money is the root of all evil in that world, and without it, people wouldn't be driven by greed. Without it, people wouldn't lose sight of truth, goodness, and beauty, leading to one massacre after another. So that day, he decided to sacrifice himself and seal away those sinful crystals within his personal space. Bai Fantong questioned who will go to hell if he doesn't go and volunteered that he is willing to share that pain with him. To which Qian Jun admitted that he finally understood why he could only be a follower, and Wan Ma complained that he had completely lost face. The system notified Qin Feng that it had never seen such integrity from a villain before, so his inventory space doubled in size, and he declared that they should start harvesting. Meanwhile, AI informed that the signal from Qin Feng had arrived. They should do it. The 3 of them quickly spread the useless scream around. Princess Nanfeng questioned what it was. She mentioned that it was not good because it was poisonous. She pondered how there could be an expert in the nascent core realm, and she couldn't exert any strength at all. Zhenjin revealed that she found the storage ring containing the immortal crystals, and Princess Nanfeng realized that she was not human. Zhenjin laughed and declared that the boss will definitely be pleased with that, while Princess Nanfeng demanded that she should give her back her future. She believed that it was over and everything was ruined because those immortal crystals are her last hope of establishing herself in the Daxia dynasty, and losing them meant losing the trust and favor of the emperor. Suddenly, Bai Fantong arrived, and he sang as he walked around. She recognized him, and she feared if the devil Qin Feng was nearby too and what would happen if she fell into his hands again. Bai Fantong identified her as his customer and mentioned that since they had a pleasant cooperation last time, he would help her again. It will do it, and she speculated why he was giving her a carrot again. On the other hand, Lin Zinner warned that the smoke is toxic, so everyone should hurry and follow her to run uphill. But Qin Feng obstructed them with a slash. One of her companions cautioned that she should watch out. The slash exploded as he blocked it. He wondered who it was and noted that it was such a powerful sword aura. Qin Feng revealed himself. Lin Zinner suspected if it was Lin San. One of Lin Zinner's companions remarked that it was no wonder Lin San refused to tell them the location of the celestial mine in Tiangxin City, and even if he couldn't finish mining the celestial crystals alone, he didn't expect him to have schemed such a big plan. He must be planning to use the celestial crystals as bait to lure all the major forces of the ancient wilderness, not only to help him mine the celestial crystals for free but also to target all their gains in the Kunlun Secret Realm. But Lin Zinner pondered if Lin San really possessed such great courage. The system congratulated Qin Feng for successfully making the Chosen One under suspicion, gaining 100,000 villain points. As he wondered what happiness is, he mused that happiness is when one is not by his side but is still bringing him joy, which is why he loves Lin San. Suddenly, Mo Dao urged that he should get out of there. A huge explosion occurred as they clashed. Qin Feng speculated why he was not poisoned and considered that he was unable to use his own sword techniques, so if it kept going, he would be at a disadvantage. But he noticed that he was falling, and he supposed that the heavens helped him. Mo Dao inquired why he wasn't giving his all and if he looked down on him while wondering where his strength was. Tianqian was weak as well, and she called her big brother. Mo Dao questioned if he used poison and cursed that he is a despicable scoundrel. Meanwhile, Tianqian contemplated how Qin Feng was doing. Qin Feng declared that he was just rushing against him and interrogated where that cocky energy went. Mo Dao scorned that he was shameless and he dared him to kill him if he had the ability, but he swore that he wouldn't. Unaware of his true identity, Mo Dao vowed that he will never forgive Lin San for that humiliation, and the system congratulated him for successfully framing the Chosen One, gaining 100,000 villain points. Qin Feng reflected that the chosen woman was indeed the chosen woman because while everyone else was powerless, she still had some strength, and it was just a pity that she couldn't hold on to those treasures, so he would take care of them for her. He promised that he will take it for her, and she grumbled why she keeps running into sneaky thieves recently. First it was the Dao Fruits, and currently, the immortal crystal mine has also been robbed, which was so annoying. The system congratulated Qin Feng for safeguarding the storage ring for the chosen lady for angering her, and for his female ghost underling snatching a storage ring, gaining a total of 111,000 villain points, and the notifications kept going. A few moments later, Qin Feng exclaimed that finally it was over and he believed that evil shall retreat and justice shall soon prevail. Bai Fantong suddenly demanded which wicked scoundrel dared to plot wealth and harm lives there, and he proclaimed that his master, Qin Feng, will arrive shortly, so he will deal with him with his peerless sword first, and Qin Feng presumed that the exit performance had begun. He pretended to be alarmed when his mask was removed, as a professional villain must consider all aspects of the details and couldn't let the 10 million villain points exchanged for a polymorph pill be wasted. Bai Fantong denounced that he was a scoundrel, traitor, and a villain. As he queried where he was running, the system congratulated him for successfully framing the Chosen One, putting them in a life-threatening crisis, and gaining 2 million villain points. The two of them jumped behind the bushes. Bai Fantong commanded that he should take the rabbit's sword, while Qin Feng exclaimed that he got a whopping 80 million, so that day he had really hit the jackpot. Bai Fantong screamed and raged that the shameless scoundrel dared to ambush him, while Qin Feng cheered that it was his turn to shine. Meanwhile, a man pleaded that AI shouldn't, but she retorted that he shouldn't be scared. Qin Feng announced that he was there too and the bold female ghost should release those boys immediately. The man begged to save him. He assured that he shouldn't be afraid because he is justice and he will surely rescue everyone from danger.